हेलो सेन, या जीत गए, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन यार, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन। ठीक है, मैं तुम्हारा रिप्ले देख रहा हूँ। 2-0, वेरी नाइस वेरी नाइस वेरी नाइस। ठीक है, रखता हूँ भाई। टेंस भाई मिलते हैं या टेक केयर। है भाई, है। हाँ, तबियत ठीक हो गई लगता है। आज तुम लोग को बिहाइंड द सीन्स पता रहता। एक सेकंड रुको। Why did you ghost me? Why did you ghost me? मैक्सिमम 2 दिन में तारा भाई का तबियत ठीक हो जाएगा, मैक्सिमम 2 दिन, क्योंकि कल मेरा फुल रेस्ट डे है आफ्टर द वॉच पार्टी। जिंक्स ना करियो बाय, जिंक्स विंक्स कुछ नहीं होता। जीत गया है, छाती लाओ, टेंस गोट करके लिखा है, आओ।
I mean, it feels really good to be back at Champs.
हेलो बंक्स, बाय मित्र भाई, कैसे हो? सब बढ़िया।
The first one, right?
Yeah, that's it.
How did it feel to win Champs?
But like the feeling like winning champs is like, oh, like I did everything possible and I achieved it. You know, that feeling like, oh my god, like the weight from
बंक्स भाई, रशिया से चॉकलेट लाया हूँ, खाओगे? नहीं, आप खाओ।
Show me your wins.
I'm telling you, every time you win, you get addicted to it.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys got a taste after you won Masters.
भाई वो क्या चेन था?
And you
चलो।
know how that feels. It's always like that. You always think that one is enough, but it's never enough.
It's never enough.
Never.
मुझे वाला वीडियो मस्त था, love you।
Yeah,
Are you ready to win another one?
yeah, I am. Are you ready?
I need to win my first. And then when we get to finals of the Champs, I'm gonna have Faker come out and sell the SEN bundle.
Bro thinks he's him, huh?
FPX, I know they always play like wonky comps. They play very confident and together.
Next Seoul trip कभी? पता नहीं, अगले साल?
他在很早之前，我经常用他的准心以及灵敏度。这一次的对战，我会非常珍惜。
Being able to live in the moment is the most.
Voice increase करो, किसका?
If you start having fun, then good luck. Then good luck.
Fnatic 13-4. BLG, of course, it doesn't get that much easier after this.
就今天，我觉得我们虽然输给范那个输的很
Stream
惨，但是
volume？
我们会从中就是获取很多经验吧，然后把这些经验用来在对抗客户上面。
El estilo de
Hazlo,
Billy,
Cruzita.
siento que es muy parecido al de nosotros, son un equipo bastante agresivo, que tiene un estilo como muy de ir para adelante, como comer info y solamente ir para adelante.
आज दो Chinese team बाहर होने वाली है।
Jugar contra equipos así y que
100%।
ganen mejor.
我觉得可能一条命对于我们来说更刺激一点，然后我们稍微犯一点失误就会被对方抓住，所以
भाई
如
क्या
果你们
गर्मी हो
能
रहा है
跟打
यार।
得一样好的话，那我们
Thunder
就是
team
赢
wins
了。
क्यों?
但可惜你们不是。
फैमिली बिजनेस अच्छा है, पहले वाइफ स्ट्रीम करती है फिर हस्बैंड स्ट्रीम करता है, पैसे पैसा। एक्सक्यूज मी, मेरा तो एड्स भी ऑफ है यार। चालू करो ना, लाइट कौन चालू करेगा? थोड़ा डिले था। अपना साउंड इंक्रीज करो, मेरा साउंड यही है मैक्सिमम। Gotards, come out!
Sentinels.
आज जैकन मारेगा। ये क्या है? मेरा एप्स वाला फोटो कैसे डाला उसने?
Match of the day of the event. You got Sentinels and FPX, and I'll be honest, I don't know.
He's got the caddies on. That's all we can say.
Hey,
टेबल
maybe
के
the
नीचे
vibes are
लाइट क्यों
good. Let's
लगे
take a look
पता
at the
है?
series layout. You got behind
अच्छे
Lotus,
के लिए।
and if necessary, we'll be taking a trip over to Abyss. Bren, how do you feel?
I hope we get that map 3, genuinely. I need to see Sen's Abyss. I need to see them tested against an FPX team that honestly this
2-0 मेरे को एबिस नहीं देखने
I
का।
think it's one of the best maps in their pool, despite the fact that they ended up losing it to Heretics. And their bind, they are clearly opting into.
अभी जाओ सेंगर, वैसे भी नहीं जेंजी से हारना है, शर्म करो शर्म।
Honestly, a lot of it is carried carried by that raw firepower and teamwork that they have rather than the actual
This is
ideas.
a Black Widow
At the end of the
V3
day,
mini
it's an FPS
good
game.
keyboard,
And
yes.
sometimes
Mini Huntsman bhi
the
acha
gunplay
I
is all
don't
that
think they're going
matters.
to change the comp. There's not enough turnaround time to do
Huntsman
something like
pyara
that, in
lagta
my
hai.
opinion. And I think they are committed to that idea. 4 Sentinels on map number 1.
Thoda
I
stream
think they
volume
can
kam.
figure out this map, and
Wo
I
to
think this
faster
was
voice hai.
predictable that they were going to be playing Bind. On their attack, I think the number one thing is not getting caught off guard by the aggro contact plays. FPX has 2 contact agents, the Yoru in the chamber. They can take a fight, teleport away, and disengage. So the biggest thing is Sentinel's attack fundamentals need to be on point. If they can get extremity control,
good,
and get into the sites, I don't think
good.
this FPX comp actually has a lot
ध्यान
of
से
tools
देखना
to
इस बंदे
stall
को.
plant and play the retake.
MVP बनेगा आज, MVP.
Back foot there.
Yeah, I had agree with that. I think a little cheeky B-long take as well on the attack side, maybe a slow take of showers so you can TP pivot would honestly, I think, dismantle a lot of aspects of this composition. But we'll see if Sen ends up sticking with it. They're going to switch it up ever so slightly.
Bot Twitter देख रहा है FC
I'm
आजकल.
not too sure, but still, it is the standard comp from what we're used to of teams playing, and this comp is good for a reason. It's the meta for a reason with a lot of teams playing.
We haven't seen them play since
नजर
week
मत
4. They
लगाओ.
were trying out the deadlock on this map. They've moved away from that to now
भाई
play
मत करो
just the
यार.
default
आज
Thieves
मत करो
comp
please, मेरा दिल
here.
टूटेगा.
This is the match that
आज
Sentinels,
मत करो.
I think they need to win map 1.
आज
Come
मुझे
out
jinx
with
मत बुलाओ यार,
strength.
please.
If this is a close, drawn-out affair against FPX, it's going to be hard to tell if this team is really back. They're champions for a reason. Sasi's one of the 4 players who has
Kisko
won
support
one
कर रहे? Tens,
before.
baby.
But FPX have to feel so powered up watching the other teams from CN succeed, watching Trace make it to playoffs as a #1 seed, and playing against one of their idols in Tens today.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into map 1, shall we? We're going to send it over to your casters, making their Champion Soul debut. It's my boys, Doug and Baby Bay.
तुझे नहीं पता लेकिन तू है.
Thanks so much, Handsome. We've got a banger of a match for you guys teed up right now. Dre, there isn't a ton of story between these 2 teams, but when you think about the individual path that they've taken to get here, it's vastly different. FPX seems like they're on the up and up. Meanwhile, the Sentinels feel like they're on like a tragic tumble.
Yeah, I mean,
they started off great in the year, and then it was just like a slow burn where they slowly just faded. And FPX, yeah, you're 100% right. They've looked great, especially internationally, taking heritage the distance, not only in Shanghai, but here as well in Seoul. So this is going to be a banger match so far, and honestly, this chamber, Autumn, he was so good with the operator.
Yeah, actual
and
में
that
बाप
headhunter last time around, so expect big things
Autumn
out
आज
of this guy.
थोड़ा सा शांत हो जाओ यार.
On the move. Look at that aggressive line he's taking.
Super aggressive, trying to get ahead of that Viper. But poised so far from Sentinels.
With Berlin over his shoulder, he creeps up further and further. A couple of warning shots. Takes a quick step back. Meanwhile, Sentinels, as you mentioned, on the attack side of this opening best of 3 with a bit of a more tempered approach.
Stream quality बढ़ाओ.
Yeah, and I think they understand that, you know,
10K में करो stream.
FPX's history on the defensive sides of almost every single map have been a weakness for them. So if they don't drop early like that and give FPX an inch, they might be able to get a big lead here.
Seems like Sasi's making a little bit of noise here. He's dropped the Hunt, he's dropped the Prowler, a lot of noise B, but it's actually the first kill going the way of FPX towards A.
You can't do anything about that.
No, not at all. Berlin still causing problems. Hasn't taken a lick of damage. Now he's taking a step back, but Autumn is on the prowl. He's on the flank. He's behind him. As Berlin once again, 1 bullet, 1 kill.
भाई क्या
All
flank
members of
timing
Sentinel
है.
starting to crumble, starting to fall apart. This pistol seems to be going the way of the defense. I mean, they're completely surrounded, Dre. They've got every single corner with threat. FPX gets the first.
Absolutely constricted into U-Haul and Short A that entire
Increase stream
round.
volume?
Autumn, he showed some pop shots. Short A, like you said, flanked around showers, but it was Berlin who was the difference maker, spamming through the smoke at the beginning. He smelled something fishy in the waters. Something was amuck. Look at that. As soon as that Viper wall comes up, he's just spamming to hopefully get that lurk, and he does it.
Clean
This
जीते
flank
बे.
from Autumn, I mean, this is the power of the chamber. And
Clean
already,
जीते.
you're going to see that he has an outlaw in the mix of things.
अब भी टाइम आउट ले सकते हैं. आज prediction रहने
That
देते
weapon
हैं
can be
ईशान
so
भाई.
deadly in the right hands, and he was looking very good on the operator, so I
FPX जीतेगा
imagine
आज.
he's going to be hitting some nice shots here.
It's time to support our
And for
brothers.
Sentinels, yeah, it's been rough. It's been
FPX
kind of
जीतेगा
disastrous,
2-0.
right? They haven't won a map in what, how long?
Done.
It's been over a month. They're 0-6 on their last 3 series. Their last map win was against Cloud9 back in like July, early July.
That's unbelievable, right? They're Madrid winners.
It's just been such a fall from grace, and it seems like that's just a story for Sentinels, right? Like they get to Madrid, that's their peak.
FPX
Then
जीतेगा,
they
let's go, baby.
turn their attention toward trying to qualify for Shanghai. Obviously, they don't make it. On the other side of Shanghai, they're looking really good, like 5-0 or 4-0, something like that.
सॉसी का अच्छा था बे, उसने उक्का से बिलोंग का लाइनअप किया,
yeah,
रिवील का, और उक्का भी क्लियर किया उसने.
super rough for them, and this start has been super rough as well. But let's see what they can do. It's some faint pressure right now from tens towards B long. No one to reciprocate from the side of FPX.
And again, I think a lot of discipline out from FPX.
Language FC, मेरे mods ही मेरे मार रहे.
You said it, right? You said when you watched FPX play against Heretics, you said I think they figured out their defensive sides.
It seemed like it, yeah.
And so far, I like the way that they're taking this approach, not taking too many risks.
Prowler's out. It's going to push Life off the line with a Guardian. But he's just able to take just a little bit of a step back to reinforce position. Now with heals being dug in, they're going to have to deal with what Sentinels are doing. Zekin and Tens are getting a couple, but again, the superior weaponry out from the defensive side continues to cause problems. John QT and Zelsis, the only two that remain. Yeah, they got the spike down. I mean, Zelsis has a molly, John has a spit. There might be a shot at this.
Delay.
I just don't know if there's going to be enough delay.
Super tough. I mean, that molly does delay for quite a bit, but that Omen Paranoia was too strong. Young cleans it up, but honestly, a very nice approach from Sentinels. Getting the spike planted, getting damage done. Could have definitely been worse for
recovering here. Yeah, for sure. That's a lot of dedication. Love I mean, I do think you mentioned it. Berlin hit a really nice Paranoia as soon as they tried to retake control of Showers, and that was really all they need.
Let's go.
Yes, there were a couple of nice shots out from Sentinels, but the utility at the end and the numbers advantage that the defensive side had was just too much.
So if we fall back करता तो शायद निकाल लेते ना?
Most definitely. And that approach from Sentinels was so slow. Uh-oh.
अरे इतना जल्दी.
Already.
We didn't make it very far.
इतना जल्दी.
Well, I mean, while we're in this tech pause, I can talk about that slow approach that Sentinels just did.
Take your time, because life is reclined on the stage right now. So, I mean, be as verbose as you want. We're paid by the word, so by all means, take your time.
If only that was true, Doug. If only that was true. We'd be millionaires up here right now. But yeah, that slow approach from Sentinels, it was definitely a cool thing to see, and it allowed them to just put doubt in the minds of FPX and the way that they approached the site.
इतने एनर्जी कहाँ से लाते हो तुम्हारे प्यारे भाई?
Back site. That's something that's really hard to do when you have just a classic. So
why are we supporting China?
They can be confident in that fight back site.
Yeah. And we'll see how that continues to play out. I think you mentioned. Oh, we're right back into the action. Nice. That wasn't bad at all.
Who is supporting FPX?
Hopefully a
Those
good
who know, they know.
To come. You mentioned the slow approach from Sentinels, but I want to go back to what we were talking about in the previous round. And yes, it's only been 2, but I really like how disciplined FPX have been off of the feints that Sentinels has tried showing.
Yeah, they're definitely trying their hardest to not give away any freebies. That's been the demise of them.
आज का view अच्छा है, कुछ भी बोलो.
Yeah, orb scooped up early in the round.
Love you, yeah.
And again, silence across the map.
Yeah, it's so quiet. Only an Omen.
आज तेरा भाई कुलचा order कर सकता है.
Orb was gathered though from Life.
Jarbugs भाई, supporting correct side. Love you.
Second will be the forefront, along with Tens, the 1-2 punch.
Got to be cautious here. An outlaw.
भाई लोग का stacks अच्छा है, लेकिन ये लोग का read अच्छा है.
So if FPX are able to convert this bonus, this snowball would be huge.
इससे बोला Yoru
It
rotate
would be
किया.
massive, and it would be so detrimental to Sen, who I feel like are such a team that is based off of momentum.
आया मारेगा.
He's on the hunt. Sasi looked like he was a bit asleep at the wheel for a second there.
Yeah, he definitely got caught sleeping at the wheel right there. Maybe looking at the mini-map, but it's a walk down. Oh my goodness!
What in the world was that? That was so fast!
Nasty stuff. A lot of players there just go for the double outlaw. With the switch to the headhunter, it's instantaneous.
I had bad flashbacks of like the chamber.
Oh, 100%.
And so now Sentinels off of that. It seemed like they made a little bit of noise. Hey, again, trying to threaten the opposite side of the map, but now quick rotate back B. You've got Lysor who's here. You still have a trip that's currently down, but the wall goes up. Utility through. Zekin trying to find some space off the satchel. 13 seconds left. They're going to have to get there very quickly. Lysor's going to get another. I don't know that there's a way for John to do this. There's no time.
It's done. I mean, all off of the back of Autumn. What a monster. Solo walking down. I mean, forget it. You don't need a trip when you already take out 2 players.
I think Autumn did a lot of damage at the beginning of the round, but I think Lysor's
मैं
got
कुछ
to
बोलूं
have his
things
praises
भाई,
sung
बोलो
here.
रावल भाई.
He was on the site by himself, if I'm not mistaken, was able to do a second satcheling out. He got a spit kill with the other one. I don't even remember who it was on, but this is very dangerous for Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, losing the bonus, it's
कुछ dangerous नहीं
a
है.
terrible feeling.
Trust me.
But somehow,
it's gonna be
FPX.
clean win for FPX.
Take it away.
Clean.
Sentinels, they will have another buy. I mean, these shots were crazy. But yeah, so there is another buy right now from Sentinels. Very interesting. 3 Bulldogs on the field. And an ult play, that's why.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of this round. The success of the round is being hinged upon whether or not they can find value with the Thrash. Ayang's been detained, tries jumping around to save his life, and cannot. As Zekin gets 2 on the round. They've got the site. They should be able to get the spike down.
And that's upgrades now, too. No one here to thwart the
FPX
plan.
FPX bolte.
Little bro will get it, that spike planted.
ये agent तो nerf होने
Be a
वाला है.
late
South
flank from Autumn. Did the rest of the members of FPX try to go first here? Try to make a distraction, allow him to find a timing?
Yeah, with his ult, maybe. That's a tough thing you're going to have to deal with. Tens is holding the line, too.
Wow.
Seconds got 3 on the round.
And
Lysor
then
had no shot there. And what do you do in a situation like that? Autumn on the second swing will not find success. Slide's doing his best to keep this round going their way, and he cannot. Sentinels are on the board.
Yeah. Saucy in the middle of that retake.
Let's go FPX,
he
baby.
Just jumps
Let's
out
go.
for Zekin to get
FPX
freebies.
FPX.
And Tens as well in the beginning of that round, that Thrash.
FPX
It got
जीता
value.
2-0 तो
It hit a guy
$100.
in Cubby the entire time, so that was the cue to just speed up A short. And that's why they forced into the round. All of a sudden, they're right back into this thing, building up their own economy. And very important kills for Zekin to start getting some momentum. He had a very rough series against Gen G.
Yeah, he did. I think
yeah, he's sitting at the bottom.
Yeah.
like minus 17 across both maps. Just something very
I would like
uncharacteristic.
to reject this offer.
But honestly, I mean, we've got Autumn with
FPX
Op online. He's
2-0.
holding a deep angle down belong, but all of the noise, all of the firepower.
But I would like to reject this offer.
Stopper used as well. He's
Is
gonna pop over the truck.
something.
Doesn't
Is
see
that noisy
anybody.
motion, lose
There's a lot of
motion?
respect and a lot of space being given from FPX right now. It's really nice.
Yeah, you
They're
see
starting to dance around this push and pull of dealing with the aggression, dealing with the firepower of Sentinels while also maintaining the space.
Late हो गया तो
Right now,
मॉलीज
Autumn's so great.
है.
There could be somebody in showers, but there's nobody there. Sentinels are playing all A short, all market area.
Again, the op will be a difficult thing to try to retake around it. The spike has been going off for a little while here. That Dizzy tagged, what, 3?
Haunt doesn't quite connect on anybody there.
If they can't alleviate some of the shower spray
God.
pressure, it's going to be a problem. There's still one there. Tens,
Ah.
beautiful timing.
FPX जीता
Items left to his own
baby.
devices. And there's no way you survive in a situation like that.
And this is a
Let's
different
go,
type of
let's
Sen.
go.
This is the old Sen that we know to dominate. They look so decisive, so much more confident.
Let's
they
go,
look
baby.
more comfortable. I think that's the best word I can say. They tried mixing up their compositions in the last, couple matches they played, and it just
Thirsty
didn't
कर
go their
सकते हैं
way.
FPX.
Yeah, they had a little success on Lotus with the deadlock, But on this map, the last time Sen played, they were running a deadlock solo smoke
Good,
brim.
babe, good.
It's so hard to play, especially on the
Good.
defensive side, when you only have brim smokes on the field. So easy to bait out. So I really like this
Nice
change
timeout.
going
Nice
back
timeout. एक
to
timeout
that
गया.
100 Thieves
एक बचा, let's
composition,
go.
the double initiator. And Zekin is
माँ,
the
मेरी
type of
शक्तियों का
duelist
गलत
that
इस्तेमाल हो रहा है. आज
requires
होने दो
teammates to
यार.
help him throw utility for him to entry. This is why you saw Zekin struggle so hard on Ascent. There was no flashes for him besides Omen.
He does seem to be notably more comfortable, as the rest of the Sentinel squad does too, as you were talking about just a few moments ago. And I think as we see FPX call a timeout here early on in the first half, a lot of what we were just talking about around how Zekin has struggled tremendously against Gen G. I want to be careful because I don't think that was the reason why they lost. I think there were a lot of things that were going on that unfortunately didn't go their way. I think you look back at the last 3 matches that they've played, they've had one player go positive every single time.
Yeah.
So you've got one guy who's kind of treading water, kind of trying to stay afloat, while the rest of them are really struggling. And yeah, Zekin is unfortunately the most
जो पूछ रहा है why support FPX, I think they are new here.
It has really been tough sledding for Sentinels these last couple of matches.
गर्म है.
But it looks like they finally got their foot in the door here.
Thirsty.
Bringing it within one round.
ये round thirsty.
With a start that was looking really dominant from FPX.
Voting
I don't
ले
think
लो.
FPX
यार
is
वो
ready
आवाज
for
करता है
that
ना.
force buy from Sentinels. That thrash.
tuck,
That was
tuck,
such a
tuck.
big call.
And it worked out.
So risky.
Take a look at the purchase for FPX here. 2 rifles. And a couple of sheriffs.
भाई हुक्का नहीं जाना चाहिए यार.
Heavy lean towards A.
Lies
Again,
और
Lysor's
one
being
tap
asked
मारेगा.
and being called upon to hold B on his own.
Yeah, these last couple rounds that Sen have won, FPX have had a stack on the wrong site. Lysor should call for his team now that this will be a hookah crunch.
They're trapped in there. There's no real easy way out. Reinforcements have to arrive. I mean, they have the superior weaponry, and there they go.
Whoa.
All of the other guns arriving at just the right time. Barring a kill from Autumn, this will be a flawless round from Sentinels to tie us up at 3. And I think we talked just a couple of rounds ago about the snowball that could potentially be forming on the side of FPX. Look at it for Sentinels now. They've got money forever. They've got Tenz's ult that's back online. He had it, what, 3 rounds? 2-3 rounds ago. Sasi's got his ult online as well.
Zalsis is building up towards that Brim ultimate as well, getting the spike planter right there. He might even just go for the kill here.
Yeah.
They're going to use info to try to find out where Autumn is and feed the kill.
3-0 करेंगे.
Zalsis. That's why you see him treading.
चलो. अभी
even if he dies, he still gets it. So that's a W
अभी
for
हम
Zalsis.
It's now 3
back
ults
to
that they're gonna
normal
have.
कर सकते हैं.
Well, Autumn's going to do his best to hang on to this rifle.
OP in the
Yeah, he wants to
chat.
keep this one for sure.
Huh?
Question is, does he expect Sasi around the corner? No, he doesn't.
Let's go, baby.
3 on the round for the initiators. We're tied at 3 apiece, and I think we talked a little bit about how FPX looked very comfortable. They looked aggressive at the beginning. You think about that showers push that happened from Autumn on the pistol and a couple of other things like that. Sentinels they've seemed to have figured out how to deal with that so far.
Yeah, they haven't been getting punished early on. This time, their executes are way more decisive, maybe because of the support ability that they have, you know, the ultimates most notably.
अभी वो भी कुछ करेंगे, सब मैं करूँ यहाँ पे बैठ के. कुछ sense है?
And Sasi, he's such a good LAN player, man. When it comes to champs, when it comes to these big moments, he always shows up. So much experience.
F का t-shirt पे ना?
I want to mention very quickly, Autumn has another op online. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd time. We haven't seen any value with it. Meanwhile, the dump onto A is ridiculous. You've got the Nightfall, you've got the Orbital Strike, you've got everything thrown towards the site. Berlin will ultimately fall as well. I mean, we're what, 20 seconds into the round and it's done. I mean, it's a save.
Yeah, it was the same set play that Sen did previously with that Thrash, but this time there's follow-up, right? The Fade ultimate, the Brim ultimate, they got cooked to a crisp. It was a barbecue.
Huh?
There's just no way to hold on to the site when you have that much being thrown at you.
Yeah, and that's the power of this composition. There's so much utility once the execute actually comes through. FPX, they did a good job in the first 3 rounds of kind of dealing with that. But I mean, on pistol rounds, you don't really have the full amount that you want for the side of Sentinels. So FPX didn't really have to feel all that power. But now that they feel it, I mean, Zelsis just felt something. A little bit of a headache there, huh?
Second did too.
I mean, they have to save this operator, but it's going to be a full hunt. Yeah, he's so clean with the op. He had 5 op kills in the last series against Heretics, and they stole that map away.
We just saw him get 2, and again, if my memory serves me right, those are the only 2 he's had all map.
Yeah, he's had some outlaw kills.
There's that hit again.
Yeah, that's obnoxious. The Fade ultimate into the Raise nade. The Brim ult wasn't even required, but why not, you know?
Adding insult to injury.
So the snowball's still in full effect for Sentinels right now.
That works. Light armor across the board for the defensive side.
Never doubt Sen. 3-0 पे कौन क्या बच रहा
Ion's ult is
था?
online. Lysor's 1 tip away from his.
Sen को support करने so
hard.
hard.
Down belong with the op.
पता नहीं मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ Sen को support.
There is a little bit more presence here though. Zalsis is close by.
Zalsis भाई दे दो bundle दे दो.
What a shot!
An elbow is all it took.
बस.
God Zalsis jiggle.
अपना काम करता भाई.
Honestly, that was such a bold swing out from Autumn too. He was past the point of his TP at that point.
I mean, you got to make something happen, right? With that operator, him just sitting back in passive angles was not working for them in the last couple of rounds. Oh, it's picks across the board right now.
This is tough, man. This throws the attack into such a tizzy.
क्या हो रहा भाई?
If you're not finding success on either side of the map, you're thrown into plan C, plan D of your approach.
And you have no smokes on the field right now. Berlin took a little bit to get there, but he gets the kill. Life, he might get a 3rd into this round. but it's Berlin to clean it all up. And that's off the back of that aggression from Autumn's operator. I mean, worst case scenario, Autumn there, like he peeks there, no one's there, he has all the info for his team. They're able to cheat over towards the A site, so I like him stepping past the TP. You have such an advantage when you're peeking riflers with an AWP, and you got to play to it.
Lysor was close by 2 if I remember correctly, so even if he does for some reason not win that, there's a chance for the AWP to get picked up and then, you know, kind of reset on the round. But now it's on Sentinels to try to slow things down. They're going to burn their first time out of the map and see what sort of adjustments are there. I mean, again, Autumn should have that AWP online going into next, but for Sentinels here, we've seen them put up 4 in a row. Finally, a little bit of the bleeding has been stopped, and FPX seem to have a little bit more momentum their way. Dre, I'd love to get your thoughts, because that felt like that worked because of picks on opposite side of the map.
Like करने बोलो chat, like करो ना यार stream.
So the change for
stream like करो 6000 लोग देख रहे हैं 6000 likes
let's
करो.
use utility this time and just take control of either showers or take control of B-Long with utility to find out if the operator's there, because he's gonna TP away. Like when you playing against a chamber, you want to use utility to find out where he's at and just push him back. Make him use that recharge. And then in that window of time, that 30-second frame that you have, you can come up with a plan and formulate if you want to hit on the chamber while he doesn't have any mobility and any TP to get it escape or whatnot. But also this timeout was mainly to ice FPX. You know, Sentinels, they won 4 in a row and they just got stopped with picks like you said. Okay, it's fine. Let's use utility, don't get first blooded, and just run into an execute. The executes of Sentinels have been unstoppable so far.
Yeah, when they've had the ults that they can kind of put together, it's been devastating.
10 second delay, कोई सीन नहीं. 10 second बाद trophy.
Quick note here, Autumn has repositioned. This time trying to hold the line on A short.
We saw him take the same pathing on the pistol round, and he did meet Zelsis here previously.
Second by fun tap मार दो इसको.
He's gonna have a lot more to deal with here.
Fun tap
Berlin
मार
is
दे
with them.
second.
They just had a Prowler clear out showers.
There it is. Push him back, and now you can overwhelm.
If they want to commit to it. And it seems like that's exactly what they're going to do. What a shot out from Autumn. Staying alive through the decay and through the damage and aggressively checking into another.
George.
Absolute madman, and he gets punished for it, though.
When we have Zelsis.
Zelsis not falling for any of those shenanigans.
No, as things slow down, all members from FPX rotating back towards A. And Sentinels have cut noise.
Launching smoke. Only one smoke to work with, and they decide to smoke off U-Haul, and that might be detrimental to them.
Yeah, almost getting punished up from heaven. That second smoke causing a little bit of problems. Berlin still had an angle to play around. Look at the health bars. All the members of Sentinels are so weak.
Yeah. But Tenz, he picked up that operator. He might be able to work something with this, work some magic. Tenz magic.
This smoke is interesting too. It gives them passage out if they decide that they want to flip the map, but hanging on for now. 20 seconds left in the round. A little bit of presence in U-Haul. You've got Zelsis who's starting to creep forward. Fretting on the plant. That's not the right one. Time is running short. That shot will connect, but with 10 seconds left, how much more can you do? Can you buy enough time for the spike to go down? No.
Yeah. Too many angles to look at. FPX, they basically steal that one away. That was insane, though, from Autumn in short. The fact that he even got 1 kill there. I mean,
it's time to support, guys.
The poise that you have to have when all that utility is being smothered onto you, and to still just be in the zone like this. I mean, he's tethered. I mean, it's chaos on the screen. That is not an easy thing to do by any means. A lot of players crumble in that moment.
Yeah, to ignore all the noise and to stay focused. I mean, we can have the same conversation about Ayang, who was able to track Zekin as he went, but back into the next round we go. A pit already invested down B-Long.
And the whole purpose of this is to kind of force SEN to do what you want. They want them to lean towards either that hookah area or go towards that 3-man fighting squad at A.
Yeah, and that 3-man fighting squad that you were just talking about had taken a lot of space down showers. It seemed like they wanted to try to fight there early on. They don't meet a threat, but you can see what the intention is for FPX early on.
And it's so hard for Sentinels to entry into these sites knowing that you have to go against these operators. Life! Holding down showers on his own.
FPX stronger.
A 2 for 1, you'll take that any day.
Almost got 3.
अंडीज में हाथ डाल के बैठे. मैं सही में, excuse me.
Zelsis was able to see that smoke.
Oh
my gosh, Ayang in Berlin. Little in and out, and it's Tenz all alone.
this round and the last couple of rounds, to be honest, Tens is, as you mentioned, 1v4 or borderline unwinnable one. The crazy thing about that too, very quickly, we went into that round.
Kingstar by like करी दो अभी हटा दिया तो.
Sentinels without having to invest.
Full time में भी आपके जैसे था participant certificate लेके घुस रहे थे.
Yeah. The ult economy has been insane for FPX, and when you're Sentinels, when you see a team has 5 ultimates, that's why you saw that slow approach in the previous round, where like, they're just tapping the spike consistently. They're trying to see and bait out any type of thing. But FPX, they just held on to him. I mean, they're not going to use them unless you force them to.
They might try to go fast here. They've got a lot of presence. Short A, short second is a stinger, and he has his ult online.
You've seen Autumn in these moments, though. Oh, he's going to get punished this time.
Whoa, no! It went right past him! What a shot from Autumn! Again, delivering! Very similar hit to what we saw before. The orbital strike not finding the kill under Berlin. Takes a little bit of damage, yes, but repositions. And now Life has gone full reconnaissance.
And he saw every single member done. That's why he's taking all the space on the flank. This is so nice from Life.
The problem is he's the only one playing contain here. And it seems like Sentinels are rotating away.
Yeah. Like a push down hookah or something of the sort. But are they anticipating this deep of a push? All the way down B long by the fountain.
I mean, neither side is making any noise. Oh, that flash.
But he's
and
out.
It's a TP away. But it's just enough misdirection. Look at the pings on the minimap now.
Yeah.
Like we heard him. He's got to be around. Where is he?
It's so scary. It's a horror game.
Now 35 seconds left on the round. Sentinels seem to have chosen the right side.
30 seconds left.
I mean, बहुत कुछ कर सकता है.
Definitely.
FPX जीता.
It's all up to Life here. I don't know if he can anchor this
Oh,
alone.
one tap मारेगा.
Find the timing. Oh, he gets spotted.
Again, the only smoke has been invested. The flash is so pretty. Life gets another 2.
Spike planted.
क्या हो गया?
Omen ultimate committed.
He was alone.
Tens wasn't ready for that. I don't think they heard that at all.
I mean, Berlin TP'd into that. You're absolutely right. He was so far ahead of everything else. Now Zelsis is left in a 1v3, able to find the first. The peek onto the second will not connect. The defuse comes through as FPX will get another.
मेरे powers खत्म.
Just absolute madmen in the server. Life, he's all alone on site. Has a nice flash lineup for himself. John TT gets caught out in the open. But the second follow-up, how are they getting away with this? The trades, the spacing is just not quite there. It's almost like Sentinels are just lining up for these guys. And look at this. Somebody needs to come out earlier there and help John.
Dude, the rocket, I mean, you can see the frustration on Zekin's face there. The rocket just humming right past Autumn.
That ultimate, it can be so hard to land sometimes. Even when you think it lands. Yeah, and even when you think it lands, it might not even kill fully.
Last round of half, you see it on the timeline. The rounds have come in bunches. For the wave Sentinels, FPX responding with a bit of their own. And the chamber ult used right at the very beginning. Berlin with Goop in face has to take a step back. This is so bold.
Oh, what a punish.
So reckless. Life with 3 on the round and Berlin cleans it up. Again, man. How many does this guy have?
The 3K spray down? I would love to get a replay on that. That was absurd.
Surely we're going to get a look at it again. Life has just been ridiculous these last couple of rounds. Again, an 8-4 half the way of FPX. You can take a look at these highlights and think over them a little bit longer. We'll be right back.
Oh, come on. Trade in any phone in any condition, guaranteed, and get $800.
किस-किस को लगता है सेन घर पे जाएगा? किस-किस को लगता है? हाथ ऊपर करो. किस-किस को लगता है कि सेन is actually losing against FPX today? Mods. सबको टाइम आउट. It was a bait. Hitters को बाहर निकालने का. ट्वीट कर FPX will win. मेरा ट्वीट का 100% है लेकिन एक्चुअल में ना बेंच. I still believe भाई नहीं हार सकते यार सेन यार प्लीज यार जेंजी के साथ हारा तो ठीक है जेंजी पे हारा सेन के साथ तो ठीक है यार एफपीएक्स हाँ अभी तो खेलना चालू किया एफपीएक्स ने गद्दू आज सेन का टाइम है राहुल भाई आई वुड लाइक टू अपोलोजाइज आई डू एक्सेप्ट योर ऑफर क्या अगर एफपीएक्स जीता तो $100 मिलेगा अगर सेन जीता तो भी मैं जीता आई एक्सेप्ट योर ऑफर यार लव यू पिंकी दी ने एक बार बोला था स्ट्रीम पे आपके पास जोड़ के शेयर है तो मैंने भी लिया 169 पे सेल कर दो क्या एक्सक्यूज मी मैं बाइंड एंड सेलिंग नहीं करता यू कम एट रॉन्ग प्लेस मैं थोड़ा बहुत लेकर रखा हूँ बस सेकंड बाय तो स्ट्रीम स्नाइपर निकले ऐसा कैसे यूज हो सकता है चैट ऐसा कैसे यूज हो सकता है
What the defensive side looks like. Again, 5 rounds in a row to close out the half for FPX off of heroics from a couple of individual members that were just having their way with what Sentinels was throwing at them. We will see if that is any different
if
going into this round. As we head into the pistol, you've got 4 classics in light armor on the side of FPX. Meanwhile, full ghosts for Sentinels.
अरे अरे कल भी आया था ये तू जा रे अमन जीएफएक्स उसने मुझे गाली दी लेकिन तेरे कान में आती कल
He's still back in spawn, waiting for any noise, waiting to be as reactive as he can be, as quickly as he can be, because this is very decisive out from FPX.
रिकॉल तो है
It was perfect. John's getting online. A second on the swing out, trying to find a little bit more. Zion just crept backside. Him and Berlin, those two in tandem, just pushing their way forward, trying to mow over Sentinels. And it's Autumn who cleans things up. Seconds left alone, he's trying to tuck down 22 HP. Is someone over the top?
Tandem देखो.
Second with the
Tandem देखो.
Unreal from the kid. I
Sarthak
thought when he
Jinx by
ran out of CT alone, he would get punished for it. But no. He just cleans it up. Sneaks right behind. Right here is when I thought it was going to be wraps. But just sneaking by on the reload on top of it.
Tilamat, sorry.
Poor guy's been having such a good game, but just didn't guess right this time around. He went for the jumping classic. Yeah, he knows he got away with murder right there.
But honestly, I mean, you mentioned Autumn. He had a 2K there, a 3K on the round, if I'm not mistaken, with a little pixel angle.
It was a very cool strat.
I mean, that's why they bought the classics. They isolated.
So basically, FPX जीता तो $100 और सेन जीता
good in all those
तो
fights.
10 gifted.
All that
अच्छा
close
चल
range.
रहा है अच्छा चल रहा है और बाकी लोग का बोली क्या है
Not good enough to get him over the board. So Sentinels win the second half pistol. No investment on the side of FPX.
Yeah, not too crazy of an investment for the side of Sentinels either. You have 2 Spectres, a Stinger. Yeah, you have an Outlaw and a Bulldog, but I mean, going into the next round, you don't really have much to work with, I feel like. Great molly.
Very nice indeed. Autumn just continues to find success, man. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he keeps getting away with it.
Just
chamber things, man.
And so, a weapon upgraded for Berlin, who's now got the Bulldog in hand and left in a 1v3.
Oh, he's getting right at.
Nowhere to go.
Zelsis with the spray and pray stinger. Intuition was on point. He's had a lot of smoke spam kills so far in this map. A lot on Autumn.
Again.
अगर Binks Jinx ने करेगा तो $500 मेरे तरफ से पहले आप 150 का membership लो.
Let's go, boys.
$500
They are in it now with that. I mean, only 2 round difference here.
Yeah.
And
from the Vibes merchant himself.
And you know how I was talking about how it was a light investment in the previous round? Look at this now. You got 2 Phantoms, one on Zek and one on Zelsis.
And the Bulldog and the Outlaw.
Guys, 69. Shout out to you.
Aggression too.
They've got something to work with here. Sentinels very far up a short.
Oh yeah. That Fade Eye. Been really impressed so far from Saucy using some of these lineups that he's had. I mean, that pistol round 1, that was really big. This time around, he gets info on market area. And Sen decided to back off, re-clear showers. But Autumn, he waited that out, and it's going to be a little bit of a battle here. could have been.
Meanwhile, you saw Life grab that ult orb towards Belong. I think that's going to be a key part of how they try to approach these later rounds on the
थोड़ा
attack.
कम चलो ऑफिस में और ठीक है
Have Life go in, create as much havoc as possible, get info.
चैट 3k लाइक्स
So
कर
many
दो
ways
सिर्फ
you can play around
700
your
लोग
rule.
बचे हैं
Yeah. And his kit in general, he left a clone there, and they're actually going to lean back towards A, I believe,
Samak
and
bhai,
use that
thank
clone
you
as
for
a
the
feint for the
membership,
hit.
Jan.
This is
Look
some
where the spike
very cool stuff.
There's a lot of presence here.
एक बंदा
I
break
mean,
हो गया.
oftentimes you see a fake and it's 1 or 2 members, but I think they can send it and then they go through TP, they head back towards showers.
Yep, and the problem here is if Autumn doesn't win this 1v1, it gets thwarted.
And that's exactly what happened. So now they, what do they try to reinvest back
पूरा
towards
पुश
B?
रुक दिया बे.
I think they have to full commit. The spike is all the way up base short.
69 नहीं होने वाला लग रहा.
Saucy, he's just going to delay right now.
Things have been thrown into disarray. I thought Life was going to try to get out. If he dies, yeah, that's a spike. That's a problem.
He's so
No
smart.
69.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Dre. If that kill goes the way of FPX and Showers,
Safety
they
नहीं कर रहे
have
वो
so
लोग,
many
time ही
things
नहीं
at
है.
their disposal.
Yeah.
But that goes down, you've lost Showers control,
चलो
and then the
पकड़ो.
spike is in this awkward, like, well, do I go up A? Do I TP back B? Or are you guys going to come to us?
Yep.
What's the play?
And I get it. I know Autumn's feeling himself right now. He wants to take that 1v1.
Yeah.
Then जीता तो membership
There's
upgrade.
no
Yay!
downside to just waiting, holding
Huh?
an off angle, and waiting for your squad to come up and run in with you and get the trade instantly. So a little bit of a mistake there, maybe just getting a little bit too overconfident in that moment. Because yeah, as soon as he drops right here
I
alone,
just said.
I mean that's a very risky peak to take.
I'll have
Like
बाद में
that
पक्का.
too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's tough to
आज
win.
यही
It
I will
doesn't
have
really
dinner.
matter who you are.
I mean, you just wait for your team. The worst
Pinky
case
looking
scenario
good.
is you trade, and then you have
Whenever
the
you
set for
sell
free.
your horses and
But the
sleep,
setup
you
on the
always do
strat
good.
was really nice from FPX.
Okay, good.
The execution just wasn't quite there. And great job from Sentinels to clean that one up.
fast shower.
Ooh.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Broken. What's going on right
You
now?
gotta get
Life?
out of there. Zekin's not able to stay alive, but they're trading out from 10s is nice. Life now down. Ayong has a rifle.
Very up.
Taking every single timing possible. Look at this.
Yeah.
All the way through. In spot. Oh, Celsius. He
My
ran him like a buck somehow.
क्या पकड़ा
That's
बे.
so rough.
Yeah, very clean shots. Berlin wasn't able to do anything there. You know, we saw this a lot when FPX played against Heretics. They
Lean
invest
bay.
into Ayong. It doesn't really matter who it is that has the hot hand or what it is that's going on. If there's a hero rifle, be it the Guardian or the Vandal, whatever it is, it often goes into his hands, and that's the case here.
कौन
Two
सा
members
पराठा
out
है?
towards A. Zelsa's
Kौन सा?
the only one close by. If he gets cleaned up, that's an open sight. Stays alive so far. Kamali to buy a little bit of time as two reinforcements. Again, the two remaining members of Sentinels
Nice.
trying to get over as quickly as they can.
अकेला बचा है.
1 for 1. There's not a lot of time. He's going to have to
Nice.
win those out on his own, and he cannot. We're tied at
Nice.
Yeah, Saucy
तो मेरे
cleaning
पे
it
upgrade
up
करो
there.
चलो.
Fade Ultimate online and available.
Membership
Nice
कैसे
stuff
लेते हैं
from
please कोई
Sentinels to
बता
weather
दो.
the storm. That was that
Join
quick
button पे
showers and
click
short A
करके.
push. Zelsis, he is on point right now with his intuition. The fact that he turns around in time for both those scenarios. I mean, he almost gets caught right there by Autumn.
Yeah.
But Autumn just couldn't settle the shots.
Yeah.
And then the Phantom pre-fire spray. That's the advantage of using Phantom in scenarios like this. And that's why you see him vibing up there.
Yeah, we talked about it.
यार
in
जब तक
the
टाइम आउट है
rival
स्ट्रीम
interviews,
को
we
लाइक
talked
कर दो.
about it when they walked out on
500
stage.
लाइक्स
We
remaining
even
for
saw it
3k
when we
लाइक्स.
saw
7000 लोग
couple
देख रहे हैं.
members
अंडी
of,
बंडे.
Sentinels backstage before they even walked out onto the stage. For a team that's facing elimination in the biggest tournament of the entire year, they seem really relaxed.
तुम
They
क्या
seem
दिखा रहे हो भाई?
very like just
तुम क्या
comfortable
दिखा रहे
and
हो?
chill.
And they need to be that way. And
Huh?
they need to be confident. And this is the
I
scary
choose Alex
time
Bhai.
right now for FPX because a confident Sentinels, I mean, that's
वो
not a
टेक
team
की रह
you want
सकता
to play
मैदान
against.
में.
They can be Titans. We've
बराबर है कि
seen
नहीं?
it. Yeah. If you get them going, they will destroy you.
Well, I think on the other side, you know, to play devil's advocate here a little bit.
बंद भाई रोज इतना हैंडसम मत दिखा करो. My girl also
I
uses
look towards
YouTube.
FPX, man. You think they
Ask
have
her
tried
to
setting
use
the pace
Instagram
from the
no.
very first round of the map too. So it really just feels like a.
मैं कभी इंस्टा पे
like
लाइव नहीं
just
रहता हूँ
who's-
इसलिए
who's
बोला.
gonna lean into the confidence a little bit more.
Yeah.
गलत
And
मत
not be
समझो.
too overconfident as well,
Right,
right?
yeah, not like go too far,
It's
yeah.
this fine line that you always have to tread. And it's a really good sign for Sentinels fans
इनके
out
क्या
there that
acting
they're
minus
playing
one?
in this way because I feel like you watched the last couple of matches, you know, they
बंद
really
भाई
haven't had that
वैसे
same
घर
spark,
पे
that
ही
same, you know,
बुला के
motivation.
चेक
Even
कर
in the
लो.
reactions of
On
the
stream
players
भी
look
चले
very
जाने.
serious, like you said. Now they look a lot more loose and
हो गया कल फुल रेस्ट डे. कल वॉच पार्टी के बाद I'll rest मस्त.
right? It's a lot of pressure that amounts onto you. Being lighthearted can be a way to weather that.
Yeah, alleviate a little bit of it. You see Autumn's ult online. Heavy lean towards B. There's no Showers presence. There's no A presence at all. Now we're going to see life.
Hero ult is equal to free side, guys.
3 members here, though, from Sentinels.
That knife ult's really good. That's going to tag a lot of members. Berlin's already dead.
Yeah, free spam kill.
I mean, Life went out to get info, but his teammates crumbled around him.
I mean, no chance, really. Just spam across the board.
I mean, look at where the spike is. It's
Gucci
out.
Gaming, thank you for the membership.
Center looking so good right now.
Yeah, but this also feels like a plan that was poorly executed on the side of FPX.
I mean, sometimes.
No, actually, मैं यूरो अल्टी के वजह से उनको लगा साइड खाली है.
Zelsis,
जब तक
he's
बंदे
had
देखे
so
वो लोग
many
ने
smoke
निकल के
kills so
मार
far. Oh, what a shot! Oh, he almost connected onto that one. The tens. He'll clean it up along with Zekin, the 1-2 punch. But yeah, Zelsis. I mean,
yes,
if we
thank
have
you
a
for the
smoke
membership.
on this map, he's had at least. I swear, it's like half of his kills.
Yeah, he's gonna
7 kills at least.
I'd love to take a look at that round again. I mean, we'll see.
Look at this.
We'll see some of the plays.
Oh, okay, that was just.
Or some of the kills, excuse me. But you know,
Euro
so
का info
Life
थोड़ा
goes out
गलत हो
with
गया.
his ult, tries to get a little bit of info on site. As soon as an info comes out, we saw Berlin TP forward.
Sexy मार रहा था
He was the
Dance.
one who had the spike and just dies out in the middle of the site. And from that point forward, there was
Sexy
really
मार रहा
no
था
way
Dance.
for any sort of octagon presence to come out onto the site. The spike was in no man's land, and that's where it really felt like the round fell apart.
Yeah, I didn't catch that TP from Berlin.
Race
That
का
was,
पोजी guys.
that was so insane. I mean,
Race का
that was so
पोजी.
risky.
And you see where the risk did not pay off in this
One
instance.
tap
Autumn, again, a hot
God.
hand. Man, is it gone cold.
Jeez. The contact approach from FPX, it hasn't been working. They need to just do an execute at some point of this half.
वो लोग
Try to
fast
spike
A कर
plan,
सकते हैं.
At least.
Well, but you got to think about it, though, Dre. It feels like, you know, we think about FPX and the crazy year that they've had. I want to take us back to Shanghai. One of the things that people were so excited about was
मारा
how
बेटे
FPX
by
played
10
their
mood में
attacking
आज.
side, particularly had the
Actual में
the
अच्छा
entire
मार रहा
map.
हूँ.
Yeah, with all the smokes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right, there were double pump fakes, there were
इसको
triple
भी
pump fakes.
कर रहा है पता है क्या ऑटम को? ये loading क्यों हो रहा है आज?
There was some like heavy exec rounds, but that didn't
Download
really
होगा क्या?
feel like their DNA.
Yeah, this contact style has just not been working for them so far. I
God.
mean, look, another just dry walk into the crosshairs that are trained on them from Sentinel.
And Zekin's able to tuck back in and stay alive. Pops back out with his ult, not going to connect onto anything, but this delay is just so difficult to navigate. I mean, they've barely made it out of short at this point. They haven't really gotten a ton of space at all.
इस
And if you look
सेकंड
at the
में मेरा
ultimates, there's
स्ट्रीम मत
so
देखो
many
यार
online and
प्लीज.
available for Sentinels. Look at that. Life is done.
He's cooked. He was tethered.
मेरा स्ट्रीम मत देखो प्लीज
fried.
सेकंड.
He's done.
एक और कॉम्बो मुंह पे दिया.
Another barbecue.
Barbecue बोलती.
Sentinels are definitely at the cookout. And Tens, he didn't even have to use that thrash. He has that available for another retake if he wants or an aggressive play, but they don't really need to do anything. Them just holding off angles has been the key to success. Look at this. 2 different off-angle kills, and then what? It's 5v3. You got full confidence in your squad. You retake. A tether right there. Life can't escape, even if you wanted to.
No, I even think about that off-angle that Saucy was holding a couple rounds ago in Showers.
Yeah.
Right, when the intent was to go back and hit back towards A.
They can try and
really
such a
felt like that's been their
cute
success this whole time. I mean, look at the timeline. That's 6 rounds in a row.
It's
It's just been so dominant on this side.
This Sentinels roster, once they get going, it's impossible. It feels so smothering.
Look at the adjustment here out from FPX. I was talking about how they
Ek
like to
aur
put the
combo.
hero rifle in the hands of Ayang. This time it's in Autumn's.
Oh, proactivity with the thrash, but a great bait.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I'll make beans.
एक
Tens
और
has
बार
the back
ओके.
up there from John to pick up
सेन
that
घर
thrash
पे आया
again. We'll have
जिंजी
it
से हार
next
के
bit.
ना.
It's just a cycle of utility right now from both sides. All of Hookah just got cleared out. That's why you see them
ना
taking space.
हो सकता है एक्चुअल में हो सकता
John
है.
QT.
Because I love Genji. वो लोग का
Saucy.
bootcamp sexy था.
And Tens, he
I
leans
think
towards A. And I wonder
Genji
if this
over
is
Sen
crunch. If players go Hookah, they'll
वो
send
लोग
that
ने मुझे
thrash
अपने
to the
bootcamp पे
TV.
बुलाया, academy
As I
दिखाया.
say that, it's going to be a B long hit.
Huh?
Paranoia goes out, Life goes forward. They have a lot of space here.
Yeah.
The thing is, they haven't dealt with the
क्या बोलते
hookah
हो?
presence that you were mentioning a couple of rounds ago.
ठीक है मैं
And
switch हो गया.
Sentinels, they're comfortable with this for that reason. There
Crash.
comes the crunch. Oh, it's
Yeah.
slowed.
There comes the thrash. There comes the crunch that you mentioned. And yeah, with the alarm bot at his feet. Slowed, sure, but it's really just delaying the inevitable.
Oh my gosh, and the jiggle as well from Zelsis. He spotted all three members there. It's just easy pick'ems for John QT.
3 on the round for the leader. Sasi's gonna clean up the last. Sentinels will get to 11.
It just looks so easy for Sentinels. They're reading FPX so hard right now. Showing B-long presence, leaning back towards Hookah. Tens, he goes all the way back around A for that thrash to go through the TP. It's beautiful. It's beautiful Valorant we're seeing right now from Sentinels.
वो लोग ने खुद मेरे से बात करने के बाद बोला कि
I mean, it's got to be pretty when you win 7 in a row. But I think the other thing I want to mention very quickly is you talk about how it feels like I did something.
मैं है पे वो लोग का
क्या बोलते हैं वो out the water I just drank. That was crazy.
Patience बढ़ते तो क्या बोलते हैं उसे
are reading FPX well, and they are. But I also think a lot of the individual firepower is starting to come through, like John's, as we saw a moment ago.
Yeah, he did something.
A little pat on his back.
Hey, sometimes you got to hype yourself up, man.
Take the wins where you can get them.
Yeah.
I get it.
This is a new look right now for FPX. It's an attack side operator, and Tens is all alone here. I say that, but I mean, he has supporting cast, but he's the only one.
That
was his backup. Yep, that was his backup.
I wonder here if you're expecting someone else. Yeah, Autumn is. The slow walk into it.
Unbelievably quick.
I wondered if he would be worried about it, if he would even check Octagon, given the smoke, given the fact that Sasi was playing another off angle, but the discipline and the poise out from Autumn.
Yeah. I mean,
battery recharge
Autumn has had to play against some of the most ridiculous plays we've seen in Valorant China. So he's got to be ready for stuff like that. People finessing around smokes or even just running through them.
They've got to understand that Hookah hasn't been cleared. Zelsis is here, and Lysor knows. But what can they do about him?
This is tough.
I mean, he's like a trap that's been laid. And it's almost like you know he's there. It's like itching in the back of your mind, but you can't really do anything about it. It's all going to be on timing. Meanwhile, Ion falls. Zelsis on the swing, and now the threat has been realized. Lysor falls, 3v3, Op still in the hands of Autumn, but Berlin not around for long. Meanwhile, Life only has 10 HP. John on the tap, the shot's not going to connect. Zelsis is still playing up, and Hookah finally dealt with 5 drop.
Oh my God, QT!
On the round, and the defuse comes through.
Oh boy, he did something again. 4. How did they bring that one back?
Bhai, Zelsis is out of the mind skill, dude.
Biding his time.
Bhai, Sen
the retake utility was beautiful. The trades on top of that, phenomenal. And that plan. What a shame. Rough stuff for FPX. Autumn did so much in that round. But he lines up with his teammate. And John, he executes.
And now Sentinels are one round away from having a perfect half to take Bind, to take map 1, to take FPX's map pick.
It's been an obliteration.
Interesting approach there. Do you see Life TP, sends his TP out towards A, and then ults, and then takes the TP. Look at how far back he is. They just dropped a smoke back there. He could pop out on the other side, but that was the play. A really cool exec from FPX, but only 1 kill found.
Oh no!
Sentinel shutting the door on that again.
It's so chaotic. It's a flood. Sentinels are feeling it. They can taste it.
Just 1 member left, and it's all on Berlin in a 1v2. The spam's coming through. 25 HP. Too many targets to deal with. Sentinels roar their way through a dominant second half to take Bind. 13-8.
Let's go, Sen!
Just wow.
That's
all you have to say about that half from Sentinels.
We'll see if Lotus tells a different story. What a dominant performance to close things out on Bind. We'll see you guys on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere.
पिंकी बहुत टाइम हो गया कलेश वाले शॉट्स ने थोड़ा करो
2 पराठा रखा तेरे लिए
क्या बज रही हो
2 पराठा हाँ 2 पराठा बाकी है
हाँ ऐसे ऐसे थोड़ा गुस्सा और गुस्सा चाहिए
कमर टूटी है ऑलरेडी
कमर में टूटा है पीठ टूटा है कमर मेरा अभी भी
बराबर कमर नहीं टूटी है कमरा टूटा है कोई बात
अरे यार जोक्स मेरी बीवी है आज सेन जीता तो क्या था? मेंबरशिप अपग्रेड चलो। सेन तो 10 गिफ्टेड चलो। सेन जीता तो 10,000 जीपे चलो। सेन जीता तो 2 BHK गिफ्ट। आंदो हिटर्स आंदो। सेन जीता तो 1 किलो कांदा आंदो। एस प्रो मतलब? As promised, love you. वैसे $10 में आप पूरा लिख सकते थे ऐसे के साथ as promised. ऐसे लिखना आजकल अच्छा नहीं है लेकिन सेंटेंस लिख सकते थे. अभिषेक भाई थैंक यू फॉर द $10 मेरी जान के टोटे. भाई लव यू यार. बचा लिया आपने. लव यू यार सक्षम भाई. लव यू. कल ही रिकॉर्ड हुआ है एक क्यूट केजे वाला शॉट. हाँ क्या क्यूट तो है कि केजे क्यूट था.
मैं ओमन खेलती हूँ अभी.
That's none of my. आलू 20 रुपए के जी. सेन जीता. आंदो. सिनेमा एब्सोल्यूट भाई स्टार्टिंग में गांड फटी थी लेकिन बिग मांगने का तरीका कैजुअल है. समीर भाई लव यू. जॉइन अवर प्रीमियम टॉप नॉच हाई क्वालिटी ऑलवेज एक्टिव 24/7 into 9 into 7 plus 365 into 7 WhatsApp group. Join it समीर भाई. मेरे खास दोस्त मेंबर्स बताएंगे कितने एक्टिव है. लेट्स गो. पिंकी दी आपको देखना चाहिए केजे वाला शॉट. आप चुप रहो हेटर. बीच सेंटिनेंटल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट भाई जीत तो गया सेट 2-0. बंस भाई 150 ग्राम आण दो. अभी डरते नहीं है. सोफे की आदत भाई. आज 1.5 घंटा सोफे पे लेटा.
Sentinels, they look great on bind. I'm now joined by their head coach Kaplan. Now, phenomenal defense. I don't think you can ask for a better one. But in your eyes, what was the key to the success of that defense half?
Yeah, we've been talking a lot lately. We're all bought into coming into these matches with plans to ante and punish the opponents. But we struggle sometimes with the micro, right? Sometimes we play too scared. Yeah. We're not making little adjustments and switching things up and talking to each other enough. And the boys did an incredible job with that, right? Every freeze time, even if it's the same setup, change a little thing, add a little idea.
बोला था मैं सेन जीता तो 200 सब्जेक्ट इग्नोर करा था आपने. चैट माफ करो यार. आज के बाद नहीं करूंगा.
We love to see it as well. Best of luck on map 2.
Sentinels picks up a win thanks to a flawless defensive side. Absolute magic from the boys.
Guys, FPX वालों देखो सेन वाले इतने सब कर रहे. If you want कि FPX जीते, I can come on your side. Hashtag बिगाओ. ईशान भाई thank you for the 5 gifted. ये क्या हो गया? ईशान भाई थैंक यू फॉर द 5 गिफ्टेड मेरी जान के टोटे. चैट जिसको भी मिला टैग करें ईशान भाई को और थैंक्स बोले. आकाश भाई इतना हाई नहीं लिखने के बीच कमर तो ठीक है. सिडवो की तरह वो इंजरी मत कर देना. कमर ठीक है यार मेरा.
And it's exactly like Kaplan said. The micro was going wrong. It was the spacing.
It will take proper rest.
You can see their game plan was good. Just from their overall XX and as well how they were playing in defense. But in particular, I think that they really dominated in that particular aspect, but struggling on rounds where they didn't have the ults to get in, which is why you started to see that 8-4 beginning to the map. But it all came together also clicking on the defense when they really set the flood in, make sure that they were synced up, no longer making the same mistakes where they were making sure that life could capitalize.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues of this FPX comp is it struggles to stall out plants, and I think they hit the nail on the head once Sentinels Sentinels started to go for more of these hard execute rounds. There's not a lot of util you have to bait out in FPX's comp. They started doing and they did a great job of doing so. And on top of that, Zekken has had such a turnaround. I think that series versus Gen G to open up Champions was one of the worst series I've ever seen from this guy. But he's back to playing like the Zekken that won Madrid this time.
And you know what, too? Coach Kaplan was talking about the fact that he wanted, it was the micro, right? The little things that they could try and like use and do to get in there. And I think you were really starting to see that from Zekken. He was just taking more fights. He was being a little bit more proactive, getting involved a bit more. And I think that if they can continue to do that, that is exactly what we've come to respect with Sentinels, when they don't fear their opponent and they do go for those plays.
Yeah, and when they understand that they are some of the best players in the world and actually remember that fact as well. I think they were playing with confidence, but it was just the tiniest of things that were going wrong for them, where Life is a skilled enough player to put them down, Autumn's a skilled enough player to put them down. Every player on FPX was having individual moments where they were kind of punishing that Paul, just little moments where they're trying to punish an individual just stepping out into the space. But it came together at the end, and the fan reaction, I think, overall to Zekken was just calling for chops and changes to the roster, not just for Zekken as an individual, but after that first game, big overreaction. But the thing that I think I want the fans to understand is that Sentinels are so team-orientated, they're so team-built. They need to play together as a team, they have the right page, the right ideas, and because of that, individuals don't really shine unless the whole team is clicking. When the whole team clicks, that's when players individually are going to be empowered to move forwards, when they know players are at the back, the util's there to support them.
It's like if you were a Sentinels fan last year and you were watching their bad 2023 season where they also had Zekken on the roster, Zekken didn't look like a superstar player. But it's because they were calling him into a lot of hard hits where he wasn't set up for success. This Sentinels is setting him up for success, and when they play well, he plays great.
Yeah, and the Sentinels had an incredible turnaround. Once again, a flawless defensive side. You got to be happy about that. But now it's time to switch the script a little bit. Go to our high-break reflex moment of the day. We decided to give this one to Life because this guy was just constantly on the kill feed with multi-kills non-stop. He actually was great in this map. He got, a little shut down toward the end there, but he had some awesome moments and moments just like this, Brent.
Yeah, and I think it highlights as well kind of the spacing being off for that. The initial half for Sen, they kind of just lined up for him. But I don't want to take the credit away from Life because he played out of his mind this entire game. His individuals were on point, and it takes a lot of individual skill to be able to hit that second shot under the amount of pressure that you are, where you're being swung by 3 players. Senna dedicating that many players to try and shut that guy down, and he was still coming up with the goods and the damage.
Yeah, he really was. He really was. Well, now let's go ahead and hear over from Coach Nathan at the FPX camp to see what's going on with the squad going into map 2.
I'm now joined by Coach Nathan D from FPX and Luna to do some translations as well. Now, you guys looked really good against Team Heretics on Lotus earlier in this tournament, but we're talking about Sentinels here. You're going to have to face up against next. What are some of the differences you feel like Sentinels might have compared to Heretics on this map?
其实之前在跟 TH 打莲花古城这张图的时候发挥的很棒嘛，但是我们聊聊接下来要跟 Sentinels 打，你觉得跟 TH 相比，他们会有什么不一样的地方？
他们不一样的地方可能是之前阵容不一样，然后但是我觉得他看 TH 把我们赢了，他可能也会拿回了个阵容，想尝试去赢我们，但我们也准备了不一样的东西给他们。
I think they are different in their comps, but if they think they saw as how we performed that good, well, when we faced against Team Heretics, might they will change their comps too. But we prepared something different for them, of course.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much, Coach Nathan and Luna as well. Let's see how they can do on map 2.
wins the series, okay.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into what we should be expecting here at map 2. It's going to be Lotus. You got Sentinels starting on the defensive side here. Maybe can add on to that success that they had on Bind, right?
My big question, do they play the Deadlock comp again? And if they do, how does it look? Because I didn't think it looked terrible, but there were some gaps in it. In particular, their attacking side. They have this look on C where they're throwing the wall over and kind of blocking off waterfall. We saw rounds where they weren't clearing around that, leaving gaps in the setup where the fundamentals were slipping.
Hot take? You just won without Deadlock?
Deadlock is good. I think it just comes down to implementation.
Implementation and how someone feels using that particular agent. They just picked up a big win here by switching things up.
Fans, now you know one more thing about
I'm pretty curious about FPX's comp as well. I'm trying to get a sneak preview of this one because they played their triple control. Not quite, not anymore. They're playing, this is they're no duelist chamber. Double smokes, double initiator. Don't ask me to break this down in 10 seconds. I'm not going to be able to do it in terms of the pros and cons. You have a lot of util to try and take slow map control, fight opting in. Sentinels are swapping their comp too. There's a lot to break down here.
So FPX, Autumn is going to be able to bait out a lot of these defensive aggro plays from Sentinels and be able to fight into A, things like that. Get opening picks. That's the name of the game for him, like it was on map 1. Autumn's very comfortable on this agent, and I think their retakes will probably also be solid with that double initiator. Sen, though, moving away from the deadlock, they're playing default Fnatic comp. I think that's fine, that's comfortable. They played it before and they did great with it.
And Kaplan did put an emphasis saying that we're focusing much more on anti-stratting. FPX just moved away from their triple control comp, which I think there was tons of exploitable elements back composition. And now they moved to this, so your preparation out the window if you're Sen, you're going to be adapting on the fly.
If Sentinels was going to prove their fundamentals are back, this is the map to do it. Playing the basic comp against something weird. Let's see if they're ready.
Couldn't agree more, Mimi.
Let's go ahead and see
this one can go to a third map. We're sending it back
Atma जा रही है इधर रोज.
and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, GB. I think the big elephant that we've got to address
that is good. Love you.
For the first time in
Mod जरा
what feels
pin
like a
comment
really
दोगे?
long time. It
ऐसे
seems
tool
like
और
they're
mortal
going
by
back
को
to the
voting का.
fundamentals, the basics that Mimi was talking about on the desk.
कि बुलाओ
Sen
हाथी को.
fans rejoice around the world for sure. But this comp from FPX, what are they cooking, Doug? This is some weird stuff we're about to
Gecko,
see.
Breach.
I feel like they might be overcooking, even on the last match.
Yeah, no duelist. Breach के साथ.
Sometimes you just need to play what you're comfortable
कहना
with, what you're
चाहिए.
used to, and FPX is triple controller comp.
Tango in
like
pink,
anything Sen have
Bankulo
ever
in
played
brown. Cute.
Now this
Love
comp as
you
well
यार.
is
ये तो
anything
सोचा ही
I've
नहीं.
never played against, but
Love you यार.
for Sen.
रोहित अखिलेश भाई.
They send 3 down mound. They drop the
आपको
paranoia
एक साथ
and
दो-दो नाम
they
कैसे मिले?
dump fade utility into B.
Yeah, that's what
माफ करो.
promptly allows for the speed up of FPX. Oh, opting not to break the Killjoy turret. Probably
Last
break it
time
after.
एक ने ट्रिप नहीं तोड़ा था क्या हुआ था याद है ना?
Shoot him right here. I don't know about this right now.
It's
still up.
That pesky thing is still up.
I mean,
they got
कल
what
का
they
stream
wanted. They got
इसने
the
देखा
spike
नहीं
down.
है.
Now they're in a 5v5.
एक बंदे ने ट्रिप नहीं तोड़ा था क्या हुआ था
much
पता
info
है?
once the smoke fades. I guess it's just going to be reoccurring smokes here.
क्या?
Life
ना ना.
still playing in it.
I mean, they know. Sen surely know that there's somebody close by.
They have to know. Well, he's dead now. John and Zekin getting a couple openers. Now they can turn their attention over towards Tree. The spike has been going off for a little bit, but it's all been so decisive. And look, they're going to crunch. Sasi trying to deal with the first, and unfortunately, Zekin gets in on it though with the shot. John's going to stick the defuse.
Shot.
Nice, nothing that can stop
2-0,
him.
clean.
Get the pistol.
Nice. मत बोल.
I hate to be a harbinger.
जीत गया 1-0 लीड पे अपने मैप पे
Life
टेंशन
not
नहीं.
breaking that turret for that entirety is
टेंशन नहीं है
just so
टेंशन नहीं
bad
टेंशन नहीं.
for what FPX were trying to accomplish in that round. Even if you're trying to play in that smoke and try to finesse around and kill stairs, you want that broken because when the smokes fade, it's going to shoot at you no matter where you're at on site. And
ये
that's
गया.
great info the entire
इसने
round for
गोल्ड
Sen.
बैग को हैं?
But right now,
Excuse me?
Zelsis he's just calming to his team. Yo, turrets up still. Turrets up still. Wait for the smokes to fade. He'll have a full line on
भाई
site.
खुश
It's
कुछ दिख
a
रहा है यार
disaster of a
टेंस.
mistake.
वॉल्यूम बढ़ाओ. पहला
It's not
बोलने को
over
नहीं
yet. It's
आता.
going to be an A default. Zekin needs to get out of dodge quickly. And it's Berlin on the breach who's the forefront. I mean, you can't prep for that.
Again, another spam kill.
Walk in कर रहा है वो.
Berlin waltzes into his death as well.
Stinger है
Sen
stinger.
have got to be one of the scariest teams to play when they are feeling it. Whoa.
Nice.
Autumn's so good at chamber. I guess this is why they
Nice,
decided to
no
just
nice.
slap him on it on this map.
इतना
Spike
मस्त
should get
मारता
planted
है
because of that
Autumn.
entry.
Ion committing
Execute
to
का
it.
याद दिलाता.
Now going to be 2 pips away from having Zolt online.
Yeah. And he's got 3 more in the chamber right now. Autumn.
3 more in the
Might
chamber
be
वाला
able to
chamber ही तो खेल रहा है वो. क्या?
Finesse this round. He gets caught lacking. Saucy going absolutely nuclear right now in the back of sight. Cleans it up. Ion couldn't do anything. And Zekin is going to defuse the spike. He's getting closer to that showstopper. And another strong start continuing from that last half they had.
Yeah, I think it was funny as we were watching some of that play out, it felt a little reminiscent to how
Backman को ignore ना करो नहीं यार कल रेस्ट लूँगा सच्ची लूँगा.
Where it just felt like, and again, yes, it was an eco. I understand all that, but the way that they approach some of these swings, the way they're approaching some of these fights felt very much like what Sentinels looked like in the first half of Bind.
जी भाई saucy वो भी.
I agree. But Tens is on a Bucky right now.
Bucky light armor. The investment isn't huge here.
Yeah.
A Vandal and a Bulldog, but
Sassy ke sassy us
as
legal
far as
nahi hai
big guns
wo.
go, that's it.
Sassy.
He did give his rifle to Zekin,
Sassy
understanding that if he
SSY
gets
hota
a kill
sassy.
after grabbing that orb, he will have the showstopper online. Is Autumn going to be ready for this? This is so hard to clear.
Autumn's been good.
Uh-oh.
Swing, man. Gotta be a one pump. There it is.
अरे मैडम आराम से मैडम लीड पे काहे चिल्ला रहे हो?
Set up towards C.
Yeah, and look at all the space that Ten's got after getting that kill.
Ten's fans को पता है ना
He
वो
has all of
committed है
A. Look
करके
at how
कैसे?
many members of Sentinels are here.
The Thrash now invested. A little bit of space found. Zalsis will get caught. There's not enough health that'll save you there. Lysor now getting a little bit of high ground repositioning though. The spike not committed yet. Tens is starting to rotate over. Doesn't have a paranoia.
सिटी पूरा क्लियर नहीं कर पाया वो लोग.
Tap of the door. It's all just a threat.
Yeah, all just fake, faint pressure right now. He's going to wrap all the way around as well. There's no trips up. He might catch these players lacking.
Ayang is ready for it.
Oh, he sees a barrel in the main.
Not able to land the first shots. And remember, there is more than just this threat here. It's more than just Berlin. Can the rest of Sentinels take space on the site? Well, all of this is happening out towards Mound. If Tens can buy some time, if he continue to be eye candy, there's a shot at this. But FPX managed every single threat so well. Second dance to the Thrash. Zekin's left alone in a 1v3. Berlin's weak, but that spike has been going off for a little while. I don't know if there's enough time for this.
चलेगा.
Oh, there's none at all. Zekin, he hit some nice shots on that exit right there. He's definitely feeling himself. That's why Tens dropped him the rifle. But the reaction from FPX, that was a great thrash from Ayang. Wrapping all the way around, and Berlin with a supporting utility there. Very good stuff, yeah. I mean, what can you do?
You can only smile there.
Yeah.
But again, I want to talk about how well FPX handled this situation right here. They knew that Tens was on the flank. They knew they were going to have to deal with some of the pressure, with some of everything that was being thrown their way, and to be able to effectively parse all of that info out in the chaotic moment is really difficult to do.
Yeah, and Lysor, who had a really rough map. Ooh, nice pick from Autumn. Wait, he's not stopping. They're not stopping life with the follow-up.
Tens is here by himself. Now John QT is joining the fray, but Tens peppered, finally put down. And yeah, sure, FPX has a couple of lead members as well, but...
What an A fight.
Yeah.
That's with no duelist on top of it. I mean, it's almost impossible to get out of that choke. You wouldn't know. With the power of Chambers, you're able to take that quick peek. I mean, we saw how good... I believe it was Foxy9 against Fnatic. I mean, he was dominating around A. And that was against utility as well. Autumn still getting value, just getting bombarded. But to my point, what I wanted to talk about was Lysor in the previous round. He was rough on the last map. But when he's on point for this team of FPX, they just dominate teams. So he had the schmooze on C-side in the previous round. This time around, he's still at 8 HP, but that paranoia got some value. And it's going to be a full save right now from the side of Sen. And now you got to think, you know, how are you going to approach this A fight? Because you just need your ult.
Take a look at it again. I mean, Zekin tried getting an aggressive angle, but
the follow-up fight was just too much.
Again, you wouldn't believe that they didn't have a duelist in that situation.
Yeah, it really felt like Autumn took the fastest timing. It's the power of Chamber on this map, and I think a lot of teams are a little wary of playing Chamber. They think it's like, you know, not as good as, you know, Cypher or Killjoy, and to be fair, they could be true, but it doesn't mean that Chamber is a bad pick on this map whatsoever.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of teams make it work, most notably T1.
सबको वही याद आता है T1 एक्सक्यूरेट.
He made it look really,
साया प्लेयर बोला इसने ये गया.
So if you have a good game plan with this Chamber,
साया प्लेयर भी अच्छा है, लेकिन एक्सक्यूरेट
can really do a lot of damage.
And you know what's crazy is I think we're going to see most of the heavy part of a good game plan there when it gets to their defensive side. So if you're already seeing some of the value on attack, I mean, we'll see what the rest of this map has in store for us. No ults up on the side of the attack. But again, we're going to see this A fight. And I get it, neither team willing to relent on this area of the map. Full dump at util. He's so dead. He had nowhere to go there. He was lit up and then obliterated.
From the top.
10th floor se ult
mara. Double box. around that Viper wall that you see on the mini-map and just was able to elevate so far in the air. But it's interesting. Sentinels are using their, their nade tether combo to try to catch out Lysor, but he's not actually TPing across. So that gives Autumn an opportunity to just swing out lane for free and TP out after he takes his shot.
ब्रिज के साथ कोई भी रहता था
I wonder if Sen are going to mix it up in the future rounds and try to punish Autumn.
At least फट से वो लोग space ले पाते थे.
Make sure he can't take a pop shot or anything like that. It's going to be an A reclear though on the side of FPX. Lysor. He's not sitting too healthy. 30 HP to his name.
And Tens is in such a good spot. Zekin smoked off, but you're still going to have to do a Tens.
It's too easy.
Falling. And now Saucy has arrived.
It just looked too easy right there.
ISO नहीं Bhadir, ISO
And honestly, that was still a pretty strong position from FPX, all things considered. That was a 5v4. It wasn't like they were super down in numbers and they were heavily outgunned.
By the way, I will choose 10.
They just didn't peak together. Berlin way too far ahead of his squad.
जो मेरे को मिलेगा
Something that you see him do quite often. He's a maniac on this team, honestly.
And we saw it a couple of times on Bind. We see it here as well.
Yeah, he's kind of like Kerrigan-esque, where he'll be the entry as the IGL, and then once he's down, he can do like his mid-rounding. But when you're already down a player, it's too much of an ask. Tens, he's starting to heat up now too. You give this team confidence, or the individual players on this team confidence, any one of them can take over the game.
We see that second kill.
Yeah, that was the top rope right there.
Yeah, off the ult.
Beautiful. Crosshair placement of Tens in this moment was so good. I mean,
and that's the swing you were talking about. Berlin was just so far ahead of everything else.
Yeah,
not in a position to trade yourself. And again, I want to go back to the first half that we saw of Sentinels on Bind, because you mentioned it. Spacing was an issue. And if the spacing is not in a position where you can trade out when you're down in numbers like that too, trading has to be a point, because it's only going to go for backwards if you can't equalize in fights like that.
Yeah. And oftentimes when you swing together, sometimes players get overwhelmed and they don't know which target to choose from, and you might even just get the kill clean, and all of a sudden it's a 4v4. I mean, when you're going against Tens, probably not likely, but there's still a chance, right? At least get the trade. And that's why you see this timeout coming out from FPX. Coach has got to be telling them, guys, chill out, start playing as a team more. Stop trying to go for these crazy plays. Remember what got us here.
Yeah, it does feel, man.
It's a very early timeout.
It is. I don't want to say desperate. But again, some of the swings felt a little bit like they were just throwing lives away. It almost felt like we were watching an eco round where Sentinels had full rifles and they were just in classics and like,
Literally.
all right, let's kind of move on into the next.
And it was anything but that, right? Tens had a Bulldog. If you peek somebody together against a Bulldog, I swear 9 times out of 10 you can't connect on both.
Right.
You must have to line up perfectly.
We'll see what adjustments come out on the other side of this timeout. I think on the side of Sentinels, you're seeing some of the adjustments. We've talked about this dump of utility towards A main these last couple rounds, and this time it's been anything but.
Yeah,
they changed their game plan. They were anticipating a front B walk. That's why you saw Zekin. John QT posted up right there. But the problem with how FPX are taking this approach on the attacking side is they're just bypassing everything. So while all this A control is happening, Zelsis is just jiggling C for free. You look at the minimap, and he has all the info. So that's why there's 3 players geared up of Sentinels towards A site.
Yeah, they're really not playing the map at all. And I mean, given the fact that we're talking about Lotus, it's a 3-site map, you would think that's what you're going to want to lean into more than even on other maps.
And especially when you don't have a duelist.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you want to go for this A execute, who's going to close the gap?
Well, 2 bits of util, they're pretty early off of that. You've got the Nightfall and the Paranoia and Tens and Saucy holding the line, but Berlin on the counterpunch, cleaning up a couple of his own. Maybe a little bit of room to breathe here for the attack.
Plant pe nade aayega.
30 seconds left.
Right now, Autumn needs to drop that spike to Berlin, have him plant while he covers for free. Right now, there's no smokes on the field. 4 Sentinels, right? That orb isn't anywhere near A site.
Yeah.
So this could be a really good post-plant opportunity.
उसने अपना टिप्पी क्यों नहीं डाला लेकिन?
The time is running down low here. And Zekin still has that nade. I mean, he might be able to delay this. This nade is going to be perfect. The cleanup on John as well.
Autumn's now been left on his own. with an op in hand, trying to Rambo his way through it, and he just can't.
No, and now that's an operator if Sentinels want it.
And they've picked it up. This feels very uncharacteristic of the FPX that I think people saw in Shanghai. The same team that took maps off of the 2 finalists in Shanghai, the team that looked much stronger leading into Seoul, and then the team that we've seen here as well.
And this is the problem of when you're trying to anti-strat teams with compositions and whatnot. It's not like FPX aren't good at the triple controller comp that they run, but I think they just put too much stock into maybe Sentinels counter-stratting them, and they wanted to mix things up. Now all of a sudden the FPX players are uncomfortable. You start making hero plays.
Or trying
to make hero plays, and you're getting punished for it by a team of Sentinels who now have gone back to their comfortability and are just playing the fundamental game of Lotus.
There's that op that you mentioned from the previous round, now in the hands of Zekin, who's holding down B-Long.
And you have an Odin as well on the other side.
Yeah.
Seeing how deadly the Odin could be.
There are no good options here. Fortunately for FPX, the Eye gets cleared out, so there's no way to get secure spam damage. They're going to rotate away, and if they rotate away back C, again, there's no good option. Either you deal with the op that's down B, you deal with the spam from Sassy A, or you deal with the every single bit of KJ you do. Unless Autumn can deal with them, but I mean, Zalsis, even his positioning is really nice. He's not giving away an angle. He's not giving a fight.
And it's the double layers. He doesn't need to peek anything here. Oh, that's a really good breach. See right there. Doesn't get the turret still, though, so still info. Gained right now for Zalsis, and he's just going to play backside right now. Ooh, that flash connect.
Tens has his ult if he wants to rotate over very quickly, or John can just mow him over. There it is, the ult invested, and he arrives to see Zelsis holding the line on C. Another dominant round for Sentinels.
Yeah, Zelsis played that so well. Full layered utility there. It's all because FPX was on a bad buy. They had that B line from the start of the round. If Zekin gets overwhelmed, he can satchel out. So he doesn't need any extra utility to support him there. And then John is able to flood in. It's beautiful play.
And even the little things like Zelsis seeing that the breach util was coming through and instantly realizes, oh, I've got to pop the nanos. And even if he's not getting damage, he's buying time.
Yeah, he delays.
Yeah. So those little decisions like that proving to be fruitful. Sentinels up 3 rounds. They've dropped the pick towards C.
Operator almost connected on the 10s right there.
They continue to invest into this weapon.
क्या फायदा जेंजी से हारने ये क्लोज जाएगा रे क्लोज जाएगा क्योंकि आज बहुत कॉम्बोस किए SEN ने और जेंजी देख भी रहा है मैचेस ये
It's just so hard for FPX to bust
तो काउंटर करने के लिए टाइम तो है जेंजी के पास.
You have no raise, you have no jet to get away from that killjoy utility or the Viper Molly.
बस वही है जिसका शॉट लगा उस दिन वो जीता. वो वाला है कि दोनों के पास स्टैट्स काउंटर स्टैट्स करेंगे.
It almost feels like you're trying to play this attack half with a hand tied behind your back.
Yeah, it's a handicap.
पड़ी.
Playing the game on hard mode.
Yeah, basic contact play करना पड़ेगा. कोई घुस ही नहीं सकता.
They've got a smoke. Well, forget the smoke.
Talk about it.
It's round over.
Talk about it.
30 seconds left.
And they don't have money. You're right. They have to save here.
Oh, wait.
They might try to go for this. 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Oh.
Berlin will fall. They're going to try to get out towards tree, but Tens is here. Playing just up on the other side of this smoke. I guess they're going to wait for it to go down and then trust the numbers that they have. There it is. What a beautiful reposition up from Tens. A flawless round from Sentinels. The stomp continues.
Yeah, setup to the round was great. And the finish of the round was even greater. Zelsis was supporting John in that Viper's pit. Alarmbot was ahead of everything. Gives you security if you're John playing in that pit alone. You're able to cheat a little bit back, and then you get the collapse front B.
0% chance.
Yeah, FPX, they got to burn that second timeout. This is getting out of hand and getting out of hand very fast. This comp change, I get it. You showed a lot of rounds against Heretics. I understand. You want to switch it up. You want to catch SEN off guard. Sometimes you just got to play your own game to win, and now you're stuck in this spot, and what can you do?
And then remember, I've got to mention the stakes here because that's not something we've talked about a ton, to be honest.
If you have a breach,
this is the end of the year.
You need a duelist here.
I mean, it's a long off season, and it feels like an even longer off season when you've got how the loss went through, ruminating in your mind for months.
Yeah, especially with that close series they had against Heretics.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It's nuts.
The thing about situations like this, though, is if the team is capable of making adjustments, they'll do it, and they'll have to do it here. FPX down 4 rounds, running this different no-duelist comp on Lotus, where they aren't really playing the map as well as you would think, or playing it to its full degree as you would expect, given the comp.
वो लोग फास्ट भी कैसे करेंगे अगर ब्रिज ने स्टन दे दिया?
The second timeout is what brings fruit.
Breach turn में वो लोग B control ले सकते हैं.
Maybe this hero buy on Ion.
मिल जाएगा सामान वामान तोड़ के रिटर्न आ सकते हैं. बाद में A जा सकते हैं. कितना सब कुछ कर सकते हैं यार ब्रीच के साथ.
And yeah. We'll see if they can do anything about it here.
It's gonna be very hard. It's an uphill battle to say the least.
This space kill.
Autumn does have 8 bullets of the Headhunter, and we've seen how crisp he is with that. So they just need an entry. They need some type of first blood. But I think an operator versus a chamber Headhunter, I think the off wins that.
That should.
See when the smoke fades.
That's the other thing, is as we think about some of the adjustments that have played out in this map, think about, there's the op winning, by the way. You think about how hell-bent Sentinels were in controlling A main at the beginning of the rounds with the dumpy utility, and it feels like the night and day difference has been so clear.
Well, I think they realized that they can just play in the back of sight because there's no duelist.
Exactly. They don't have to take these fights. They can play ahead of it. You see both Omen's trying to TP ahead of the utility. Intense is getting the best of Lysor. Sasi on the swing. He's going to find another. Not able to connect onto the third, but now 4v2. Takes that a 4v1. Life with the Stinger cannot connect.
It's unreal. I'm pretty sure Tenz did that Omen thing where you could TP past the breach ult and finesse it.
I think he did as well.
And that's why it was full support right there. It's unreal.
Hopefully we get that on the replay. There's that op kill that you mentioned.
I mean,
a really nice flick.
He hit him, but it just wasn't a headshot. You got to connect like that. And Zekin, he's feeling it right now with the operator. I haven't seen him shoot like this with the op in a while. I mean, over a month.
And honestly, all signs are good when Zekin is smiling if you're a Sentinels fan.
And another new look right here, right? Aggressive tether. This time pushing Autumn all the way back. They understand that Autumn could purchase an operator, and he's taken that peak almost every single round. So instead of tethering to hit the Omen of Lysor, they get the TP out. And it's second on an off angle here at C2. I mean, he's been so mobile with the operator. He showed front B a bunch. Last round he was A, now he's C. Are FPX going to read into that? And even if they do, can they do anything about it?
Yeah. I mean, that's half the battle. I feel like the adjustments that Sentinels have made have been really nice, but maybe FPX can find a little bit of room here towards C, perhaps. I mean, Zekin is still here with the op. John is close by.
Rotations नहीं है ये
round निकाल सकते हैं giving them these fights anymore. That feels like the biggest difference. Now John was on the swing. He's going to get punished for it. Zekin manages to find safe passage with op in hand. A second dip in. Boom. I thought he was going to hit him, and that would have been devastating. The nade's not going to feel good. The pit invested. He's got to stay alive here.
Yeah, but they're all stuck. They're all corralled here. Oh, just now we see Life taking more aggressive space in CT.
What do they have to pound? Zekin has his Roomba. And Tenzils has full utility, but an op trying to get into a pit in a situation like that, it's all hands on Zekin, and he just cannot. I mean, a random bullet connecting. And FPX alleviates some of this pressure, finally finding a round.
Finally finding an answer. And the answer so far in this half has been Thrash. It's been Ayung on C site using that. Last time they were able to accumulate 2 rounds from it. Let's see if they can get another one and slowly bring this back, slowly give themselves a chance into the mix. But it's been baiting out C utility, and then going with the second layer. Yeah, you're not running a duelist, so you have to play this way. You have to bait out the stuff that can stuff you in the chokes, and then re-hit.
Back to the old tried and true. You've got the suck, you've got the nade.
God,
And now
man.
Zekin's fishing for more. That rocket's not going to connect.
ये report कर सकते क्या यार?
It doesn't connect, but it's all space gathered. And again, Zelsis is just jiggling C. He's rarely gotten a fight here. At every single time he's been jiggling like this, SEN have known that they end A.
अंधेरी
Zekin might be
रात
in a little bit of trouble here. He has one satchel.
Excuse me.
Slight little sidestep. It's him against the world right now.
That's another nade.
That nade is really nice, but he's got nowhere to go. Plucked out of the sky. I thought he was going to find safety.
Nade bounce भी हुआ है किधर?
Life puts him down, and now tap of the door as they turn their attention towards A. Meanwhile, Zelsis is still jiggling that angle. Sasi's got his ult online.
जल्दी मार
He's
दिया.
going to connect onto what, 2?
He gets a lot of info with that, and is able to reposition onto site.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of time left in the
जल्दी मार
round.
दिया ना वो लोग कुछ ही नहीं
It is,
कर
but
रहे हैं.
there's no movement from the side of FPX. They're still deciding to end here, and life just gets taken out for free. It's a freebie.
So A doesn't work for a couple of tries.
30 seconds left.
And I guess maybe they think they can find some
Oh, Zelsis का
better
pussy.
fortune towards B. Yeah, but look at Zelsis'
Zelsis
positioning.
positioned so low, exactly.
एक caster
The turret's gonna-
एक caster में
Wait, what's
देख
going
रहा
on
हूँ
right
और
now?
रोज stream step कर रहा है ये.
Must be a glitch.
Oh, I think it's just out of the cone. Just out of the cone.
But he still gets info regardless here. And a ping. Maybe they know. They understand he might be front B.
It seems like they do.
Oh,
Zelsis buying his time.
GG.
Sasi joins him for the kill.
Nice.
And that's another one for Sentinels. That's
Good
also,
stuff.
very quickly, as we think about turning our attention towards the last round of the half, Zelsis will be 1 point away from having his ult.
And I wonder if you're going to see, like, maybe an A setup this time from Zelsis, or maybe he's just going to stay C and just jiggle infinitely again. But if they do decide to put him towards A with some supporting cast, maybe he can grab the orb. But honestly, they don't really need to push anything right now.
They really don't.
The way that SEN have been winning a lot of these rounds have just been letting the game come to them.
Right.
And that's what you want to do when you're not playing against a duelist. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And again, that's the big adjustment that we saw from the first couple of rounds. And so it seems like Zelsis will go back to his C setup. The turret B,
क्या मतलब इतना try करके
a
drive
little
में
bit more
Genji के
aggression towards A. This
सामने.
feels almost identical to what we saw in the previous round.
It just feels like
Nice
FPX have
things.
just run into a wall.
Welcome to the
And they
fam,
want to
yaar.
make this A fight work so badly. It's just not working for them.
I mean, they just dropped a paranoia all the way out towards Broken Door.
With a one-way as well. Oh, Zelsis gets over
Ah!
He's going to have his ult. There it is.
ये
There's
क्या
really no way to
था?
clear it out either.
And this is so awkward right now for FPX. That ultimate, it's so unconventional.
Sasi with a big fight here. If life gives him the swing, now he certainly won't. Now with the threat of that on the other side of the wall.
Oh my gosh, it's so scary if you're life right now.
The smoke on the other side. I mean, look at his position. There's literally no room to breathe. Lysor and Autumn, the only two that remain. In a 2v4, Zekin's going to be the first to try to get onto the tap. Lysor falls, Zekin's going to stick it the whole way. No resistance. A 9-3 dominant half out for Sentinels.
Yo, this Sentinels is fired up. They're
Champion में से
back in
champion होने
form,
वाला
Doug.
मजा तो आएगा.
I just don't really know. Yeah, this comp, whatever it is, it's all going the way of Sentinels right now. A ridiculous half to get us to halftime. We'll see if the second half provides any sort of hope for FPX fans, because this very well may be it.
मेरे को देखने हैं अभी डिफेंस में क्या कर मेरा कान
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull gives you wings. भाई आज के गाने कल से अच्छे. कल तो सिर्फ पियानो गिटार्स बज रहा था बस. हैं? बाजू वाला कैसे लग रहा है यार? हाँ? कैसे लग रहा है आपको?
Mix लगा क्या?
अब तो मान जा तेरे पास शक्तियां है नहीं. आज जो 2-0 FPX बोला ना मैंने मजा आ गया लेकिन. If FPX win this comp choice, I will finance. भाई मस्त है बे फैन आर्ट
नीचे किलजॉय देख
कि तू हक भाई ये लोग का फैन आर्ट कितना प्यारे प्यारे रहते हैं
Elimination is on the line for one of these two squads, and hopes coming into this tournament could not have been higher.
भाई मेरा भी फैन से
FPX
5 नंबर
seemed like
तक ही है
they
बे
were
8 तक है ही
competing to be
नहीं
the kings of China. They were pushing EDG to the limit. They were getting the best of all of the other teams that are here. And
ऐसा था
Sentinels
फैन
were
आर्ट
0-6. They had lost against G2. They lost against 100 Thieves. They lost against Gen G. It seemed like there was no success to be found for them. And I mean, this is an entirely different situation, Dre.
And honestly, on top of that, FPX had such a great performance against Heretics. They could have won it. You could argue that they could have won it. 2 of the maps that Heretics won went to OT, and then Heretics made
how much नहीं है excuse me
like you're thinking that they could do this.
Send back में मास्टर मैटर
And they're gonna have
लेकिन
to do this right
20%
here,
तक
right
जाएगा
now.
क्या कद्दू का गांठ
This
जाएगा मेरा
comp, it needs to be
मेरा अब तक
phenomenal
90%
on
लॉस
this
में
defense. We're gonna have to see a lot of value from the chamber.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the Chamber's even going to be tested this round. He is taking a little bit of space, though.
An early A fight, and just utility being thrown.
अच्छा मैं वैलो स्ट्रीम में गया obviously यार 9:30 बजे आ जाऊँ
Spotted. He may be overstaying his welcome. I mean, there's no way you stand to that. They're so decisive on this hit.
एक ही चांस है FPX हराने का सेन को
And he's already here.
और वो हर राउंड टैग करते जाते
really nice shots out from Life. And it's leaving Zelsis on his own. He's got light armor. And the spike was planted through all that. He's got lineups, bro.
And he's gonna, no way he's gonna flank all the way around. This Molly will buy enough time for it, but he needs to be very careful here.
ना इतना टाइम नहीं
I just don't think it's a very interesting play. Oh, the tap, it might work in his favor.
It's gonna buy a little bit of time.
इतना टाइम नहीं है
Now Lysor's gotten it to half. Autumn has been spotted, not able to connect the shots. He's got to spam into the smoke, and he can't connect.
Wow.
The pistol goes the way of FPX.
Yeah. Life, honestly, he actually brought Life back into FPX in that
what
pistol round.
will happen if person gets a middle condition between
And
match
he's sitting at the top.
and he's the only one left
Take a look at it again. It seemed done.
Yeah,
honestly.
I really thought with the reposition from second, I thought it was going to be done. I thought he was feeling it, but the wide swing
suddenly
from
कैसे
Ion,
medical condition हो गया
he broke the crosshair of Zekin. Zekin couldn't connect. In Life, he stepped up big right there. So they're slowly going to crawl their way back into this.
सुना सारे इमोजी डाल
They
दिया
need to win this round flawlessly. Maybe dropping your weaker weapons, that's it.
Zekin's got a shorty.
Ooh.
And 2 satchels.
Oh!
Okay.
I didn't think they'd commit onto it there.
All right.
Doing a really good job of weathering some of this pressure.
तोड़ दी bro
He's so cold under pressure.
खेल रहा था एक टाइम पे
You're 100%
और हारा था
And they're going to continue to push him, or at least attempt to. As Life
कौन
gets
से टीम
another
में
on
था
the
ऑटम
round. The remaining members of Sentinels trying to do their very best to stay up, but Autumn gets 4.
And he's going to get that spike as well, so he's building up towards
God's reign.
that ultimate.
God's reign नहीं
Double up if he wants.
God's reign only.
And I said it, they need to win it flawlessly. They did just that.
Well, and I think you could argue that they got even more than that. Again, given how things played out for Autumn, given that he was able to get, what, 4 kills on the round, and then get a little bit closer to having the ult online.
A real big chance here to snowball this game and bring it back within grasp.
Well, and that's the thing you were talking about, is when you know that there's a chamber on the other side, you want to try to flush him out. You want to try to get to him as aggressively as possible and force him into an uncomfortable situation.
हार जाओ ये मैप मेरे लिए please
Autumn just was able
मेरे लिए
to
मैप हार जाओ सेन please यार
Those moments, it's very impressive.
Well, Spam not finding a kill.
Ball.
Life, that was a very risky play.
Berlin's getting a
Yes,
little
ball.
cheeky here as well.
It's just individual heroics that are trying to happen, but this version of Sentinels, with the way that they're playing, it's together. They're playing as a unit. It's going to be very hard, especially if you don't have an escape. I could see if it's Autumn.
But your breach doesn't have that
or
ability.
or Viper, yeah.
please.
So they do have a couple of weapons here. They're going to attempt.
Jalina.
I don't even know that Autumn can really get in. He's been tagged, he's been spotted, he's been dealt with.
Okay, spam.
Another kill through smokes.
Spam.
GG.
Sentinels will get to 10, and yes, that was their bonus, sure. But now, this is where things begin. This is where the half starts, excuse me.
Yeah,
Life just sticking around for way too long.
And then Berlin doing
the
same.
mood mein lag
I
raha
don't
hai.
think he was aware of how exposed he was to that angle. Didn't expect Second to peak at the timing that he did.
Next match ekdam fighting wala hoega mere
Second's
hisab se.
having a hell of a map right now. Him and Tens are.
Chat 5k likes कर दो सिर्फ 500 लोग बचे हैं 7000 लोग देख रहे हैं.
Competing with one another, but Autumn gets really far ahead of that.
बहुत close
That's
था.
why the duo was put together. This is what was, this is what was imagined when these two got put together. Zekin popping the ult, clearing so much space towards C. Look at how far back Berlin has had to run away.
It's a free spike planet as well.
What info किधर?
There is a lot of utility though for this retake.
Fade ult भी है बे लग गया.
On that Fade ultimate though, this could be very deadly to the side of FPX. And the Q is just going to be the Killjoy utility.
Yeah, it's such an aggressive alarm bot.
Look at these mollies. There's 2 mollies pre-placed. This is a crazy post plant from Sentinels.
The paranoia is out. There's the first. The molly pop. The alarm bot's going to get some info. FPX haven't really gained very much space other than what they already had. Lysor's the only one who's now further up. With a little bit of help, Berlin's able to get the best of Zelsis. Keep an eye on what members are still back towards Mound. You've got Second who's running amok on the site. Berlin's almost getting the defuse.
Oh.
Gets it to half, but now, oh my gosh! What in the world was that? Oh, but it wasn't enough! Just when it seemed like things were going to fall the way of FPX. Time expires.
Hey, madam!
And Sentinels get to 11.
It was all that post-plant utility off of the showstopper from Zekin. Yeah, he gathered all that space. Everyone was so scared and just not in reach from the side of FPX that it bought so much time. Saucy has that Fade ultimate. Somehow Zelsis has 2 mollies on site with an alarm bot that's aggressive. There's too much stall, too much delay.
Oh, that's tragic. That was not,
That must have been on purpose, sure.
No, I don't. They just did her dirty. Right, into the next we go. Send us 2 rounds away from staying alive in this tournament. Autumn getting the best of Zekin.
FPX wins SEN
That's a big entry.
वो ऐसा टैप टैप कर रही थी तो अचानक उसका कैमरा खुल गया फ्रंट कैमरा हिस्सा.
And what they don't know is what's threatening them towards C. They had 3 members up towards Mount.
Memory or
utility was used, so Zelsis did hear that. That's why he's slowly re-clearing it, understanding that with the tap of the door at A and the tap of the door at C, there's likely there was a rotation off of C mount. That's why you see this heavy lean of Sentinels going back towards C. The IGL and the mid-rounding right now is very good. It's a flow state that John is
most embarrassing moment in your life.
Remember, the only real gun in this situation is Autumn's ult.
Triple tap पर कैम चलता है.
I wonder if FPX decides to commit the Thrash into this round, even with the gun disadvantage. It kind of feels like you have to in a way.
Hail Mary here?
I mean, but like if you don't and you lose the round,
yeah, then what?
It's match point for Sen. For what?
Right, what are you saving it for, the next year?
Yeah.
Sure. It seems like, given all the noise the Sentinels have shown, given the spams towards B, the smokes that went up, it gave FPX a little bit of time to adjust and rotate over.
Clean one tap life boy.
They may need more than that.
Rough.
I mean, they definitely need more than that.
Okay.
Shot settled for Tens.
Okay.
That's 3 on the round for him.
Ace.
Arre!
But Berlin finally cleans him up. Autumn and Berlin, the only 2 that remain. Autumn is so concerned about a late flank coming in from B, and for good reason.
Jinx कर दिया तूने उसका ace.
Zelsis spamming onto the first. There's really no way in.
मेरी भी ना chat.
This is such a heartbreaking way for things to close out for FPX.
Yeah, Life definitely should have had that kill on the Tens. And Tens ended up getting 3 more because of it. Or 2 more, I should say. Just feeling an immense amount of pressure. They're crumbling.
Easy bolte, 1 more round, guys. 1 more round.
At the worst possible time.
And Life's had a great map, honestly. He was the only saving grace on that other half, on the other side.
Yeah.
But that whiff,
that one hurts.
That's tough. It just kind of feels like there's nothing you can do right now if you're FPX.
Meanwhile, it's still all smiles for the red and black.
And who's going to be the one on top? Tens or Zekin?
Deserving it. और मैं 100 से कोई ऑडियंस चलाने आ जाएगा.
Potential last round of FPX's year. Coming in to the biggest tournament as the #2 seed from China. The Rolling Thunder causing so much havoc. There's no crunch coming in from the other side, but it might not matter as Ion's able to get 2. They've lost control of the spike. Sentinels have been thrown asunder, but Tens has his ult. Able to scoop that thing up, and now it's a mad dash towards A. A mad dash towards Autumn with the op. Does the Viper Wall go back up? Does John have enough gas? There it is, now coming back.
A lack of communication on FPX. They should have told Autumn that the Omen Ultimate was committed to grab the spike, but he was worried the whole time that he was getting flanked.
Autumn not able to find the first shot. You mentioned how good he's been under pressure, and there's all of it building up to him now, and he crumbles underneath it. Tens committing to getting the spike down. The Thrash invested. Ion trying to find anything that he can. They've got a numbers advantage here. Can they convert this into a round win? Can they keep their year alive? Utility over the spike as FPX now pushing their way forward. Zealous is holding line, only able to find one though. As Tens on the spam, connecting onto the second with John QT over his shoulder. A 2v2. Spike ticking away, time is short. Can John do it on his own? He's gotten it down to 1. The spam, pre-connecting, and it will be the Red Bull clutch for John QT. Sen City stays alive as they take down FPX.
Absolute cinema, baby.
Let's go!
Clean 2-0,
What a
guys.
comeback.
Clean.
From Sen, being down 8-4 on Bind, having a flawless defensive side, full teamwork in effect, and then to win this map the way that they did.
Absolute cinema bolte.
Odin, it's too good in the post plant.
भाई वो लेकिन
miscom
मिसकॉम था बे. ओमेन का बोलना चाहिए था.
And Zekin, 6
और
first
हमको
blood
फ्री
on
किल
that
मिलता
last
है.
map.
कोई कैसे कॉल नहीं दिया यार.
And so the final bow we will see FPX take.
बुरा लग रहा है ऑटम के लिए.
Again, a team that came into this tournament with a lot of hopes, with a lot of aspirations, a team that seemed to have figured out their struggles while still seemingly so strong on what got them to this point. But they just fall apart in front of Sen City, and there's a lot of reason to be excited. And I want to mention John QT there because honestly, in my opinion, when Sentinels have looked their best, it's when John is fragging as well. Because you know what you're going to get from Zek, you know what you're going to get from Tens. Like, you know all the other pieces are going to deliver.
Yeah.
But when they've been at their best is when John is not just calling it immaculate game, but fragging on top of it.
Yeah.
And we saw hints of that today.
And also when he's doing it on Viper and Cypher and these roles that we know him to play. Not the deadlock. Yeah, it works. It works sometimes. I get it. But his bread and butter are those 2 agents.
Binks
and the way that they're able to play with the double controller comps,
it is what it is, guys. I told you,
it seems like today was all about going back to bread and butter. Yep. For Sentinels, they got rid of their deadlock comps. We didn't see them bust that out at all
today.
today.
Gameplay by Sen spam करके जीता.
I don't want to say Reddit was right, but maybe Reddit was right. Right? They've moved away from some of that stuff, and they just seem a lot more comfortable, Dre.
And now you gotta think about the timing of how they're coming together right now.
Yes.
They're going up against who? Genji, my brother. That is gonna be an insane match, a rematch, bad blood. Ever since Madrid.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger.
And
I think there's still plenty of time for Sentinels to think through what worked today, and honestly, some of the things that kind of got away from them. I want to go back to that first half of Bind. It wasn't pretty. But they're able to pull it off. Sentinels stay alive. We've got 10 standing by on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview.
Good.
Hello everyone and welcome to the post-match interview where I have Tens on standby.
मेरे दो friends यार, मेरे दो friends.
센티넬의 텐즈 선수 만나보겠습니다. 승리 축하드립니다.
접어.
오랜만에 맛보는 챔피언스 승리일 것 같아요. 좀 개인적으로 감회가 남다를 것 같은데 지금 기분이 어떤지부터 먼저 물어봐야겠죠. Congratulations, Tens. I mean, your return to Champions, right? It's been a while. You have a win under your belt. Did you miss this feeling?
Honestly, it's been great. Crowd's been amazing. Just the atmosphere as champions is unreal. So overall, it's been a really pleasant experience.
챔피언스 분위기도 너무 좋고 팬분들께서도 또 열심히 응원을 해주셔서 너무너무 좋은 경험이고 또 너무너무 좋은 시간을 보내고 있다고 얘기를 합니다. 오늘 경기 전반적으로 바인드 전반전만 힘들었던 것 같은데 좀 경기를 쭉 보면 욕탕 대신에 좀 A숏을 위주로 공격을 전개하는 모습도 보였거든요. 뭔가 FPX 위주로 준비해온 전략이었는지도 물어보도록 할게요. So I feel like the only hiccup along the way today was the first half on bind. We see you guys prioritizing A short a lot more than the showers control. Was this prepped specifically against FPX?
So looking at FPX's comp on binds, the ideology was we could just slam through short because there was not that much util to stop us. Unfortunately, they were hitting shots, breaking our util, so it wasn't going according to plan, but it was talked through beforehand.
Yeah, course corrected.
FPX.
일단은 FPX의 조합을 보니까 A숏을 때리는 게 훨씬 더 좋을 거라고 판단했던 이유가 FPX 사이드에서는 좀 그 러쉬 같은 걸 막을 수 있는 스킬이 별로 없었기 때문에 훨씬 좋겠다라고 판단을 했는데 FPX가 굉장히 많이 좀 총을 잘 쏘는 날이었기 때문에 힘들기는 했지만 그래도 이런 식으로 좀 대처하자, 좀 A숏 위주로 공격을 풀어나가자라고 얘기를 했다고 합니다. 그러면 또 텐즈 선수 개인적으로는 이번 대회에서 트루 스트레치를 쓰는 몇 안 되는 선수 중 한 명이거든요. 이게 보면은 적이 더 커서 맞추기는 쉽다는 장점은 있지만 그래도 적의 이속도 빨라 보인다는 단점이 있는데 좀 팬들에게 추천하는지 개인적으로 어떻게 느끼고 있는지 물어보도록 할게요. Now you are one of the few players in champs that use true stretch, right? It makes the enemies appear bigger but also faster as well. Would you recommend?
I think it's personal preference. Really depends on the player. I mean, I wear glasses. I'm a little bit blind, so it helps me out.
선수에 따라 다르겠지만 개인적으로 뭐 안경을 쓰면서 시력이 좋지 않기 때문에 이렇게 트루 스트레치를 하면 좀 더 잘 보이고 개인적으로는 도움이 되는 것 같다고 얘기를 하는데요. 마지막으로 이제 다시 젠지를 만나게 됐습니다. 젠지 선수들이 첫 번째 경기 이후에 센티널스가 좀 적응의 시간이 필요한 것 같고 적응이 끝나면 훨씬 더 좋은 모습을 보여줄 것 같다고 얘기를 했는데 또 텐즈 선수도 동의하는지 그리고 젠지와의 리매치 이번에는 어떤 경기 예상하는지도 물어보도록 하겠습니다. So it's gonna be a rematch against Genji once more, and the Genji players after the last match actually said Sentinels just need more time to adapt and adjust to the new environment. They will surely bounce back. So do you think that's the case for you guys? And also, what's the rematch going to look like?
I mean, it's been a while since we won a series, so hopefully we show a better form than what we showed against Genji the first time. I mean, if history repeats itself, then
승리한 지 얼마 되지 않았는데 확실히 더 젠지를 다음번에 만나면 좋은 몸을 보여줄 것 같고 또 역사는 다시 한번 좀 반복되지 않을까라는 생각을 한다고 얘기를 했습니다. 여기까지 텐즈 선수 만나봤습니다.
Thank you.
Bye.
And also Blobfish for the post-match interview and goodbye everyone.
Bye.
She said Blobfish also.
Bye बोलो guys.
She said Blobfish का
हाँ?
Blobfish का
और एंकर सिंपल एक्सक्यूज मी कामिदा ने रे क्या स्ट्रीम को लाइक कर दो 5K के लिए सिर्फ 200 बचे मैं नेक्स्ट मैच चालू देता
चलो उठाओ
लेट रे भाई लाइक कर दो स्ट्रीम गाइस जाके
थोड़ा 100% प्रेडिक्शन टिल नाउ तुम्हें वो टाइटल मिलेगा अनिकेत कांग्रेचुलेशन ऐसे शो ऑफ नहीं करते यार ठंड लग रही है मेरे को हेलो डूड
पानी का बोतल दे
भरा
मेरे पीने के लिए चाहिए भरा हुआ है ये भरा हुआ है
मतलब ज़्यादा सुधर मैं सो रही हूँ ना ज़्यादा इसके लिए हेलो माय मॉर्निंग स्ट्रीमर है अरे पिंक कपड़ा कौन सा गाना है ये क्या है अबे दिख रहा है मेरे को यहाँ पे जेलिस नाम है हाय गौरव What a movie. My memes का है सबके वो वेबकैम वाला मूवमेंट डाला ट्विटर पे हाँ देखा मैंने वेबकैम नहीं कैम वाला हेलो बेले 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 बेले
Welcome back, everyone, to Day 7 of Champions Tour and our second elimination match of the event. It's going to be Kruvisa taking on Billy Gaming. I'm Golden Boy here alongside yet again with Mimi and Brandon. First and foremost, we could just talk about it real quick. Sentinels, big win from them. They needed a statement. They needed to make a little end it with a little exclamation mark. I think they did just that. And they have to be feeling pretty solid about themselves.
Good morning, good. Yeah, they were. I mean, listen, FPX are no slumps. I think that they can really test teams in terms of adapting to new ideas and composition.
सब cute बन जाते कोरिया जाने के बाद.
But they came out with especially map 2. I think they just fed into that momentum on the back end of Binds and just kept it moving all the way.
Yeah, no, it's been very impressive. 100%. Congratulations, Sentinels, as they move on to the competition. But let's go ahead and focus on the match at hand here because KRU came out swinging when they went up against DRX in their debut. Had me believing for a minute. I was stoked.
They were incredible on this map #1, right? I think they had great protocols. Their defensive flood retaking, especially around this one smoke on A. DRX just didn't find a solution to it. They were freezing up. But the rest of this series, I mean, DRX had a complete 180 and KRU got crushed in 2 maps.
When the nerves evened out for DRX and they realized that they could actually take a pause in the middle of the round and slow it down and bait KRU to go a little bit further, that's when they could punish it. And honestly, KRU kind of got just exposed massively, I think, in terms of their playstyle, which is just very much go, go, go. They don't hit the off switch often. Sometimes they do. I'm not going to make them out to be a completely undisciplined team,
for sure.
But they love to fight, and they love it when teams will opt into that tempo with them. Hyper, like fast gameplay going on, explosive. And guess who they're up against? Billy. They're not going to be shying away from that.
They kind of like that,
too.
They
love that play style.
Yes, they do.
It's going to be sloppy, man. And I think that this is a matchup now with KRU on the stage against an opponent that will be opted into it. We're going to see some exciting gameplay for one, but we're also going to see KRU, I think, more favored.
I think the biggest question for KRU is, do we get to see the team who map #1 had really clean fundamentals, who wasn't really falling into that slop, who was playing their classic contacty style, but I think executing on it really well, or the team that kind of fell apart in the last 2 maps. Remember the last time we saw them at a Champions after making a crazy run? They went out swiftly in 2. There's a big pressure, I think, for them to get a win at Champs, especially in a match like this, where I think most people are favoring them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead, though, and check in with Yinsu, standing by with Melzer to get his thoughts about today's matchup.
I've got Melzer and Dryad here with me to do some translations as well. Now, you show some great individual prowess in your game against DRX, and also you had such a great advantage too after that map 1. Why do you think that you guys weren't able to fully capitalize on that advantage, and how do you make sure if you are one map up again today, you close it out 2-0 this time?
Dice que se vieron muy bien individualmente y como grupo en contra de TRX,
Grupo कोई fan है यहाँ
pero
पे?
después de verse también en ese mapa de Haven no lo pueden encerrar y cómo se van a... ¿Por qué pasó eso y cómo se van a asegurar que hoy, si avanzan con el primer mapa, lo puedan cerrar esta vez?
Creo que el día de hoy venimos con un map pool más trabajado. Creo que elegir entre Abyss y Vine fue un poco riesgoso por nuestra parte porque no tenemos tan profundizados los movimientos, pero con este tiempo que tuvimos de trabajo, creo que ahora podemos dar cara a cualquier equipo de la manera que lo hicimos en Haven. Entonces estoy confiante de mi equipo y confiante de que podemos ser superiores en macro y en micro.
I think with the way that we went about that series, it was more of we were not prepared with the map pool, so it was a risk to go into Bind and Abyss for that series. But now in the time that we had for preparation, we were able to play everything better, so we feel better about the maps, and we're able to phase any team like we did on Haven this time.
Well, thank you very much, Dan, for the translations, and best of luck today, Melzer.
Language. Pink.
Well, Melzer was one of the guys who, in that first map, was absolutely on fire. So maybe he's looking to channel a little bit of that here again, Mimi.
Yeah, for those that don't know, this crew roster had kind of a shift in their leadership midway through the season, with Melzer again picking up the reins as IGL for this team. He had previously called for Leviathan when he was on that roster, and the guy's always been stellar individually. I think you have a lot of those memorable Melzer moments over his time at international events. You think of the debut on this roster, and it's great to see him back on this stage, playing some incredible Valorant again. But I think the real struggle was the calling in those second two maps of the series.
100%, and I think the more that the calling gets simplified, I think, by teams willing to opt into, you know, the crew play style of just taking high-tempo fights, high-tempo engagements, normally at the beginning of rounds, and never really calling for the pauses and the buffer like DRX were doing. Map 2, map 3, the better it's going to look for crew, I think, with their calling.
But one thing crew does really well, I think, is slow the game down when they're on the attack and kind of punishing defensive mistakes, which I think kind of defined Billy's loss to Fnatic. I think stylistically, this is a solid match for them, as long as they can dodge the mud and not get pulled into the chaos.
Well, you know who might bring them into the mud there, Mimi? It's YZ. Along with Kesnet as well. I mean, these two guys are going to be, you know, just clashing against one another. You know, we always talk about Kesnet in America as such a fantastic player. We always give him his flowers. But it is going to be fun to see him
One of the silliest things.
do stuff like that versus YZ, or YZ doing stuff like that against crew. I mean, Brent, that is going to be fun to watch.
I love YZ so much. His playstyle is just the epitome of what I think of when I am absolutely getting smurfed on in ranked by individuals. I pictured it as YZ on the other end, and they're just making me rethink every life choice. And he's going to go against Kesnet, who is, you know, putting up some similar numbers in some capacity sometimes. But Kesnet really isn't this superstar player that takes over games as much anymore, because I think crew as a whole, they tend to be a lot more team play orientated.
Yeah, I think since Shy and Melzer have kind of come into the team, they found that balance.
Yeah, absolutely. So they don't really need Kesnet to be that star player to shut him down, but I think it's going to be a factor for sure. If YZ is just going to be taking over the game and doing crazy stuff, which you know is going to be pulling out instances of that, you need heavy hitters like Kesnet who are able to just shut it down cleanly with no real mistakes.
Yeah, I think another thing that's cool is both these guys are known for their Raze and their Jet in the past, which has been really good. The opping on the Jet and the movement on the Raze. But they've both picked up some of the Neon in stage 2 of their respective regions, and I think it's looked pretty solid, especially for crew. We saw that Haven against DRX where they looked great. A lot of nice setups around Kesnet's Neon. So it's cool to watch both these guys branch out, even if they've had kind of a parallel story in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and hear from YZ about Billy's loss to Fnatic in today's matchup in this, or excuse me, and today's matchup. Apologies for that, in our Omen player moment.
我说实话 ，Fnatic 还是就是一如既往的强大嘛，就他们作为一个很老牌的国际强队，今天的第二张图就跟我们上一次打的第一张图那种感觉是一样的，就感觉有点哪都打不通的感觉，然后有点被堵在里面了。因为如果我们是1比20，或者是两张图都非常接近的比分数的话，那我觉得我们可能可以说得上是打得还可以吧。但是今天我们被这样大比分碾压，我觉得根本就没有什么自豪的这种说法吧。
Points one, eats quite a bit of damage. Continues to push up. Spots him again. Finds a headshot on the Durga swipe. Slides back through. Overtime's gonna be popped. You can tell how badly he wants it. and YZ has gotten it.
今天也有在赛前看他们比赛的吧，然后他们也是一个很强劲的对手。就今天我觉得我们虽然输给 FNATIC 输得很惨，但是我们会从中就是获取很多经验吧，然后把这些经验用来在对抗KRU上面。就谢谢大家一直以来对 BLG 的支持吧，然后我们也会在这次比赛中汲取经验，然后争取下场比赛拿下。
Now you heard YZ in that Omen player moment talking about the fact that they got beaten down by Fnatic, and you can tell that they're certainly, hurting from that one. So, Brand, I guess, the question is, like, can they recover from that, especially against a crew team that oftentimes when their backs are against the wall, they pull off miracles.
Did he punch back? I think both of these teams, can they recover? It's down to whether or not they can brush it off.
But Billy was the one that got, I think, worked the most out of a lot of the teams in these open
Yeah,
rounds.
they definitely did, but they're up against Fnatic in that capacity too, because Fnatic are one of the best teams at this event in terms of being able to punish that. And you definitely saw that on Lotus, I think, one of the best maps for them. Bind was a little bit closer, partly because Billy will. They were throwing out a lot of the unorthodox plays that you love to see to throw a team like Fnatic off guard, where it's not the usual. It's high risk, it's high reward. They're hitting their shots in the right times, yet still couldn't quite get it. But it was a better look for them, don't get me wrong. And their map pool overall has me just kind of scratching my head in terms of which direction the game's going to be heading into, because I think it's quite open in terms of the pick bans for both of these teams. Bind is definitely one of the best maps, but for Crew, they're probably going to be wanting to ban that almost immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too sure.
I also think some of these teams have kind of some shared strengths. I think they both really like playing into the ascent, things like that. And it's tough for me to think of a map that Billy is going to have a big leg up over Crew in this series.
Yeah, they're going to have to be really digging deep on a few of these, right?
And I mean, that game against Fnatic, I think they had opportunities to close out, but the game for me was defined by getting into advantage post-plant situations and letting it slip. And there was a round I wanted to break down around that, where they have a really good read and then kind of let it all slip. This is round 16 against Fnatic. If you look at Fnatic in this round, they have a pretty big ult online here, with Alfier having that Thrash available. The Thrash, of course, great tool to clear into the site, but one thing it lacks is the ability to actually knock players off verticality. And BLG have a cool setup here. YZ satcheled up on triple, and Flexen boosted up with a satchel of his own to get top truck. I think this setup is just a straight-up read that they're going to be hitting A late with the Thrash, and these players won't be affected by that ultimate. Let's watch it play out. Fnatic is going to start to hit into this site, as expected by BLG. In comes this Thrash from Alfier. And the reply utility is going to come through. They have a nade ready to go for YZ. And while that does catch the player towards triple, both these guys are still completely above the smokes, ready to fight. Look at Fnatic coming through the orb, getting absolutely rolled to start this one off. And now BLG have a big advantage in this round. They were just up in a 5 versus 3. But this is where things start to go wrong, because this Raze player over towards triple swings out on his own, and he dies. That turns us into a 4v3. Still a winning position for BLG. And now the name of the game when you're in a man-up position like this in a late round is condensing the map, playing the fundamentals. And you see here, it looks like BLG are setting up right. They have a player back truck, they have 2 players inside of U-Haul, and they can set up together to have a kind of a crossfire here, where there's going to be a player in U-Haul front there taking contact. There's going to be another player behind him who can swing off that, and then that truck player can swing as well, and that should lock this round up. But unfortunately, that's not how it goes. Yosemite's on this jiggle. Knight is playing off his contact, but as Fnatic starts to walk their way up, when the contact actually comes, Yosemite is stuck in. Knight takes that. The swing isn't in time for Yosemite, and it's the same thing for Flexen, where he's not swinging on time, and they end up losing the round. This happened multiple times in the series against Fnatic, where BLG got good advantages, and the fundamentals lost them rounds. They need to clean it up if they want to win against Crew today.
They're going to need to fix that up. All right, well, let's go ahead and meet the teams as Crew and Billy are ready to take the stage. Let's bring them out.
Crew. Billy.
Okay, Binks.
We have to expect this to be a scrappy slugfest between two teams with their backs against the wall. But if there's one thing for certain, these teams are going to give everything that they have, because this, Mimi, is an elimination game. Put up or shut up right now.
Both these teams have history making miracles happen at Champions. KRU in the very first one made it to top 3 against all expectations. And just last year, everyone remembers the upsets from Bilibili to make their way into playoffs. But one of those miracle runs has to come to an end right now.
Both of these teams are going to be eager, I think, as well to just make those deeper runs than they have done in the past as well, despite the upsets that have occurred in the past. Because, I mean, KRU is another team as well. They've got a ton of history of attending these international events, but honestly, in recent memory, they just haven't got it over the line. Just not even out of groups in most scenarios. So this is a great opportunity, I think, to get a win under their belt on the big stage against a team that is going to want to opt into their preferred playstyle, taking heavy fights. But it would be disingenuous to describe KRU as a team that doesn't have the discipline to punish that individuality that Bilibili are going to throw into the game. Because they are disciplined. They are willing to slow down the game just in taking those little pauses into the mid-round, making sure that they group us up as 3 and make sure that they can punish a player with like some dry swings, whatever it takes. They are a team that can slow it down in that capacity for sure.
Okay. Killjoy KRU ने लिया है, तो हम support
nothing really all
करेंगे
that crazy here, but yeah, I was going to ask a little bit about the maps and how we thought that this is going to play out, but I think Brandon pretty much illustrated perfectly there, right? Both of these teams, they're going to give it their all. They're going to push each other as much as they can.
And Bilibili have put a Viper into their comp over to Cypher, I think they used to run as well, which I kind of like. Just it gives you way more global back pressure on your attack side lurks compared to the Cypher, where you kind of just know it's obvious where the Cypher is when he's lurking.
I think the biggest issue, though, is that KRU is a team who loves running these attack side lurks. Kesnet, a lot of times, is going to get kind of entrenched in positions, and Shy also loves going for walk-ups on A, walk-ups on B late in these rounds that I think could punish that lack of Sentinel utility once we switch sides.
Well, folks, this is it. Last elimination game of the day. It's time to hand it over to your casters, who are also clocking in for the first time at Champions Seoul.
Nice
Here's Pansy and Steel.
Thank you, GB. Yeah, it's fantastic to finally be here, and quite the slugfest to come out to, Josh. These two teams, it's all on the line now, right? Elimination time, only one can continue. The brutality of champs is no stranger to these two teams as well. They've been on the other side of the killing blow to some heavy favorites before. However, talk to me about this head-to-head, Josh. Tell me how we get a close series, those win gaunts. What are you looking for between KRU Visa and Bilibili?
This is going to be an interesting matchup when it comes to the stylistic approaches. And I think really it comes down to these first picks for both these teams. It's going to be so crucial for them to get a good lead into this. Bilibili opting to start attack on Lotus. They are so much better on their attack side than they are on their defense. And we need to see something a little bit better than what we saw against Fnatic from them right now.
That's the marker we set. The game against Fnatic. Got to be fresh in their mind still. Got to be at the forefront. But Bilibili starting things off. Quite simplistic in approach. A 1-3-1. YZ and the rest all playing over towards door, crunching towards Mount, clearing the util, and showing their hand quite quickly here. Not overdoing it though, looking to maybe catch that response from KRU Visa.
A little bit of a pause in the round as KRU is thinking about that re-aggression here.
Oh, but there's 4 players on the other side. This is where the brawl could begin. The paranoia is good for 2. It didn't catch Melza. So he's at least able to keep control of this, and they both walked away. That's the fight on the extremity. YZ opening up the map. That's a big opportunity. Do they opt to go for this? Do they try and fake it out? It looks like they're going for this one.
YZ's keeping that space towards that spawn area, but the waterfall, the retake, is it a pre-take perhaps?
Well, they were thinking about it, right? They were real close to going for that one, but no, they decide against it. Try and keep cool here. Bilibili plant in 5 standing, excuse me, and YZ still with that space. The stun is fantastic for the swing. They're playing him in, but he's still fighting back. A 2v2 now, but the time is still on Bilibili's side. Melza. Oh, K-Knight quick with that, and he's left it all to MTA. Too many targets, Bilibili. Fast rounds theirs.
That was so well executed from Bilibili as well. Getting YZ slinked into that C-side area, putting a lot of that pressure on B, getting sold out, realizing, hey, the rotation's in from KRU. They're stacking this B side. We can't go in. There's a lot of utility traded. Both sides, they couldn't make it through, but YZ finds that opening at C, calls the rest of his team back, rotating door. That's a great start for them. That's everything they need to be able to kind of run away with this half. We need to see them getting a lot of rounds on their attack side. They have that breach fade comp with that Neon. They're going to leverage that, and the paciness is going to be here and huge.
Bye.
And right off
As
the
I
brain.
say that.
Yeah, YZ this time going to be punished though. It's Kesnet.
Delivers
the bullet to the brain. So without the man at the front here, and they've gone pretty all into this. Melzer does get away with this line.
Crew.
The 3 players
Simple
can remain here
facts.
for Crew.
Simple facts, baby.
Heat, Kesnet, the 2 with the sheriffs coming in to be your main damage dealers, but a very early pick is fantastic. They brought over that 4th player as well. You're looking at having Shy sitting towards CT, yes, but they've got a lot of grip on this site still.
YZ going down early, not the biggest deal. It means that they lose a little bit of that speed going into the sites. But what Billy is doing right now is they're waiting for their abilities to come back off cooldown. They need that stun up on the breach because they've basically used all the flashes they have. They need to leverage that. Omen smokes are back online now, so we're going to see them start to inch up. But the stack from Crew on this A site means, yeah, Billy needs to kind of figure things out before they overcommit. It looks like they're inching their way over to that blue room. Kesnet down.
It's a step-by-step approach. Billy needs to be careful. Again, Heat is one of those danger players.
That spike down.
K9 going as well. That's a little bit of util they could have used to find some safety on this site. And there's still 3 players from Crew here. 20 seconds, they're getting desperate. Keep your eyes on MTA. Do not forget his positioning. He hasn't been spotted so far. They can make a guess, but you can see that little consideration from Yosemite. Keeping a touch on where this position could be coming from. Again, it's only a classic, but if he gets the timing right, it doesn't matter. And it's not just right. Misses the opportunity, but a 2v2. Shy, gonna fall. Well handled by Neff in the end. Keep that in touch.
Hi, good evening. Hello.
But a round nonetheless.
A costly round indeed, and it needs to be a lot sooner than that. Crew was able to do that basically with sheriffs and their positioning. If Billy wants to be able to convert a lot of these rounds on their attack side, like once Crew gets those guns, these are going to be different situations. They cannot allow for these things to happen. So we need to see a little bit of one sheriff in the head. Why is he swinging out A? It's unlucky. It happens. But you know, there's more rounds, and
You're kidding me.
I'm not even going to comment on it.
Don't say
I'll let you do it. I'll let you do it.
I'm so sorry, folks. You've had time from me. You've had a break. You've had to enjoy games at their normal pace. Yet here I am. I brought you a tech pause, so I can only apologize. It's not actually me. Hopefully the issue will be fixed nice and quickly. But we can kind of go back to what I think the desk was actually alluding to quite nicely. I know Mimi kind of broke down around there as well, but it was some of the win cons we were talking about these teams. Even Neff in the interview before this kind of talking about their post plants tightening things up as well. And that's a big theme throughout this series, I think.
It will be. I think a lot of the thing is, and I touched on it earlier, is about that first pick, who gets it. It's going to dictate a lot of the round. Because when you look at the kind of macro of everything going on in the game, especially on the defense side, this is where there's a lot of understanding that needs to happen on an individual level. So people need to understand how they're supposed to rotate, where they're supposed to rotate, where they're supposed to go to first. And if that is not down to a science, then you create a lot of gaps. And on a map like Lotus, where there's 3 sites, there's these revolving doors, you can quickly pivot back and forth. If you don't know where to go and when, then that's when things can just spiral out of control. We saw Billy doing a really good job of it on their attack side on that pistol round. YZ, securing that C site area, hit the revolving door. We saw it here on the round 2 as well. You guys are set up in tree with a crossfire. Cool. We'll use that blue door. We'll pivot back to B. So Billy doing a decent job so far. It's easier when you're on attack and you move together. True. And that's kind of like where that whole conversation went.
Yeah, no, I kind of like it. It's fun to kind of see that being discussed from every aspect. Neff being aware of it. We've got the desk highlighting it. Us kind of coming in with it. It's clearly on the forefront of this game. Now, if you're wondering, hopefully
next match
resolved in about a minute 30, give or take.
Membership message
But when we're looking at the overall structure so far, this game, this round coming up, I don't think it's going to be the big tell-all just yet. I want that first buy round to come in. I want to see everything that comes out. I want to see those ults. Can they keep it out of the mud? That's all I'm hoping. We can see a clean series between these two. So far, it's a little bit of a brawl. It's a bit of a bit kind of expected between them. But we're right back in. We've got to be looking at the buy. It was a close round for Billy, so they're not going to be in the best position in the bonus here. Couple of rifles, yes. But of course, the purchase looking pretty decent for Crew now.
Problem in
Yosemite's going to be kicking himself for that. The paranoia doesn't find him.
Paranoia as well.
And the TV up. It's audacious from Melzer. Does he get the reward?
Yeah.
Oh! A Bucky. takes him down and puts him in his place, and now a
Yeah,
4-4 situation. Now, all of this time, though, Billy were eyeing up though towards C, right? Playing towards Mound, a touch on the door, but they've doubled back. They've come back towards Rubble.
That Viper wall stretching across from B to A, but the orb on C. And Billy knows this. They want to recover this Vandal. They know, hey, we lost 3 players. We had to basically just come into this round with a Sheriff, a Bucky. We have to make anything work because this is our bonus round. Now Billy recovering that weapon. They have so much space. They have A lobby, they have C lobby, they have front of B. They can choose wherever they want to go. 4-on-4, they can get a 4-on-1 easy at C site. And that's looking like that's where they want to go.
I kind of like that they put so many question marks around the map, as you were talking about. Rubble, B entrance. Now, with the door back towards C, it's going to pull over at bare minimum Shy. You still have MDA here, so it's going to make it a little bit trickier. Straight on him, YZ couldn't isolate the fight clean enough. Shy's found it, and they've held at least for now. Because they expect the rest of the team to come through in 13 seconds. They got to go at this point. 10 now. Crew should be able to farm this up. Yeah, light work from them. K-Knight, the only one to really do some serious damage. Crew, keep control. Couple of rifles lost here and there, but they make it through with the first for themselves.
Considering that was a 4-on-4 very early into that round, and that weapon was picked up, Billy didn't really make a lot of damage to Crew there. Only one more kill before the end of the round, and that isn't really good enough. Yes, it's a bonus round. They're probably fine losing it, but this is so disjointed, and they need to tighten that up. YZ cannot be so far ahead of his teammates with the rest of them straggling behind. They need to get that trade kill. If that trade kill comes in, completely different story.
And again, it's such a nice performance when YZ, we get to see him on that raise. It's just, it's art in motion, poetry in motion, but let's see if they can maybe get that synergy right here. Already, once again, high priority towards Rubble. Everyone's here, though. No one else holding over towards Mound. No luck towards that B main. Anything. This is all in. It's 4 players as well for Crew holding this down. This is going to be a big fight here. All of them posturing so much util. First pick is Melza. Takes away Flexin. And Melza doesn't have to instantly retreat. He's still holding by tree. Billy not getting those entries they would have wanted here.
And that's the smokes down 2. Flexin down. And that limits what Billy can do. They can't go into B, they get crossfired. They can't even really go into C, they get crossfired. The end of the round probably has to be A, unless they try to link up through that blue door and do a split on B, control multiple angles of attack here. But Crew, in great position still, leaning towards A with their defense. They know Billy's limited. They know that, you know, if it's C,
actually में ये round निकाल सकते हैं
BLG. It feels like they're reading it like you are. There's going to be that potential
utils हैं नहीं retake के लिए.
Here they've already adjusted their players, putting a lot of faith in Melza, sitting incredibly safe. He is backside.
ना nade है ना blind है.
Then still going to make it hard work to clear through tree. But they're running this very late, Billy. So they're walking into the unknown. Fortunately for them, it's clear. So we're looking at a retake from Crew. Doubt it's a pre-take. The spike is down. So post-plant util is light. We do have YZ with his ult. And that's really about it. There's not much more. Maybe it'll cycle back up soon, but beyond that, Crew, let's see if they can keep this clean. Heat's got a little bit of util to work with. 2 on the site, 1 towards door, and 1 towards Rubble for Billy. K-Knight the first to shoulder the attention. Gonna be noted. A quick call back of support. The Prowler sent in the first to fall. It's clean from Crew. 3 back-to-back, leaving just 70 in a 1v5. He can't even challenge the defuse. He might as well back from this one. There's nothing more to be done. Crew keeping it clean. 2 rounds now for themselves, and they'll be happy with that. That was a hard all-in from Billy pretty much.
Yosemite knows what's best for him. Decided to save in the end there, and Billy really not finding that opening. That's a couple of rounds now. We're only 4 rounds in, on round 5 going into it, and so far, a lot of utility trades out, a lot of weird fights. We saw it on pistol round over at B, we saw it here at A lobby, and then on that reclear with that Viper wall going down, just abilities going back and forth. Billy hasn't been able to find a clean opening, and you would think that they should be able to with that Fade Breach combo, with that Neon, with that speed, but they're not finding anything. Another fast opening here.
Oh, but he's gone further. This time, YZ just going to throw himself into the mix. But look at the space. Look at the gap between him and the next player. They've got to try and help him out here. Get that pressure building. YZ takes away heat and goes hunting for more. The man is bloodthirsty, and he's getting his reward. Beautiful damage done. It's 2 players remaining. Flexing good position. Punishing one, but the trade for YZ. That's the impact you need. That's a YZ round and a half.
That's a huge opening as well for YZ. Billy just found that gap and just exploited it. And it's not the first time they tried going aggressive. It's that Crew's been putting it down. So we're going to be seeing this kind of, if this is as early as round 5 that we're seeing these things, we've got 7 more rounds of this. And yeah, there's 3 different openings, B, A, and C, that kind of had these 33% chances of guessing the correct spot. Is it going to be A that they come out? Are they going to go C next round? What's going to happen? And Crew needs to find a way to stay ahead of that, because if they can put Billy, especially
and guess
YZ
what?
in the
This
dirt
is only
early,
possible because there is a
the best
breaching
way
team,
into this
guys.
Spot on.
Just saying.
Early clip. Oh, wow. Look, just headstrong in approach, YZ. The rest of his team can't join him again. Held back by the util, but he's still trying to clear through at least towards B. Shy's quite nearby. You're going to hear the ult being popped here. Doesn't find a target. YZ lives. Barely, but he lives. Flexing going to clear through Shy. Billy's trying to pressure behind this and just leave YZ here. Insert him in towards B. The Prowler does catch. He doesn't get away with daylight robbery, but does he catch a kill? Well,
shot, bro.
Death in the end. The cross going to be watched, though. This is a very pacey game, but now it stabilizes. The plant should come in. How much space does Net towards catching CT.
Clank is everything.
It could be huge. It could be huge. And they know that Mountain's clear. They know that no one has come towards this way, so CT might have a player. They might be still on site. They could have maybe backfilled towards Waterfall. That's why you're seeing the util invested early. All that information coming through from Melza. The first steps on the site, and Flexin, did the barrel show? It did, but the support's there. An isolated fight, which all he was going to pray for, but he doesn't get it. And now, the Lava 2, it's time to back away. Billy answering in kind now. That's going to be a 4th for them here, surely.
It looks like Crew is looking to save here. They realize...
fast.
Oh, Kaznet goes down as well. They realize once that Omen goes down, once Melzer's out of the equation, that Omen versus Omen fight was the round. Melzer wins it, Crew takes the round. If Flexin wins it, Billy takes the round. And really... I like the timing of it, though. The paint shells coming in from spawn to force them out, everything was working well. What I didn't like from Crew was that they used that showstopper on Kaznet early, before anything really happened at B. Lots of players on the site, but they didn't plant yet. I don't even think they even tapped the spike. And they had the lockdown for Shy. They had it that round. They could have used it in the retake, but he's the one, the first to fall from Crew, and then the entire rest of the round falls apart.
Speaking of falling apart, the money's looking rough around the edges here for Crew. Still a couple of rifles, so Heat and Kesnet, the ones to watch. YZ, yeah, he's going to find Melza. Shy tries to do some damage, but it's well controlled. The big threats now coming through, though. Heat and Kesnet make it towards the door, get eyes towards Mound, and do some serious damage. Yosemite and Flexin looking for a corner of safety, trying to find a little bit of something. Get the plant in, get the time on their side. These rifles aren't really recoverable for the, I guess, MTA to be able to pick up one, but still, it's fine. They have two. They've got the Nightfall. That's going to set things in motion. Flexin playing forward in this. I mean, these guys were the smoke criminals themselves. The Prowl is going to reveal Flexin's position, but he's not really backing down from this. Finally takes the TP away. Prowl's got a long old way to go. And the first spot can come probably from Yosemite here. Cleared by Kesnet. Flexin can't do it all. Crew, with just those two rifles, doing everything they needed. A proactive crunch through door. The pressure behind those early players, it works out well.
I do get a little bit worried about Billy's playbook, the depth of it. They rely so heavily on these fast openings, but this chaos coming in from multiple different angles, they haven't dealt with it so cleanly yet. I do want to see them doing something where they split off the map. We saw it on their bonus round when they have the Omen, the Viper walking out a lobby as that C pressure around Mound comes into place. I want to see them do that a little bit more, develop the map, and just bait out, find out where Crew's playing, bait out those counter utilities, because right now Billy is just running into a brick wall in some of these rounds, and Crew is doing a decent job.
B पे util तोड़ के C पे जाएंगे.
Cycling up, Shy still has, as you noticed it earlier, MTA, other side, Rolling Thunder, and a TP for Flexin. One off for Yosemite. Billy looking to maybe try and clear this. You can see already the Killjoy utility pulled back closer towards main. So YZ, yeah, gonna get a spot on it. And Shy shoulders. But they're not gonna springboard off this just yet. A little bit more patient on approach. That's the first committed attempt, but they still might pivot over towards C.
And that's the attacker smoke down at the entrance of C there, just to get them out of that revolving door without getting sandwiched. Rolling Thunder still up for K-Knight.
Clean.
And should be his stun off cooldown as well.
Melza being ahead of this keeps so much information
Ayo,
as well,
B जा रहे,
keeps
लग
so
गए.
much safety towards A. They can kind of almost stack a
लग
little
गए.
heavier towards B, towards C without too much worry, but with the time starting to tick, they're
लग
starting to consider, well,
गए.
we've seen no more pressure towards C. That's already being cleared by MTA. This has got to be this B piece
लग
coming in
गए.
already, the util being sent.
This lockdown, though, they need to use the
Yeah.
Rolling Thunder to extend through, take some space.
They're trying to fight towards
लग
door, but
गए.
YZ going to be hindered here. This is a very difficult round for Billy
बोलो तो
Billy to
कैसे नहीं
the
देगा
wire
किल
sort of
जो है?
situation. He good for one, but
हाँ,
the trade
इधर है,
comes
इधर है,
in.
इधर है.
Blue door is gathered, but they're pivoting. But look at Melza's position. This could be huge. He only gets one. Billy with a
Viper's
release
Pit.
of life. They've got to pelt it over towards
Baap
A.
खेला,
Get the
bro.
plant in. And you're right. Viper's Pit on top. That could be the icing on top of the cake here. But Shy and MTA taking the first couple of steps. 3 players towards Tree. Going to spot the first. Shy quick with it towards Neff. And feel no pressure elsewhere. Do they start reading this now? MTA looking to maybe secure towards Saul, but look at this rewalk, look at this re-clear from Billy. Pushing out towards site. The reposition is dirty for this, so hard for Crew to clear through. And the time's starting to run here. And I think Crew knows it. That little readjust, that pivot back towards site, so perfect from Yosemite and K-Knight. They've got to be happy with this one. And I think Crew knows it. Time to back away from this Billy. Lovely work at the end there. Brilliant mid-rounding.
I love their pivots right
see.
now. It's showing that they're unaware of what's happening and
लगते
how to
कैसे
get out of these
फंसे गए
dangerous situations. If they commit, they die. They pivot out of these situations. Yosemite was already postured towards that A lobby. They kind of had that planned. They knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew that lockdown was going to come. They knew that they needed to rely on that flank from Yosemite. And everything played out really well in Billy's favor there. And I love that reflank. Once it hits that 2-on-2, we saw Shy walking into that Viper's Pit immediately, taking that timing as it's still developing, as it's still spreading, finds that first player, 2-on-2. But I think what their mistake was is that when they enter Tree on that flank, on that Viper's Pit, they both show that they're there. One spamming, another's reloading. They're making way too much noise. And then it's a good reaction from Billy. Okay, they're here. Let's wrap. We don't even have to keep the pit up. Let's walk around the site. Enough time's ticked. We know exactly where you are. We have stun, aftershock. We're chilling.
And I like to see that sort of decision-making in pressure situations. We've seen these two teams, you know, sometimes not, I don't want to say falter in a weird way, but it hasn't been their strongest suit.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं, अटैक में
really
5-7 भी
Seeing them
बहुत
both
है.
being able to do that here a little bit.
काफी damage दिए
It's
टीम को.
fantastic. Timeout called for Billy though. Time to discuss, maybe get everything
Crew
right.
मारेगा
These
तो
have been
सही.
very close rounds.
ये
I
तो
wouldn't say this
confirm
has been
है.
a clear-cut affair for
कि
either side
केजनेट
yet.
का
No one's really carved out
duelist बहुत
that
strong है,
security.
aim
Yeah,
भी
it's
बहुत
5-3,
crazy है.
but still, it is anyone's game. A bit of a toss-up here between the two. So what are you kind of seeing so far between these guys? Is this kind of playing to your expectation? Because I feel like it's at least leaning towards what we started with.
I think a little bit towards our expectations. We knew that this
और
was
मैं
going to be
किसको
something where
support कर
it's
रहे हो?
not going to be a very clean game. It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to just really come down to how is that first pick goes, how do the trades develop after that, and really, this is one big swing round away from Billy having an insane attack half or Crew coming back and making this a little bit of an even scoreline.
अटैक मैप पे आएगा
Slow
तो
opening, yeah.
Yeah, this maybe
की
feeling
बारी
something's
तब
up
मजा आएगा
here.
लेकिन ये
Because
लोग
look
का
how deep
रोकने के लिए
Billy
बहुत
is sitting
ब्यूटीफुल
already,
है
and it's a right read. Crew all trying to be a bit more
नेट
proactive.
सीज स्टन स्पेड aftershock
Billy's
woman
pause
blind
as
बहुत
well.
ब्यूटीफुल है
MTA's got to be dead here. Surely he's dead here. Yeah, put out of his misery in the end. Caught kind of in no man's land to an extent. But again, Billy haven't been completely off the chain. They've been trying to keep composure, keep cool about their decision making. Do they then follow this up? Do they commit? Yes, they do. Paranoia's in. YZ gonna lead the pack, clear through sight, but looking close by. Shy leans through the smoke and gets his man. K-Knight on a good trade. They're still brawling this out on the site, and it looks like Billy are winning. K-Knight putting up numbers. Okay, that denies at least a little bit of security on the site here.
वो reveal कैसा हो गया ये
Not
इससे?
impossible, it's just improbable. K-Knight going to be controlled on the site, probably tethered down, yes. But again, Melza, that paranoia would have to be so key, so good to give him a chance. I don't think that's going to do enough here. So it's just the guns in hand, and K-Knight's still got util.
Ready.
He's going to get caught on that at bare minimum. Melza too, buying great amounts of time here, making this incredibly tricky. An uphill struggle for Crew, so now it's go time, swing time, and K-Knight defends his kingdom. The C site's his, and Billy secures safety now. A belting start here.
We're seeing two teams with these fearless players. We see it on YZ going in, taking that opening, seeing, oh, MTA, you're in the open, cool. I'm gonna slide at you, take you down, and extend into the site, try to take all that space. But we're also seeing it on the other side. Shy isn't shy at all. He's in there. He's taking that timing, walking through smokes. That's the second time. A couple rounds ago, it was into a Viper's Pit. Here, it's just walking through the open smoke. Cool. You're gonna smoke off Waterfall. I'll walk through, kill one, and I'll recede as well.
Yeah, we're starting to see this heat up, but I'm worried about the scoreline though, right? It's starting to tilt. It's starting to get a little bit deep. Oh, the Outlaw. This is just going to be a brawl, isn't it? Here we go. YZ, ult in hand, well, on his hand, I guess. It's Kesnit to send him back though. You can't brawl these guys. Oh my god, what is going on between these two? Nef and K-Knight, calm it down. Crew wanted all this chaos. They had the Guardians, the Stingers, the bits and pieces, and they're being rewarded. Oh dear, K-Knight, you clutched before. You can't do it now. That Stinger deadly. And Crew scrounging that round back. That was just a backstreet brawl in the end. That was ridiculous.
The funny thing to me, I think, is that when Billy was doing their slow openings and finding out exactly where they want to hit and doing those pivots as well, that's when they were strongest. And whenever they've gone out fast out the gates, that's when they've been crumbling. And right here, they do it again. 3 trades for each team. It comes down to a 2-on-2, and Crew walk away with that round. And that's a swing round. That's the swing round I was talking about. We might end up with a 6. That's how it happens. You got to be safe.
Nice,
the last one would have been enough, but clearly not.
Oh yeah,
they do it back to him though. Stingers, Buckies, bits and pieces. And already Kesnit says no. Good trade for YZ. And Shy gonna try and slip away. Smoke instantly put in place. Elza gonna find Yosemite.
Holy.
Not allowing any of that extremity work to come in.
That reposition as well, right after he got that kill, but Billy going into B. What?
They just walk on in. This is an outrageous series already. A quick grab on the spike and get it out of there. We're gonna need a monumental round from YZ or Flexen, but Flexen only has a classic, right? He's got so little to play with. He does have his paranoia. He's got smokes. He's got TP. He's got as much as he can have. Even the ult.
I like the read from Billy. They knew it was just Melzer up here alone. Melzer repositioned actually first on top of Rebel, but then he rotated towards B there. Now Billy, they walk out A. They're going to have a free sight. If they spotted anyone, ran into any trouble, Flexen just dips out of there, uses his ultimate. But right now, A is completely open for the taking. And it's the wrong read from Crew. I like how they're proactive. They're moving around. They're staying ahead of whatever's happening. And once they realize what's happening here, they're going to move over together. They have the numbers. They don't care that much. It's all on this positioning from YZ. He's trying to catch rotators here.
And okay, you're in a 2v3 post plant. You're down the man. You need to catch one. If they get all the way back towards it, the timing is everything for YZ. He's going to hear the steps of one, but there's 2 players, but he's going to hear all of them.
All 3.
That's 3. YZ, prime position to be the downfall of Crew. He slowly creeps closer. They have no idea. None the wiser, and Flexen can just wait with bated breath. The one-way still up. He's closing the gap step by step. It could be the downfall, but he's got to get it right. He can't waste his chance, and he doesn't on the first. Takes down MTA, but the tap of the spike will draw the attention. And Billy against the odds, turning it around.
Holy.
A beautiful thrifty there. And YZ,
very nice.
knowing he had to be that guy.
Holy.
They're just so back and forth. You can't even just read what's going to happen. Sometimes you see it on your screen, right? Oh, he's listening for the rotates. He's going to catch the timing. Wait, they got by. Maybe he doesn't get them. But, you know, it comes down where that positioning was so good. Some of these mid-round decisions from Billy are actually spot on right now.
Very good.
And I didn't really expect this after, you know, the match against Fnatic. They didn't really show this same prowess. And maybe that's like the difference between Crew and Fnatic that we're seeing right here. But, I mean, they look so good. They got that Rolling Thunder. They got the Nightfall as well. If they don't combo these, I'll be shocked. But Billy, they understand right now, hey, when we open fast, we lose. When we open slow, we're chilling. And I think this Viper's Pit, oh man, MTA, he thinks it's good.
They're creeping, man.
The Prowlers, the Nightfall, and the Rolling Thunder, and the Neon on top of it, oh man.
That full sense of security could be the death of him here. MTA, talking about going up against the odds. This ain't a pretty one. And here we go. He'll be tagged by that. Receiving util. This guy is being put through the blender. He's got to keep his life and hold on. Oh, Flexen's the one to do it. Here's the Neon, but it's shy again. He's been getting some real value here over towards Waterfall. Another attempt at this, but they're going to get the plant now. We're looking at the post plant. They don't have the ult, so Melzer catches Yosemite. Now numbers advantage towards Crew. 4v3. Flexen, K-Knight, Neff still holding here. Sticking towards site. Sticking towards CT. No falling back this time. Speaking of time, it's going to start ticking now. Crew need to get a move on, get a wiggle on. Prowler dealt with, turn on the flash, but it's Kesnet. Takes down K-Knight, and Flexen needs to try and create some sort of pressure here as well. Already got the horn back up, but Neff is going to be swarmed here. 3 players, that's 1. Over, whoa, he's got 2 as well. He's trying to find the best chance he could, but Melzer keeps cool, keeps the composure. Should have time on the defuse.
10-5 is not at all a bad half.
He's got it.
0.58. That's the amount of time Billy needed to stall a little bit longer there. But a 5-7 half after Crew. Oh man.
Language
it
engine by
for a little bit.
No, it wasn't, but we're back on 5-7. This series is heating up. Oh, come on.
Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
By around अच्छा है लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या मालूम है वो लोग के पास बहुत डील है
Red Bull gives you wings.
BLG के पास बहुत डील है This one कैसे नहीं आ second second baby अच्छे गाने बज रहे हैं अभी अरे दिखाना जरूरी था ये दिखाना जरूरी था ट्विटर वाले What am I watching? Valorant, bro. Valorant. आपका बात सुन लिया song change finally.
Just tuning in, a 5-7 scoreline is something you're going to be paying attention to. I feel like this series is going to remain close. But Josh, coming back to those caveats we discussed at the start of this series, what we were looking for, you were discussing the attacking side initially, how critical that was to certain team successes, but now with the side switch, where are you looking
right in my soul?
Those dynamics?
I wonder if Crew is going to just be able to come back into this game really easily because Billy, their defense isn't as strong as their attack. I don't know if 7 rounds is enough. We saw what happened. Even in this last round that we looked at before the break, we saw they had that opening kill, they had the site, and they end up losing.
Let's go, baby! 2-0 BLG, let's go!
Chaotic mid-round situations, and now they can control these reactions, and Billy, they're maybe a little bit too proactive here. Even right now, they're starting YZ, taking that mount control.
Yeah, but he's been played in at least. It's not just a singular approach. I think it was Flexen trying to support it was. So YZ, gotta be careful, you're right, this is something on a bit of a knife's edge, and Shy's already found Neff. That was over towards B. So you can already see the consideration from Crew, very prepared for this aggression with the double down. Look, NRG fell on the sword of Billy's aggression, even on defending sides. Any smoke, it doesn't matter, they're walking it. And there's no finesse to this one. Melzer going to make a very clean, clear-cut start. They should know about at least, Flexen as well. Found him. Crew coming in with all the information. They seem very prepared for this.
This round's coming all crashing down.
Well, 7-7 guys.
Just one at a time, and this is one of those things where the better teams at the event, I think it's fair to say that, are the teams that know how to play out those situations where they're down early. Right here, though, Billy, they look, as you said, to double down. Once they lose one, okay, let's go even it up. But that's not working in their favor. Crew, they're just going to walk around every round right now, look for whatever openings they're given, and just take it. 5 versus 1. What can you show us, Yosemite?
Yeah, he's got all of the team coming towards his side. Yeah, K-Knight's on the way, but he's done the best he could. It's one singular player. Again, the credit in this round, in my mind, isn't even to how they're approaching it. It's the fact that Crew knew exactly how they wanted to handle Billy in this. And it paid off. It's going to give you that confidence in the calls, the consideration, the prep work. Like, hey, yeah, we got that read. We knew that aggression was going to come out, especially catching it towards the B push out as well. Not just the fact it was on bound, but almost that overall ethos. It's already handling that well, showing their composure. Crew with a fantastic.
कोई नहीं, winnable है, BLG भाई, tension नहीं, हम आपके साथ हैं, winnable है.
And Crew, I expect them to continue on this pacing. There's no real reason to kick up the pace unless they're winning handedly and they can figure things out and know exactly where they want to go. But right now, they know that just the way that the composition is for Billy, they know YZ's going to be a little bit active. He's on the Neon. Maybe he's sometimes randomly alone on C, trying to play that anchor position. But with that breach, with that fade, they're going to be looking to get these opportunities with the stun, with the flashes.
कौन आएगा fanatic goat
के सामने? They find out what they want, where the path is, and then they just execute. And right now, they're finding out exactly where Billy is.
Yeah, following
that. पैर आगे रख रहे वो लोग, few pick ले रहे सब कुछ.
Billy trying to take space again. I don't mind in a round like this. You've got a frenzy and a couple of classics. Try something out. But you're right. It's the way that Crew are navigating this space. Can they keep that cool head about them as they go forward? Do they fall foul to any of the traps that Billy are trying to set? It looks like they want to have a fight here.
Wait.
And there's a bigger gun on the other side. They're going to hear all these steps. They're going to hear all of these steps, surely.
What the fuck?
That's a big spot from Flexin, though.
हम आगे return.
They can outbrawl them here pretty much. I mean, clearing close towards rubble.
ये team अलग है.
I get a little nervous when they're walking towards what you're going to deem as the stack, right? Like, surely by what they've extrapolated from what they've seen, but maybe just playing as 5, they're fine. The Prowler didn't find K-Knight, so, well, it doesn't matter. They are literally just just a pack of wild animals just clearing through right now. There's no finesse to it, really, right? And he stopped saying his name. It's stuck in my head now. Sorry, big fan, but again, it is just one of those things that's just a bulldozer approach, right? 5 of us aren't going to probably lose to a couple of classics, so let's just play through.
Not much else to say in this round, as it's going to get slowly closed out. So, kind of while this happens, I just look at how this round played out for Billy, and the way that they spread apart.
Look. They're making sure he's dead.
Yeah, well, you got to secure it.
That's true.
You can never be too sure. Check the pulse, you know. Feel for any breathing. Are there any signs of life until they hear that death rattle? But, I mean, right there, perfect example. Billy, they move together as a pack really well, but when they spread apart from being in that pack, we saw it there at the end of the round. They're on eco. They have one on A, and they're spreading out. One's pushing B, another guy's rotating back waterfall to C, another one's going through heaven. Like, they're all just getting as far away from each other as possible. It's like they have cooties or something. Like, come on, let's do something together.
Okay, well, this is the big opportunity, right? We're into the bonus, which is going to be very healthy for Crew. And we're going to buy for Billy. And look at the damage on K-Knight early on. And Outlaw. Yeah, there's still light armor as well on YZ, so that could do some serious damage going into this.
Is YZ going to disrespect this and just push through?
Yes.
He's definitely toying with it.
I mean, at worst, going to sit in the smoke and wait for it to fade, it looked like. But he is backing away. But he's already kind of loosened up the rotation as well. So K-Knight going to be starting taking that rotate towards B. For Crew, they'd have to at least re-clear Mound with some sort of sound cue to it. So maybe a fair shout for them. This puts a lot on Flexin, puts a lot on Neff.
This is where the protocols come into action for Billy. Once they get this info, how do you play this? Neff backs off. He knows he doesn't want to do this alone. But where do you go?
That's the question, isn't it? They cleared over towards B. There should be no lurk unless they're a little bit too deep on the Prowler, but you'll assume that's clear. K-Knight taking the long route around towards A as well. And there isn't any instantaneous chances here for Crew to try and punish. Flexin is going to be challenged, and the paranoia, this is problems. Flexin, can he play his life? Can he at least outlive the paranoia blind? Yeah, it looks like he can. This isn't bad. 20 seconds now. Crew going to be running that clock low.
Done, ready from the K-Knight?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping this is going to work out here, but Crew already trying to secure the site itself, but they didn't expect Flexin. Still clearing through, gets 2 to his name and holds down on the site. Isolated the players further back. Heat called upon, does well with one. Cast it! And Heat in unison. Somehow outdoing them here. I thought Billy got everything right. And K-Knight, sadly, the one who took all that damage early on. The one who suffered from that Outlaw. Can't handle them all. KRU righting the ship at the end there. A valiant attempt from Flexing, but couldn't do enough beyond that.
It was a good start, but he needed that support. He needed his teammates there a little bit quicker, and Billy just so slow to rotate there. K-Knight, yeah, he's in a position where he can get a stun off across the map, but really it's
Flexing.
It's Flexing. He's just there by himself. Yosemite was kind of nearby, but it's not enough. And KRU, they're just going to walk in and take whatever openings they're given. Right there, that's a big one. Nightfall up. Oh. Nightfall up. Outlaw still out. And KRU, I think this is, they're just going to run away with so many rounds here. An open C site.
Yeah.
They're eyeing it up.
This is where it starts tilting.
Yeah.
This is when the scales start tipping a little heavier. You kind of highlighted, and I think rightly so, was 7 with the rounds that Billy got in that first half enough, because a lot of their issues present on the defending side. They're very strong on their attack. This is when it becomes an issue. KRU looking like they're coming in very well prepared here. But still, this is still early enough. I'll give them one more go at it. But then, as you said, it's starting to get a little out of their grip here. Good plant. Shy, we don't give rifles over, do we? Are we going to start messing this one up? KRU, because you had control, and now the chaos starting to reappear. Already question marks on the site. You're going to see the Nightfall now invested to try and secure this, because that one mistake, that one little bit of an error, that overstep could cost them dearly. As it stands, though, no one there to capitalize on this. Mel's are going to secure on towards K-Knight, leaving just the 4 remaining for Billy. Kesnet keeping control. Yeah, this is much better. There we go, calling themselves back in line. No more of that silliness, making sure that rifle goes nowhere.
Well, you know, you can't get 3 flawless rounds.
True,
you know?
true.
At some point, someone's going to go down, and then it's not going to be as clean.
Yeah.
But it is worrying if I'm on the side of Billy. Here comes a timeout. This is something that they need to call, because there needs to be some sort of adaptation. I think on their attack side, they found it out really... not really early, but they did discover, hey, when we do these fast openings, that's when things don't really go the way we plan it. Let's slow it down, let's find the openings, and then let's make sure that we make the best plan and decision possible. And right now, Billy, they're so spread apart. They're not doing any really team fights except for round 2. They kind of moved together with that breach stun. But every other round so far, it's been YZ up taking point, and maybe one player supporting him. It's usually been K-Knight on breach there towards C. Oh boy.
I mean, see the scoreline, he's probably okay. He's probably okay right now. Okay, we're just gonna. He's fine. He's fine right now. I'm good.
So what do we want to see from Billy here? We want to see them doing something a little bit. I think proactivity is fine.
Doing something
but Billy what they need to do is they need to lure KRU into a trap and then really get that value out of not only the breach utility, but extra players around it. It can't just be all on YZ here.
I know, and that's the kind of underlining part of this, isn't it? You're going to want to put that and put a full stop on it and then hope that it happens. Because this team has such potential when you talk about Billy. I mean, we've all seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, the sign kind of alluding to it. But it's true, there is some real danger to this squad, and I think a lot of people learning to take China very seriously when it comes to their teams. But it almost feels neglectful to not highlight that there is a drastic drop-off when it comes to Billy. From when you see them on the attacking side, you see all that brilliance that's there, that high potential. And then the side switch happens, you go, but where's the rest? Where's that? You know, find me a little bit of that. You find that consistency, brilliant. For now, it looks like we're back to trying to get YZ pushed up towards Mound. Yosemite gonna get at least shouldered here. They're very aware that they might be trying to insert a player. Spam towards the box, looking for all of these potential spots they could have tried to push a player up towards.
I think this is what KRU does really well, though. They do that slow opening. Cool, you spotted us. We're gonna reset here, get that alarm bot down, reposition. As they kind of understand why he's probably out of this mound area. This is stun probably ready. Here comes the clearing on A. Wait, there's no one on A. Do we want to go back there now?
Oh,
shit. That's what they're doing. They realize what the setup is. KRU trying to go back to A. Is Billy going to realize what's going on here? YZ still has this mound space. No one's attacking him right now. Can the rotation come to A site before KRU hits it? 2 players
Yeah.
walked up towards B, though. This might be a fake towards A to hit B.
but there's still going to be at least one in the way, right? Neff's still going to be here. If it's a crunch through blue door or a pivot through towards A, he's still going to have a chance. Oh, dear. Overwhelmed, the paranoia perfect, everything sent towards him. Neff couldn't even see it coming at that point. And now the red carpet's rolled out towards B until then YZ going to catch him in the heels. Speed up a little bit, take another fight, but there's no one else to swing off this. It's an isolated fight. He needs the help of everyone else, but K-Knight falls as soon as he swings. Billy now, individual fight for 13 seconds. This is getting a little ridiculous. The plant is going to be in, but can they secure this? Mel's positioning should have at least given him Yosemite, but he's done that for him. And with Flexing, I mean, yeah, how are you meant to try and help out YZ in that? Send through a paranoia and hope? It's not going to happen here. And KRU again showing dominance, asserting that. Couple of ults very nearby. Kesnit almost has his. Mel's one away. MTA not a mile off either. I feel like we're starting to see the, kind of the end of this one, at least for Billy. I'd be happy to be wrong. You know, I'd happy to see it go the other way, but KRU really getting a grip on the protocols and the win cons in this series.
Both teams so good on their attack sides here with very different styles. KRU, slow approach, find the lane of least resistance, and take whatever is given to them. Billy just kind of just runs at them and just brute forces through. But we're seeing what's happening on the defense side here. KRU, not the greatest defense side, but still a little bit more polished. 5 rounds without pistol, that's no joke.
Next match is crazy.
So Billy probably wanted a little bit more of a buffer going into this, because right now, KRU, I don't see a stop to this. If Billy doesn't do something drastically different in their approach on their defense here, and it's not likely because you would see that already.
Yes, it wouldn't have been a last-minute ditch attempt. You'd have seen maybe stepping towards
many
happy. And now we're going to start seeing the economy taking a real beating. Judge, Stinger, Sheriff, Frenzy. It's far from perfect. YZ maybe trying to just do something individual here. That's a start.
That's a start.
That's a whole lot of players around the corner, but he can't quite get there in time. MTA taking his time to fall, but he's going to at least shut this area off, right? Like no one else is going to try and come through that, at least for a second or two.
KRU realizes what's going on. Opting not to go wait and just re-clear this after a period of time. They're going straight into C, but the rotation from Billy, are they actually staying one step ahead after we just had this monologue about how they're not able to do that right now? Are they doing it?
This could be a lovely way to shut us the hell up, or maybe it's only on the half buys or the force buys, but now they are right. They've read it correctly, forcing the hand and forcing Yosemite to fall, but there's more players here. It's not just him. There's 2 more, 3 more, almost 4. All of Billy now make it to the site. Spike left loose in a bad position, and Shy and Heat gonna be worried, panicked, and maybe overwhelmed. Heat can only do so much, and now it's all on Shy in the 1v2. K-Knight does have the right forward on Shy. It just slipped away. K-Knight finds stability at the end, barely alive, but a round finally claimed.
5 HP.
Well, put me in my place. And that's a
but it's
timeout
what you
coming.
wanted, though.
It is what I wanted. It is what I wanted. We got to see so many different things there. We saw KRU kind of lose their identity on their attack side there. What normally happens is, okay, they kind of figure out what's going on, then they pause, they reset, they wait for their abilities to come off cooldown, and they find the lane of least resistance. Here, they try running away from A, going into C, but there's too many pauses along the way, and Billy stayed a step ahead of them. But will we see that again from Billy on a gun round? They had a judge there, they had pistols there, and they had stingers there. If we get to see them do something out of the ordinary, out of that standard, okay, go and take mound control, YZ, I'll set you up with my stun. If we see something else on a gun round, that is perfect. That's what I want to see, because that's going to really put both these teams to the test.
Yeah, it's almost that full sense of confidence in those half buys, those lower kind of invested rounds. So you're happy to take those risks.
Risks, yeah.
But you kind of want, as I said, want to see them do it in a gun round. It worked so well for them there. Freed up the rotations, got
and
enough of a red flag that KRU pumped the brakes. They've gone, okay, that was a change. Something has changed here. They've been able to note that quickly enough, and they're not going to let it get out of hand, which I think is the right call here. Keep it within check. KRU Visa do not want to let this go. We know that Billy can be a momentum-based team as well. They get the wind on the sails, they start getting these players hitting. You don't want to be near it. It's terrifying to witness. They've got a couple of ults on Billy still. Got the nightfall there, get TP, but other than that, I'm looking at that lockdown still in place. You're looking at MTAs coming through as well. A couple of the KRU players very nearby. 10 rounds to their name.
And a different opening from Billy again here. They're faking that A control. They kind of have it. They leave Yosemite on the passive line, and here comes the rotation. Crew, they do have that lockdown, as you pointed out. They can use it either to get into the site, but more than likely they'll probably use it to secure the end of the round here. Getting into the site isn't their concern, but YZ already ready to open the door, stun ready. Stuns out, guns out.
Do they go for this? This could condemn them to death. Shy getting a little curious. You heard what happened to the cat already. That's the problem. It's a 1-1 trade out though. Shy so clean with it. Picks up Neff, and he's still controlling this whole area. It looked like a disjointed, I guess, attempt. I don't know what happened there. Like, two of them went for it. It wasn't fully set up. Maybe that investment from Shy, maybe him instigating it, made things go wrong. And you're right, there's the lockdown on top. Insult to injury. The site will be theirs. And it's a matter of time now until they roll out the red carpet.
But it pulls out the rotation. We already have an Omen here, but Breach and... Oh, that's the opening.
Okay.
3.
Wait, how? Kesnet going down there is wild. No safety on the plant either. He can't go for this. They're trying to play ahead of this. And they've still got 25 seconds. They could move around. There's still more to be done. Noting another player towards CT. They've got to know there's more here. Crew trying to secure the site. Plant is in. K-Knight, you've got to be money with this. Flexin is down so low, 17 HP. It's got to be perfect. It's got at least MTA, but it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. The stun not enough, and Crew stabilize. Shy then looking to kind of tip the scales in their favor because it felt like a disjointed effort. Billy then through the door.
The idea was good. The execution wasn't bad either. What happened, though, was Crew was actually silently moving away from the mound area because they got what they wanted. They got the orb, they made the noise, they got the information of who is where. Also, it was a big opening from Billy at the start of the round. They saw that wall coming up. They saw the haunt, the flash, all that stuff at A. They knew what was up. So, yeah, Billy, they just looked the wrong way.
Unfortunate. Let me go back in, starting to get a bit desperate here, starting to try and turn the screws, and they're not falling for a Crew. They know exactly what Billy wants, and they're not letting them have it. All these fights falling short. They were sheriffs, they were, you know, a dire attempt, a desperate attempt to deny 12, but Crew taking another critical step.
Map 3 जा सकता है by the way.
One of the players with the sheriff.
Yeah, man.
Next Icebox.
All good, guys, all good.
Billy का map.
NT.
That's going to be round 12 secured, most likely for Crew. Securing that overtime, potentially with a, what is this, the 4th flawless round that they would have in this half. Just a testament to, you know, Crew's not doing a bad job. They're playing their attack side kind of like how they normally do, finding those openings, but Billy, yikes.
एक मैप हुआ है सिर्फ ये नहीं करना था.
Yeah, this is... Again, I do want to give a lot of credit here towards Crew because they have played this out well. They suffer from similar issues as Billy when it comes to this. And they've been able to kind of navigate it in a very diligent way. A flawless round here. And that big round now ahead. Sliggy, I hope you've got the little pen ready. How many chances do they have? That is the question. Because this is now the back of the wall stuff. We can't even write on the screen. They've taken away our pen. So we need the streamers to step up.
I'm a little bit sad about that. There's been multiple times where I've reached out, I'm like, oh.
I can't even press it. Yeah.
No circles, no zooming, no fire.
None. Faker's face that we randomly put on stuff. But still, Billy, this is the time. If you want to have a go on this map, this isn't your choice. This isn't their pick. It was Icebox. But if they wanted to have a go, this is the last chance to dance to them, at least here and now. Crew have come out with the answers. They've looked ready. They look composed. They had a clear-cut approach in mind, and it's worked. And for now, they're walking towards B. They've got everything they need. The extremities are being watched. And you got a 3v3 basically on that B side for now.
Majana. Nice.
This could be really good for Billy here. They changed their opening, silently getting YZ up into that A lobby. They didn't use any utility, basically just a one-way smoke on the Omen that they keep refreshing here. And it opens up all the support players with that global utility, the breach stun, the flashes.
This has not been the first time he's been here though. YZ has played this position before. And he's not going to get played in this time either.
He's got the judge. He doesn't have to move.
They're drifting away from that. They don't like what they're seeing. So you've got two players, Flexin and Yosemite.
That Nightfall is going to come in for the attack on this opening here.
And I don't know where they go. I don't know what you do. Flexin looking kind of screwed here, barely alive. He's got utility left, right, and center trying to stall them out. Flank, again, it's with a judge. So it doesn't have the same value here. A brilliant readjust from Flexin, though. Calm under all that chaos, still gonna find Melzer. A counter roll, and now look who's here! Oh, that could have been
भाई
everything!
सब
Why
लोग
is he
बहरे थे
flying
करके
in?
जो
No
गुस्सा है
audio
वो
cues to be heard because of that nightfall, but still, they keep a man to the good. Kesnit Shy and MTA now trailing in
Get on
numbers, and
gap.
K-Knight, he can tuck into the
Cheeky.
corner. They're not gonna check in, the reward is there! They stay alive for another, not done
ए
yet.
लड़के वापस ही जाना था इसका टर्रेट
I
का
love
पोजीशन
it.
अच्छा
I
था
love it.
स्मोक
They're-
डाला था
These
और
rounds are
smoke.
so you just
उन लोगों
never
का
can
smoke भी
really
खत्म था।
know. You kind of know a little bit what's
लड़ना था।
going on. Okay, here comes the execute, here comes the nightfall, but you don't know what the end result of it is going to be. It's not as clean as clear cut as you think it would be once you see all the pieces in place, but you don't know which direction it's going to go. That's twice in one round where Billy had players kind of go, and after you clear the corner out, they sneak back in.
Yeah, they're so tricky. You've got to be so on your toes, dealing with them in those situations. But it's still a stark reminder. This is 12 for crew. They just need one more. That's it. Billy needs to keep doing this. We do have the pit now for Yosemite. We've got the TP still flexing. 2 away for YZ, 3 away from K-Knight. Neff obviously invested theirs in the last round.
Showstopper now.
किधर भी जा
Yeah,
सकते हो
Kesnet was
किधर
working
भी
towards that for a minute
किधर
there.
जाना है जाओ
That's now in hand. MTA's got theirs too. If they do get a plant, that could be a nice way to secure.
Coming back towards A, they know usually most teams on defense leave only one player to kind of spot or defend this choke point as the rest of the team shifts off.
But are they gonna just disrespect the one way? What do you want to do to go through this? The
Go
prowler's
on the
there.
refresh timing.
Yeah, they've slipped a player up. It's going to be MTA, but clearing behind it. Flexing. Again, they will clear all the question marks. They'll take back that space. They're not falling away. This is the second prowler to be used if he commits this.
The showstopper, he can pop it if they realize he's
isolated.
close.
There's a smoke behind him. There's no way out now for Flexing. He's got to be careful how he does this. And he dips away, but it's Shy to draw blood. Neff goes down. Flexing's going to be seething surely after all that pressure on him. He's going, how are you dying on B?
The rotation back to C, an open sight. But that retake wall, very different than what we normally see.
That's some IGL right there, guys.
He's going to force the crew players into the site.
That's some IGL right there. It's
all
over.
of this as well. Yosemite going to be relaying this information. They can't do much about it. TP going to come in, so they can at least get a quick rotation.
Viper's pit.
And there it is. Surely MTA going to pop this.
Deep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's CT locked off. But YZ trying to catch a little bit of a timing on that. A counter pit on top. Creeps on in, but the shorty waiting. Do they have much more to clear with? I'm seeing at least a haunt with heat, but not much more. YZ head first, dives in, trying to be outrageous in approach, out of bullets and out of chances. Yosemite takes down heat, and now a 3v3. The pit has gone. Billy with a couple of steps, but his crew keeping numbers, dropping bodies. K-Knight falls. It's crew with map.
Hashtag OP
13 to
in
9.
the
They
chat.
make it through the chaos. They kept their composure.
Next map,
Josh,
100%
and
Billy
that got
जीतेगा. Let's go,
dangerous.
baby.
Considering
अच्छा
that was
खेला ना
Crew's
crew.
map pick, and we saw Billy's form on it earlier this
भाई मस्त
week
खेला यार
against
crew.
Fnatic. That was a really fun map to watch. Both teams
Sorry यार
back and
crew मैं
forth
तारीफ नहीं कर
constantly.
पाया समझ रहे हो?
You really couldn't really predict what was going to
वरना
happen
left right
next.
होता
No,
तो
what a great game and what a great first map. We have Icebox on the horizon and of course the analyst desk, so don't go anywhere.
अच्छा खेला. Good fundamental. चैट अभी तुम लोग को टाइम है स्ट्रीम को लाइक करने का और वोट करने का. जिसने अब तक एसिटोर और मॉडल को वोट नहीं किया है करो. नेक्स्ट मैच चालू होने को 3-4 मिनट है, तो तब तक आपको क्या करना है? बाकी के काम, लाइक द स्ट्रीम, वोट एंड काम भाई. बाकी के काम, लाइक द स्ट्रीम, वोट एंड काम भाई. मैं सिंगर लिरिकिस्ट था मैं पहले. ये है मेरा नया रैप सॉन्ग. कैसा था चैट? आपके लिए 2 बार स्ट्रीम लाइक के मत करो यार, 3 बार करो. है बे कीबोर्ड है. हाँ है, लेकिन इससे बाप वाला कीबोर्ड कौन सा है पता है ना चैट? हैवी डील चल रहा है जस्ट सिंह. कौन सा है? आज रात को 9:30 बजे आ जाना गाइस. हटो, पिन कमेंट पे जाओ, पिन कमेंट पे जाओ भाई. 3री बार अवार्ड आ सकता है तुम्हारे वजह से. हर दिन वोट कर सकते हो. आज क्या होगा? आज देखते हैं 5 मैन या फिर डो करेंगे. फन करेंगे यार. आजकल फन वालों में मजा आ रहा है. रैंक जा रहा है लेकिन रैंक वो कर लेंगे. हापी पे भाई फिर भी खेल तो रहे हम लोग. वैलो ही ना यार. पानी लेके आ. भाई मुकरन आ रहा है 28 को. खेलोगे या उसका न्यू ट्रेलर आया है देखना. मैं खेलूंगा. 100% का खेलूंगा. मैंने देखा उसका ट्रेलर. बहुत अच्छा लगा मेरे को. 100% खेलूंगा.
सो गाइस फिलर आ चुकी है. कैसे हो? हाय महिमा जी. हेलो. बिंक्स तो नहीं है मैम.
जैसे एक सॉन्ग हो जाए. एक सॉन्ग. अबे गले पे लग रहा है.
For crew in this elimination match. I'm now joined by their head coach Alan. Now, it seems like a theme. You guys have great starts so far in this tournament, but looking ahead at the rest of the maps, Icebox was a map that you guys didn't want to play against DRX. What was the reason for you to leave it open this time around, and is that a risk at all, you think?
No, we think
I like the hoodie.
Was their best chance, like to having an advantage over us. So we decided to ban that map for this series to keep playing Icebox as we was. And,
what is that lip color,
just
dude?
face it and try to close this
Is it
series
tint?
2-0.
Hello, namaste.
Yes, I think we're really prepared for this.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much and best of luck on Icebox.
यूटिलाइज कैसे कर
And
सकते
crew
हैं?
managed to pick up a
होगा
big
कुछ
win
जल्द आएगा.
against
We'll try.
BLG at the start of this one on Lotus.
Language
And
motivational
Don't get it
guru.
wrong. All right, don't get it twisted. It was a tough one at times. BLG certainly made these guys work for each and every round that they got, Mimi.
Yeah, I think the game started pretty close. BLG had a lot of opportunities and some cool plays with their, especially their neon stuff on the attacking side. But second half, as it was in their game against Fnatic, it was all about the team play being off. And this entire half was just BLG in solo positions and crew contacting around the map as a group and having man-up fights that they won.
Yeah, I mean, it was just painful to watch, really, as well, just putting it out like this, because you watch a few months of crew, you know how they play, which is this contacting style. They group up as 3 to 5. It's optional in terms of the amount of bodies that you decide to put onto it if your crew.
Depends if you want to be involved or not.
Yep, depends if you want to be involved. And they just contact in and make sure that they peek together and take fights together. If you're just going to offer them constantly these solo engagements, like, don't get me wrong, Heat, Kesnet, saving a day in multiple moments, you have to be hitting for this playstyle to work. But that's the thing about crew. They got firepower in spades. Most of the players are going to be hitting on an average day. And I think it's showcased in that second half where they just absolutely stole the spotlight.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing BLG needs is to just slow things down on their defensive sides. Take that time to group back up and play a little bit more structured.
They were a little too far ahead sometimes. Sticking way too long around, like, you know, especially in like some of those earlier fights.
And don't get me wrong, BLG has good individuals. We saw that with players like YZ, but I still think they got gapped, not only by the strong individuals from crew, players like Shot having an incredible map there, but overall, it's just a complete team play diff, I think, for crew to go up a series.
You know, if it works for them, right? The contacting around the map, looking to take those fights here and there, right?
It's very strong against teams that lie like fully in individualism, I think. Like, just trying to swing for a smoke, trying to take a fight.
Teddy bear kidhar gaya sab?
Why is he? There was elements of him trying to be set up by somebody Yuto because they're running that initiator comp on that first map.
Yeah.
You know, you saw some fault lines and he's peeking, he's gliding, whatever, just trying to get the picks.
Jinx!
But I think Crew's playstyle will rip apart teams that opt into fights all the time if they're not ready to really just back it up with even more utility, with even more bodies, which we didn't really see evidence of.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Well,
Extreme
let's go ahead
Digimon,
and take a look. You mentioned YZ. Well, let's talk about him a little bit more in our Verizon high-speed moment. YZ picked up a 3K in round 5. And, you know, this is the guy that you're going to, you know, be looking toward to be the X factor for this team. And when he does have those moments, which is what we saw, you know, like a few times, especially on Lotus against Fnatic last time they played, right? YZ was
even in this round,
on that.
Look where he is compared to the rest of his team. He has ran all the way around the site before anyone else is even touching the plant zone.
He does take the right pauses to wait for like a fault line, to wait for a seize before he peeks. Like, that's the reason he's got a 3-piece.
Yeah,
it's because he's waiting for the key piece of util to set him up for success in those fights. Got to see more of that, I think, moving into the second map, 100%, because it was a little bit more of the ladder, which was just, again, individualism, hero plays to try and salvage them out of a really poor situation.
And when you think back to the big upset last year against NRG, I think it did have to rely a lot on the individualism to step that up, but I think we did see more rounds like that one we watched where it did rely a little bit more on having util to set up. I think Billy in both series now has been better on their attacking sides. I think their protocols are a lot cleaner there. I really think map 2 is all about cleaning up their defense if they want to come back.
Well, let's talk about map 2 briefly, because we have Icebox coming up here. You heard Coach Adam mention that they felt like Bind was their best shot at winning, and they wanted to take that shot away from them. But KRU's Icebox isn't something to be too enthusiastic about.
It's not too hot. It's really not too hot, but I do
You can say
like...
it's ice.
Okay, you're pushing it like that, GP.
Get
a little bit too silly. It's camps, we're going to be serious. You're getting too silly. No, but I do like his reasoning where he's just getting rid of Bind, because I completely agree. It's the strongest map for Billy and YZ as well with his playstyle. I think that the fact that they can just go into these big exits, they don't have to rely on their macros. It really lends itself to the strengths of Billy as a team. You saw that they contested with Fnatic and pushed them in a lot of degrees as well. This round. So they removed the biggest strength away. I don't hate it. You basically bank on the fact that one of your maps that you're poorest at, you're still going to be better at your opponents, even though they want to play into it.
Yeah. Well, let's we'll shelve that talk about Icebox for a second and hear from the coach over at Billy, because I want to know what's going on over there as they get ready for map 2.
I've got Coach Bio here from BLG with me, and ahead of map 2. Now, there were some chaotic moments for you guys on map 1. I wanted to ask you, is there anything you want to see differently from your players going on to map 2?
1세트에는 약간 혼란스러운 그런 경기가 펼쳐지기도 했었잖아요. 2세트 앞두고 좀 선수들이 어떤 점을 보완하면 좋을까요?
사실 혼란스러운 거를 조금 많이 유도를 일부러 했고요. 저희가 약간 이제 흔히 말하는 이제 개싸움 그런 거를 조금 자신 있어 해서 그거를 좀 많이 중점적으로 연습을 했었는데, 어쨌든 세세한 콜에서 조금 스킬 타이밍이 좀 안 맞는 게 좀 있었다라든가 아니면 이제 샷미스가 조금 많이 나오다 보니까 로터스를 좀 주게 됐는데, 2세트는 아무래도 저희가 고른 아이스박스니까 저희끼리 준비한 것만 사실 잘하면 문제는 없을 것 같아요. 선수들이 뭐 긴장하거나 뭐 그런 건 딱히 없어서 컨디션이 가장 중요할 것 같습니다.
Well, we actually wanted it to be chaotic. That's how we wanted the Lotus to go. Kind of, you know, the so-called dogfights that we wanted to take. But I think there was slight miscommunication and mistakes when it comes to a little bit of timing and util usage and stuff. But Icebox is our map pick, and we're very well prepped. I don't think the players are feeling nervous at all. So if we play a clean game and our best game as we prepped, then I think we're good.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much, Jen, and thank you, Coach Bio, as well.
I love the, we like to play a little muddy, but also we're going to play a clean game on Icebox. I happen to appreciate that.
And I mean, this guy would know a thing about that. Coach Bio, not Chinese, he's Korean, and he's a legend in the Korean esports scene. One of those original members in CS trying to bring that same success for Billy here in Korea. We see their comp, it's pretty much similar to what we were playing as a standard last year, but with a solo KO instead of Sova, which really giving up that drone, I feel like, is a big loss.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I think you're kind of missing, I think, a big on clearance as well. You have to be really diligent in terms of jump peaks.
And against Kesnet,
Kesnet is on the jet now. He switched that back. He was playing Arena before, I believe, off the top of my head.
He was.
And he's going to be leaning into the op as well as part of the defensive protocols. They're starting on a defensive half. I'm going to be paying big attention to that. I think the Billy might get eviscerated. It depends. I mean, if KRU can get the ball rolling, the pistol round win, get the economy flowing, maybe that's a big factor to look forward to.
I think that is the biggest danger. If Billy's is going to find success. I think it has to come off of following up this KO, trying to find some cleaner pop flash plays to get YZ success. But I think it's going to be tough. Crew's looking good right now in prime to end Billy's year.
Billy is looking down the barrel of elimination. Can they manage to force their way back into a map 3, back into this series? Let's send it back over to your casters now. Pansy and Steel.
Giveaway corona, please. Excuse me.
Thank you, GB in the desk, and I think they kind of highlighted a couple of the points that we wanted to kind of lean into as well. Coming into this though, on paper, a good opportunity for Billy to do some work, but there are some things that are standing out to you here, Josh, that caught your eye that could mean a problem or two, and it comes in the name of Kesnet pretty much.
Kesnet, Billy need to basically win Pistol and get the rounds going in their favor right now. They need to keep the economy down for Crew. Once Kesnet gets that op up, Billy, they don't really have any options. They have no drones or darts. They're going to have to just repeat, go A. But here, coming towards B, they got that pistol round. Melzer just backs off, knows he can't really deal with this.
Yeah, instantly calling in the cavalry, but they're going to have the site, at least to the extent where they can secure a plant here for Billy. So wall's going to go up deep.
Deep wall.
Yeah, that's nice. And YZ actually going to try and contest the kitchen too. Why not take the space you feel you've been given here? The knife only noting Melzer earlier on. Ooh, careful. Yeah, almost got caught there. I was worried if someone was peeking on that wall, dropping, but no. All safe, all sound for now. 5v5 post plant.
This flank.
Oh, the timing though. YZ's position's fantastic, but it is going to be countered in a way. Kesnet, back-to-back impact. YZ needs to kind of almost mirror that as well. You're simply finally securing the back line, but there's so much pressure. They've already got site control. They've got steps towards this Crew, clearing out, clearing house, and claiming that first critical round. That's huge for them here. And I quite like the initial approach from Billy, but that post plant, they couldn't hold it.
They didn't follow through with their plan. They got into that site. They got it for free. They got exactly what they wanted.
Especially Trace or
EDG. Into the tube, into like on the bridge.
Yep.
They've got that space. Why not kind of reinforce that area, get players under the jet, make it really tricky for Crew to find their way back in. Yes, Kesnet has a good flank. Yes, Shy's got that Sheriff on that long range, but I mean, that first kill still went in the way of YZ. Like, that should be a round that Billy gets. And if they're not able to convert these post plants on a round that's gifted to them like this, I feel like Crew, they're just going to walk away with this map as well.
We'll see. We'll see if there's fight in them yet. Just a ghost for Yosemite in the restaurant classics. Here. Looking at Kesnet with the Outlaw as well, so hoping to maybe take that through. He already going to find YZ. Shouldn't be too much to write home about in this sort of round. Oh, easy enough. Easy enough. And if Kesnet starts feeling confident, that scares me. You're going to get the knives up early. You're going to start feeling out the game a bit. The confidence starting to build, because he is part of the win con, right? You want to see him with that operation quite early on. You could imagine to maybe apply further pressure here. Neff, outgunned on this one. And yeah, very secure.
Clean round. Array loading ke 14.
Looking to get through that round, it felt like.
It really does feel like Billy doesn't have any options outside of
is it gonna be GG or
NT? Towards A, because it's very hard to clear out that back yellow area on B. If they keep going towards A though, and Kesnet's sitting there, I mean, he's got that outlaw right now.
What puts him off the
what takes him off
the line?
The flash, maybe, but you
really
have to capitalize on that timing. The only other option really is using something around middle, but right now, I mean, Kesnet's trying to get that info down tube right now.
I'm looking at any light shields, no, so they're going to have noted that Outlaw before. It can still do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. And it's a proactive start from Crew. There was a supporting act towards Kesnet, taking some sort of pressure down towards Tube. He did have the two players. I think Heat was not too far away, and Shy. Now, something you were considering, and it looks like that is the right answer, at least for Billy, was this approach towards A. Almost has to be reticent in approach on this. 3 players committed towards that maze side swing. Wall's going to go up, though. And YZ, head first for Halos. I don't know what the plan was. Maybe hoping he'd be able to get towards the back line, get some pressure, but it's swatted away. What felt like almost too easily. And the pressure on the side for K9, they're going to have to fall away for a second, get himself healed up, go for the high plant towards Nest. That is going to go in. No spam on that one.
Spam
They can start shifting back into the post plant. K9 going to take a body with him, though. That Shy gone down. Big impact, and it's tricky to make these guns work. You have Guardians here. Stingers, 1 upgrade for MTA, and Kesnet does have the Vandal as well, so they've got a little bit of something.
No smokes for 8 seconds.
There's the pressure as well towards the plant. Kesnet, we're going to take down Neff, though. There comes at least... deflected! It bounced off for Crew now! Nothing's stopping them! Oh, is there. Billy gonna be kicking themselves for that.
Yeah,
that's
tough. Because Billy, they got in. Yeah, YZ goes down early. I think that flash from the KO is supposed to deal with that player there, but perfectly positioned.
Yeah,
perfectly positioned. I think under the rafter.
Under the rafters.
The flash might have popped a little bit too high,
Maybe we
and
catch
then.
That. Let's see.
Oh,
it went over the wall.
Just over the wall. Otherwise, full blind opening for Billy. And it's these post plants that they're not able to convert that well. KRU doing a really good job again here on the retake, though. Smiling and laughing about it.
Yeah.
Wingman just stuck it. No contest.
Wow. Okay. And YZ,
fast
there's no stopping this, but it's individual. It's disconnected, and it finds him nothing. That's, again, this plays very heavily towards KRU every time this sort of scenario happens. Still with the Outlaw coming in. Light armor on Neff, light armor on Yosemite. Billy, rinse, repeat. Back towards this site, a different plant here, safer, securer. They do at least have, actually, speak about it, not that much util for the post plant this time around, so they can't play it the same way.
They're also down a man. Looking to get that opening.
Dizzy going through, doesn't find what they wanted, but Heat's going to kind of backfill the space. You thought that was his every day. Probably not. K-Knight lives. Hard to deal with this deeper post plant, drawing out the utility as they go. And Shy already clearing out Yosemite. Another tap on the spike should draw another player forward. It's going to be Neff this time to challenge, and good trades. KRU keeping this at least competitive. MTA!
Holy,
sexy
Mara.
KRU dealing with this. I've got to say, I want an early timeout for Billy here. These post plants, those deeper holds,
Last
are
round
not working,
Josh.
Josh. They're getting the site, they're getting the plant, but beyond that, they're not able to hold it.
I'm not trying to be cringe. It just comes naturally. But KRU's really bringing the heat right now here. Again, another opening kill for him. And yeah, I mean, a timeout would be nice, but I don't know how much of the actual issues are, because they're getting onto the sites, they're getting the spike planted. That hasn't been the issue. They've got it clean on pistol round, they got it a couple times down on A as well without really that much issue. The problem is converting the late round. They're out of abilities and they're falling back, and here, they just get the fuse under their noses basically. Wingman on round 3, and then here it's just, they got to get some kills.
Yeah, it sounds so simple when you say it that way.
Just kill.
But now we have the added issue, the one that we were talking about, the desk was alluding to, the operator with Kesnet. That in hand, it controls, it commands so much respect. A similar exec that we saw before. No one playing ahead. Kesnet not going to be sat down towards the lower side of rafters. A similar plant going to be coming in, I can imagine. No spam on this. And it's Shy, finds flexing, and already the backline going to be pressured this time by Kesnet on a long flank. Billy can't sit deep anymore. They've tried it before and it didn't work out. Hunter's Fury maybe going to clear out here. You're looking at Melza maybe to swing on it. He does. Yosemite gets caught. He goes down. And player by player, they're falling. And the pressure, the issues compounding. K-Knight's gone. This is simplistic work from KRU. They make it look so easy.
The slow strangle. Billy from all angles. A flawless team ace as well. It's just,
so embarrassing,
you don't really have that many options with this composition if you're Billy. Maybe if you split off 2 or 4-1 instead of a 5-man hit, you're getting the site for free. Kesnet hasn't even been opping. Like, it's so easy for KRU right now, and they haven't even been opping. What's going to happen now when the op comes out? Are you going to switch it up and try to go B instead? Well, what options do you have? Again, once that knife lands at yellow, you have nothing else to clear out. Is there someone else? Is there a bait setup? And then again, once you get that plant with that wall down, what is the next action? But they have the res. Maybe they can go somewhere else.
Maybe I was kind of I say maybe hoping to get a lurk on top of this, but it's still going to be like there are options for Billy, but you're already 5-0 down. It feels uncomfortable. You still need to find out where Kesnet is early on, right? You still need to go through that protocol list that gets added in. Maybe you can activate a lurk to pressure on that on post plant. Maybe deal with a little bit of something, but it's still not easy. You're banking on them maybe not having utility in the right place. There's still so much for them to work through to deal with KRU here.
And they've tried that lurk actually. They tried inserting up too early. He put them down in that too early. Thrash is up now for the defense as well. I do want to see Billy
Cool friends.
utilize this res sometime early on. Right now, KRU's letting them into the site. Hey, nothing's going to happen. But maybe Billy starts somewhere, goes for that early fight on that long range, picks up the player with the res, and then once they've diagnosed the setup, they make a plan and go somewhere else. I want to see them use middle a little bit more. It's going to be so tough for them to go actually commit to an ending on B, but it looks like here
we wanted to see this.
Or
This was
plant
the worry. This was
or
the threat. The operator
KRU
in
भी आ सकता है और
hand.
plant और वो मिला तो.
Right place, right time. How does it fare? Kesnet getting curious.
Solo
Volley at elbow.
कैसे clear करेंगे?
That opening for Kesnet.
Offer
Post
को
on garage.
कैसे clear करेंगे?
Careful.
Solo KO fan.
No drone to clear him out.
This looks like a death sentence if they keep going this way. There's the first shot and the flash. He's forced off the first angle. They can start taking steps. The knife going to be dealt with though. So they still... Oh,
Good
lovely
flash.
follow-up flash. That is fantastic from
और
Neff.
blind था,
Finding
bro.
Kesnet. That's exceptional work from him. High Dizzy going to come out
कैसे
though.
clear
And it
करेंगे?
looks like they want to
थोड़ा
fish
सा
out
पागल
on
हो
this.
गया।
This is very early. There's only one player to really work with this, that being Melzer. And they can't get any value for it particularly. All in play. We're into a deeper post plant. Kesnet can't disrupt that. Already falling so early on. No flank this time. Why is he sticking close here? Maybe trying to be a real nuisance, and he is! Great from him to find two. KRU not expecting that level of pressure. And now Shine Heat, this is tough. So many players that can just swing, catch it, invest a little util, but for me, Neff was the MVP in this round from start to finish. The knife, the flash is Shy, putting up some work here. Oh my, Shy! Stop it! Stop it, flexing! Thank you for that, Billy. Gonna keep it on track at least here. Costly as hell, but we doubted the validity, the effectiveness of that KO, and it put so much pressure on Neff for those flashes to be perfect, but they were.
They were both flashes used so early just to take that space at B long. But I love this play from YZ, getting through that wall on that retake, knowing that the players are going to be close. Luckily, he got that line up. It could have been really bad, but they need to do something different than just backing off and letting KRU get back onto the site. So I do respect that, and it is going to be something that they need to keep doing. A lot of pressure and weight's going to be on YZ's shoulders to keep repeating this.
And Neff isn't playing with the pack this time. He was taking a look towards middle.
I like what they're doing, though. You see where they're positioned? They're positioned so that they could get rezzed if they do go down early. YZ sees nothing, realizes maybe it's an open site, but also realizes maybe the jet off is towards B this round.
And there it is, confirmation. At least of where Kesnet resides. And all this space. MTA's got to have no idea. Maybe consider someone's nearby, but it's a gamble, right? You're banking on it being through that maze side rather than towards default.
Though.
Got to be careful with that barrel, but actually, they've managed to kind of pass by each other. YZ securing a lot of security here.
This is good. This is good positioning. If he doesn't get cleared, he could be good for them, but I don't want to jinx it. He's got those Blade Storms out, and it's really... If you miss...
Speaking of misses, already Kesnet doing the dance, and he comes out on top of that. 10 from the judges, as YZ has to back away here. Viper's Pit on top makes this difficult. They've secured the back line as well. They've got a lot here. That's the lockdown here. Gonna force the hand to touch. Does it get dealt with?
Seems like...
It does, just about at the end, so they get to keep their positions, make it harder for KRU to try and clear house. How do they get them out of this Viper's Pit so far with a kill on K-Knight? You can see them considering getting closer. They got to go now. YZ trying to hold the line, but there's going to be the defuse starting, and finally taking away YZ. Still doing damage, just 74s, and done the job. Nuts. Retake there. That was so damn close.
So close, but not good enough for Billy. KRU is so good on these retakes, and just when you thought, hey, there's no way. There's no way. But KRU pull it off, and they're consistently pulling this off. Lots of ultimates up now for Billy. It's just, it comes down to these late rounds, and there's no utility left for Billy to really just do anything. And again, it's the second time this wingman's coming clutch on this defuse.
That little guy, what a champion of people.
Oh, it's so sad for Billy right now because they use their timeout already.
Yeah.
They have 3 really big ultimates, but they don't have the economy to follow it up.
Oh, Guardians, Ghosts, and Classics. Oh.
Kesnet on this B line. The rest of the team already stacking towards A. It's going to be 4 versus 5 here. The KO maybe gets him into the site, but is that it?
Are you going to go for it here? Man. And again, you look at the disconnect between the next layer, the next player forward, it's individual now. Billy's starting to falter here. And KRU just keeping this in hand, keeping security, keeping safety. It's all on Yosemite. He's got 2. He'd need all 5. And the spike left where it is doesn't make it any easier. 33 HP and 3 players sitting in a very tough position. Hello. Spike is there. Glad to see Prius on the free cams. Look at him. Catching the spike. Proud of you. And this pause for thought isn't going to go too far. Left. Again, Yosemite would have to get that spike back, and they're still so cognizant of where it's dropped. And that's position noted now. No one's taking that fight. You may, well, I say that, Kesnet does. Okay, fair play. You're kind of ringing the dinner bell at that point, really. Just praying to be put out of misery. 7-1 here. This was the map you kind of hoped, right? And they're burning both timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, it's you have to. You're going into round 9. You're down 7-1. You have 3 really big ultimates. You've been getting into the site. You've been getting the spike planted. You've been losing on the post plants, namely because you're all falling back. And KRU's doing a really good job. Sometimes they include a flank. Sometimes it's just straight up. Okay, we'll go in heavy for the spawn. We get the wingman on the spike. Force them to peek us. But what can we do to make this a little bit different? Because this is our
statistically one of our better chances.
And we're starting attack.
Which is meant to be.
It's meant to be our stronger side. So if we're going into defense and we're at a round deficit worse than like maybe 4, it's just going to be so hard. So not only do they have to come back, they have to come back at 7-5 almost if they want to have a chance into the second half. So here, second timeout burned, and they need to have a good plan coming out of this. Kesnet still has that op. He's been shifting around, namely starting towards B. Once he did a mid-walk with an outlaw, but we haven't really seen Billy do anything other than 5-man A or 5-man B. Occasionally they did send one player towards middle to kind of sniff it out, see what they could get, but to no avail.
These ults are so impactful. But my worry is that if Neff doesn't do what he did before, I mean, Neff's only got 1 kill, but again, it's what he was doing in the meantime to try and set them up here. How much freedom does Kesnet get? Do the ults even matter? It comes down to this. Knife goes in, that should at least catch towards Melzer.
Good damage.
It's caught both. But Kesnet doesn't care. He's sticking around enough for a shot. There's going to be the ult coming out. We spoke about these ults. But there's no respect being shown from KRU. You've got to force it. You've got to make them respect you. And that's why they don't. Kesnet's great for it. Melzer on the follow-up. They're locking this down. Now does it swing, though? Billy's starting to clear out, but Heat's made it here. The whole crew is on site, and they aren't moving. It's not enough to force them away. These half-made plans, these hopes are falling to pieces for Billy.
That wasn't even a half-made plan. That was a timeout plan. That is the strat they pulled out after deliberating for 30 seconds. This is like, okay, we go B. Yeah, he's got off there. It's okay. He gets one early. We res. It's okay. We pop KO ulti. We go in there, lock down the post plan. Easy peasy. But it's not easy peasy. They can't even get past that yellow, and they're getting crossfired. Melzer sitting behind the box. Billy, what else do you have? You got to use it right here.
There's no recon.
And this is probably one of the closer games on paper when you were looking at it in these sort of situations. You expected with the maps coming through, maybe, yes, they'd win their map, and then the third could be the close affair, but as it stands, we're not going to Sunset. The brutality of Champs is so crystal clear here. KRU elevating, KRU looking ready, and Billy not quite having what it takes this time, it feels like, but it's 8-1, it's not over yet. Still a purchase, still a couple of those ults, and another attempt towards the A site. And KRU going to get more and more confident here.
Flexin, he's moving up towards B, off the back of all this noise, off the lockdown. Maybe trying to listen for rotation here. But is it just going to be a long game? Just a long flank? Seems like it. Team's committed into that site. Going to get that spike planted.
Fury,
he tanks it, but he goes down for it maybe? narrowly.
Keep their lives. They're standing, still alive. Late wall goes in.
Flanks on the way.
Fish Shoal gonna come through from Heat though. That's gonna send them forward, flexing. Like an assassin in the back lines. Now gets a challenge in the form of Melza, but the site's now getting contested. They're under scrutiny, they're under pressure because MTA is just racking up the bodies. Flexing though, trying to be the hero they need, but MTA is cooking them up here. And he's gonna at least get this to off. He has to get off this though. Another 1v1 for pretty much all the marbles here. Flexing, is that work? All of what you did worth it?
He sticks it.
He sticks this. Oh, he just came off in time, Flexing.
Oh my god.
Saving Billy. At least in this round.
Oh my god.
Labored.
We wanted the lurk. We wanted the lurk.
We got the lurk, and it paid off. It killed the Gecko. That means no wingman on the spike.
True.
These are big win conditions here. But nobody alive for Billy. Like, they had to do everything. They used everything. Everyone died just to get that one more round on the board.
It was the race to the ace between these two. That was it. Literally, who aces first? 4 for either player, and then the 5th confirmed, giving Billy their second round. For Kesnet, he's feeling out the game a bit, starting to get a bit of a read in this, but flexing. He's around that corner, and he's good for it now. Billy starting to get that early blood. Maybe Crew seeing red here. Starting to heat up themselves, maybe a little too much. Getting frustrated and a little curious. Now they're going to leave it, I think it's YZ, over on a mission towards A. But all of the pressure is on this side of the map.
Is he going to call them back?
I don't know. Oh, a glimpse caught for Heat there. He was thinking about it. There's 3 players on this. The timing from YZ is... Oh, there's a flank. Get your gun out! Shy! What was happening? YZ strikes. And do they find him in time? They don't. Wow, they caught a glimpse, but it doesn't seem to matter. YZ cutting through him like a hot knife through butter. MTA almost aced before, not going to get an opportunity. Billy carving out the smallest window of chance.
The question is it too little, too late? Because this round, it's not the 8-4 curse, it's the 9-3 curse, you know? It's going to be a really tall order for them going into that second half. They still have that res. It's been online since like round 3, and they are kind of using positions where they could res early death. But again, I mean, we're going to see the op-out for Kesnet. Billy, they need to go for 4 right here.
You want a chance. You want to pry and stay alive. This round could be the gateway to it, and the timings, everything. And it's a quick approach from YZ. Oh, and again! Shots missed left and right. Both getting a second lease of life. Who makes the most of it? It looks like Melza for now going to take down YZ and Kesnet. Still standing, surrounded by the enemy. Oh, they're trying to wrap on him. No, you can't. Shut him down, Crew. Support their man. Keep Kesnet alive. And keep the scoreline looking lethal. 9-3. Billy have the smallest of chances here, Josh. It is down to the wire going forward. It's now or it's never, or they're going home.
Fnatic will have a tough time, guys.
Red Bull gives you wings.
भाई तो सच्ची में जिंक से आज करना पड़ा यार. आज करना पड़ा. जेट बहुत विफ कर रहा है. सिर्फ अल्ट विफ किया उसने. Okay, to play as well with a Gecko or so this comp you can play Sova solo, Sova bol raha, Chaos solo initiator you can play, but then the trade should be on point. Like at least Chaos के suppress information में तुम लोगों को कुछ करना पड़ेगा या फिर उसके blind में space लेके कुछ करना पड़ेगा और कुछ ने कहा तो मार. सॉन्ग नेम लिखा हुआ है नीचे.
9-3 on the half, and yes, we are on Icebox. Yes, this was Billy's pick, but KRU came prepared, Josh. They had everything they needed, and the question then becomes, is 3 rounds enough? And I think a lot of us have a feeling of what the answer is to that, but Theorycraft would make what makes the difference? What keeps Billy in this? Is there something you see, or is it literally down to determination and the will to not lose at this point? Are we clutching at those straws already?
They used both of their timeouts on that. Enough 3 going into it. It is the 9-3 curse,
yes.
But I want to see something that we've never seen before on this map. Perhaps it's going to be such a difficult crawl back into even just tying the game up, and I don't know if we've seen enough from them to expect that right now.
Let's find out. 9-3 as said. KRU now on the attacking side, Billy on the defense, and they have to be near on faultless, if not flawless, and they're going for a mid-walk. A brave play, a bold play, and perhaps one they have to go towards. Now the turret's going to know at least one.
They didn't break the turret though, so they don't have to worry about their flank. KRU, they're going to go in once that Viper wall goes down.
Yep, and it's go time. Dizzy going to lead the way, clear through on site. They now know that no one's at least in the standard positions. First spot made, and the first frag found is going to be empty. What are they up to? Billy just walking in, hoping and praying that it works out in their side, and right now the prayers barely being answered. You've got a 1v2. Oh, it's not happening. That just fell to pieces.
Under pressure, guys. Nah.
Why? YZ. That is the airport code for Toronto.
The more you know.
Nah.
Speaking of airports, 10-3. I mean, that's not how you want to start it, Josh. Let's cut to the quick. Let's talk how it is. I didn't mind the start. I quite like them being proactive, trying to, take some of the map space away, trying to, play. I like the pressure. Yes, I don't mind that. But then, what was this approach with tap on the spike? They just flew in.
Not entirely sure. They have that Sage Wall. They should be comfortable letting the round develop, finding their openings, going in for that together. The together is the part that they're missing right now. It's so disjointed. Another stack here, though. KRU been doing such a good job on these types of rounds, finding out where that stack is, avoiding it, hitting that lane of least resistance. Shy.
Oh,
1 for 1.
But you can lose that player. You're allowed to lose that player. Beyond that, that's when weapons start dropping.
We saw this on Lotus. As soon as Billy showed themselves, maybe even got a kill, they instantly tried to get ahead of the rotation and go to the other side. KRU, understanding this, learning from what happened in this last map, they're waiting, letting the round simmer a little bit. Now they're going to go back towards B. They know it's probably empty, maybe one person at most. That knife coming, getting broken. But it's going to be a free sight.
It is. The pressure's probably going to be through middle if you're looking where they are. And you're looking at YZ mostly. Still got a Sheriff.
There's no Sage Wall for this retake. It's just pistols and pure grit, I guess.
Yeah, how are you meant to break that against an Outlaw, a Guardian, and a Vandal with heat? You're going to need a round from the man on the screen, pretty much. YZ. He was on Raze. I might give him it, but this one... Man, it is a tall task. You kind of hoping someone plays him in. You got a flash there for yellow, but that's about it. He and Kesnick probably turn that. Here we go. Can he even cross that far? Going to spot out Melzer on the way, but now the flash going to fade, and KRU digs their heels in. 12 is calling.
Last round.
KRU survival looks more and more likely.
If you had one shot, one opportunity.
Usually teams दूसरे जगह fast
Billy, they need to convert this round. It is the bonus round for KRU. Outlaw still in play. A couple of light shields on the Billy players, so that could be dangerous if Kesnet finds that opening.
Yeah.
And again, it's going to be so hard for Billy to actually get any sort of information into this round. They don't have that dart or drone from the Sova, which is, a really common pick, at least for any sort of drone initiator. But right now, they have to just go in. Aggression here.
They're just praying they don't make it to 12, that they don't get the bonus.
Oh,
YZ. He went all in on it, but a blind spot. When I say spot, it was a mile wide. And that's an early pick. Melzer can at least show presence elsewhere. No free rotations now, no quick flanks to be had. KRU can pause for thought. They're still above a minute.
It's so good from KRU because they realize they have the advantage. They let Billy sweat, and Billy isn't really great in these situations where they go down a man. Usually someone goes exploring. We're seeing that right now from Flexen, and it might actually pay out in their favor. He's got all this garage line. Maybe he lets his teammates know, hey, it's going to be a stack towards there now. Might be the saving grace in this moment. KRU still the good grasp of this round. Sage wall goes down. Now the hit is possible. Knifed. It's going to slow it down a few more seconds.
Get quite late here, though.
That Viper's going to bypass that turret. This flank is going to be everything. Now, Billy
with the ult,
they just need to live on the site.
Yeah, can they survive? Oh my! The fish got moves, and KRU got the site. Flexen has to save them again. We asked him for 4 before, and he's going to have to pretty much do it one more time. He gets 2. Shayo and Heat in unison. 12 was calling, and now it's been answered. It's 12 for KRU now. And Billy's hopes and dreams ride on this round. And there's not much more to be said here. They got a good map against KRU. This should have been where they could have pressured, but it's fallen to pieces, Josh. This is what it comes down to now. No armor on half of these rifles they're trying to buy.
9 rounds in a row. They have to win just to get to overtime for their basically tournament life. And just the way that KRU's been playing this.
The disparity is so evident.
It's so hard.
KRU are not letting this one slip, and Billy on the receiving end of all of that fire, all of that want. And 3 rounds is maybe all they're going to be stuck on here, but another chance.
Respect, though. They're still playing fearlessly. They're showing they're not afraid. They're on the ropes of going down, but they still open up aggressively. Didn't find what they wanted. Reset. Look for it somewhere else.
It looks like that mid-walk is there. Pure, their answer. And they only find Shy. Plenty of players spotted. That's 2 more players noted. YZ and Yosemite both going to be considered here, but he's still going for more. He's still trying. Fearless, as you said, but to a fault. There's still 3 players up against them. K-Knight, Flexen, and Yosemite. Kesnit, Melzer, and Heat.
This positioning, though, from Yosemite, he needs that Viper. Flexen needs to be able to bait for him this Gecko Flash.
He still at least has the alarm bot there. And now that gets dealt with. Does he swing on it? He does. Oh no, but the shot doesn't land how he wants it. But Flexing trying to save him.
Shit.
And now all down a Heat with 14 HP. He's got a zoo worth of animals to go through to try and help him out, but still surely not. No, Flexing. Keeping them secure, keeping them safe. Another round. But it is a long road to walk this game back.
8 chances.
Next round,
That's Billy. I mean, they found their openings. YZ was able to not only get those openings, but they were able to convert off of it and capitalize. But it's just so tough. A couple of players down there, 4 kills up. He's right now not having a good game, but it's so hard to get into these situations. You're on Sage. Basically, you spend the entire game walling up and planting. And then as KO, you're the solo initiator. You've spent the entire game throwing knives and flashes so your teammates can get in. And it just comes down to those post rounds.
Yeah, and the worrying thing is Kesnit might just have a round. He spotted out 2 there. He knows where YZ is. He knows where K-Knight was. Or at least a pixel showed. And the swing from YZ, again, they're trying to play each other in here, but it's Heat to punish. Takes down YZ, and they can sit back now. They can pause, Josh. They've got 1 minute 20. They're in no hurry.
Pause and make them sweat. KRU, it's their signature move. And it works really well because when you sweat, you're on your tournament life here. Oh. They peak again.
Kesnit's got to be careful. KRU just taking their time. They can let this simmer for a second. Don't need to overdo it just yet. Still 2 knives to play with, but he'll need to
Sage wall.
Punish. A nice late Sage wall there.
It's going to expire. 13 seconds left in the round. The only way through it is over it for now. So the rotation comes back into middle. Reinforce that B, but KRU probably just comfortable waiting it out and going at the last second if they need to.
Yeah, KRU don't mind running it late here. They're not the ones really with the pressure. They've got 12 rounds. They get the luxury. He's made it through with a quick attempt towards the side. That's going to be a plant. And they've got to respond accordingly. Already there are issues here. Heat's doing a lot of work already this round. He's got support from Kesnit up top. He's looking for a fight, doesn't get what he wants. Neff gonna keep hope alive. Bring it back to a 4v4, but you look at the deeper post plants, you're looking at the flank potentially for Flexen as well, who's becoming a heavy hitter for this team. But how many times can he do this? Neff gonna have the knife in 4, but maybe it's just the gun he needs. A third claimed in the round, and now a 1v2.
Here at the flank?
He should have done.
Yeah.
Heat, can he keep this? Can he be the one to secure it? Oh my god! On a heater this round, forward secure it and keep them standing. The flexing again. Time is close. Wait.
Oh, time नहीं है.
Circle.
Time नहीं है.
I'm not
Time नहीं
sure.
है. Time नहीं है.
I'm really not sure. I think it's too late. It is.
Shit.
Crew making it through the very end there. Billy are going to be devastated with this one. You thought with the map, or you thought with everything, they might have had enough.
Guys, क्या लगता है? Fnatic के लिए easy होएगा?
Close game, but Icebox, they were blown out of the water.
It wasn't even close in that second round.
Huh?
In that second map, a crew looking really solid on their attack side.
कल का दिन
Hesnet
good
being
day
able
for
to get
China
some
था.
impact with
आज
that
का
off
दिन
as
bad
well.
day for China.
So, still some life in them as they'll advance.
मेरे को लग रहा है ये लोग का था टीम प्ले चैट्स वैट सब था स्लो हिट फास्ट सब था
Billy are always dangerous. We've learned that the hard way. We've seen how well they can play. We've seen their individuals. But in that crunch moment, the time where it counted, when it mattered most.
चलो गाइस मिलते हैं 9:30 बजे. आ जाना ठीक है. आज रात का स्ट्रीम का व्यू एकदम मस्त रहेगा यारो. Thank you for watching the stream. Make sure to like and subscribe. Take care. Adios. Chedi में padios. Bye bye everybody. मिलते हैं रात को. Bye bye. Chatcos. Love you guys. See ya. Bye bye. जाते जाते like करके जाना.